From Radio Iowa Sports, this is the Scouting Report, an in-depth look at this week's prep and college games. Now from our studios in Des Moines, Todd Kim.
Season openers for the Hawkeyes and Cyclones. Iowa hosts Illinois State without Kirk Ferentz, while Iowa State hosts North Dakota. A rare home opener for UNI and a busy night of rated matchups to open the high school season. Welcome to the 30th season of the Scouting Report.
Okay, gotta be late. Gotta go. Where'd I put... wallet. Check. And... phone. Check. Keys. Check. Lunch. Check.
Checking for the things you need doesn't take long. But what about checking for your safety? Right now, 1 in every 5 vehicles on the road has an open safety recall. But it only takes seconds to check for open recalls on your car at checktoprotect.org. All you need is your vehicle identification number or license plate number. Your automaker may not have the right information to notify you about recalls by mail, especially if you recently moved or drive an older or used car. Checktoprotect.org is the quick, easy way to find out if your vehicle has an open safety recall and find the closest dealer who can make the repair for free.
Laptop. Check.
Before you go, take a minute. Visit checktoprotect.org. Check to Protect is a program of the National Safety Council.
The Scouting Report from Radio Iowa Sports.
Heading into the season, the focus at Iowa was all about the offense and how improved it may be under new coordinator Tim Lester. That was until head coach Kirk Ferentz was suspended for the opener against Illinois State for a recruiting violation. Assistant head coach Seth Wallace will lead the Hawkeyes on Saturday, and he'll have the final say on the sideline.
But you just try to keep things in an even flow. I think, probably try to keep everybody's mood or approach in an even flow, too. And if we're getting a little bit higher here or down here, you got to try to balance things out a little bit and just try to make sure everybody's focused on what they do. Hawkeye
corner Jamari Harris says they're not using the absence of their head coach as a rallying cry.
No, we're just going out and try to be the best we can be. I know our biggest opponent is ourselves. We're just going to try to go out and compete at a high level regardless. Do it for the brother next to you, for the coaches who've been coaching us, for everybody in this building. Everybody's special. That's why we are the Iowa Hawkeyes, and we're going to go out and try to leave it on the field.
It's an 11 a.m. kickoff in Kinnick Stadium. It'll be televised by the Big Ten Network. Iowa State takes high expectations in the opener against North Dakota at home. Cyclone coach Matt Campbell says every opener has question marks.
What you're always nervous about in the first game is you don't know exactly what your opponent's going to do. You got to be ready to make great adjustments within the football game, and you can't do that if you got so much in that you don't have the ability to adjust.
It's a 2:30 kickoff in Jack Trice Stadium. Fox Sports 1 has the coverage. For the first time since 2010, Northern Iowa opens a full season at home as the Panthers host Valparaiso. UNI is a heavy favorite against a Beacon squad that was 3-8 last season.
First game's always the same answer. There's a lot of uncertainty until you line up and find out what they're actually going to do, and it'll take a quarter or so to figure that out to see what they are this year as compared to years past. But you look at the past and you gauge the future.
That's UNI coach Mark Farley, and a disappointing start for Drake Thursday night. The Bulldogs led Quincy University 10-0 at halftime when the thunderstorms rolled into Des Moines. The second half never started, and the game is officially canceled. The Bulldogs visit Eastern Washington next week. Up next, high school football on the Scouting Report.
Okay, men, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go grocery shopping, cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. I know you won't, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. Now go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
The Scouting Report from Radio Iowa Sports.
More than a dozen rated matchups highlight the opening night of the high school football season. One of those takes place in Spirit Lake, where the Class 2A top-ranked Indians host 3A number 3 Algona. Brian Wilson has a preview.
A lot of similarities exist between these two teams who bring high expectations into 2024. Now, both teams will be led by 3-year starters under center, with Caden Lunt leading the top-ranked Indians. The senior threw for over 2,300 yards and leading his squad to the Unidome last year. Indians head coach Josh Beloit knows his guys, though, will have to be ready from the opening kick.
It's going to be a great game. I think Algona is one of the best teams in 3A football, and to start with them right out of the chute with a ton of confidence coming back, it's going to be a great football game, and it's going to be a tough one for us to prep for.
Third-ranked Algona is led by Iowa State commit Alex Mansky, who threw for over 1,700 yards a season ago and leading the Bulldogs to the playoffs. Head coach Andy Jacobson knows just how good this Spirit Lake team is.
A couple of really good receivers, obviously, that you know about, and running back and their quarterback returns. So a lot of returners, a lot of really good football players. Should be quite a game.
A season ago, Spirit Lake erased a 15-0 halftime deficit, taking advantage of 4 Algona turnovers to claim a 30-22 victory. Reporting from Algona, I'm Brian Wilson on the Scouting Report.
Also in 2A, number 2 Van Meter plays host to 1A, 4th-ranked Underwood. Its 3rd-ranked West Lyon at home against Sioux Center. County rivals collide in 1A as top-ranked Dike New Hartford visits number 3 Grundy Center. John Mulwinkle reports.
The reigning 1A champion Grundy Center football team is coming off a 13-0 season, but most personnel from that team graduated, opening opportunities for several players to earn their first varsity snaps. Head coach Travis Zajac.
There's so many valuable lessons learned right out the gate in week 1 with Dike New Hartford coming in. They return a lot of kids. They're hungry. They're going to be well coached. They're going to be very aggressive and play a very physical brand of football. So that'll be a really good litmus test for us right out the gate. Our young kids that haven't had a ton of varsity time, they need to be able to respond to that moment.
Coming off a 7-4 season that featured a state quarterfinal appearance, Dike New Hartford has the vast majority of last year's starters back, including several playmakers at the offensive skill positions and quarterback Colin Meester. Head coach Don Betts hopes to get in sync throughout the first few games.
We're just going to look to become consistent, and I'm hoping that we can build some momentum through consistency. Last year, I thought in our pre-district schedule, we ended up being really inconsistent.
Grundy Center has won 3 straight in the series between the county rivals, including in week 1 and the quarterfinals last year. For the Radio Iowa Scouting Report, I'm John Mulwinkle with On The Go Media in Hampton and Parkersburg.
Also in 1A, 2nd-ranked OABCIG's on the road at Esterville Lincoln Central. Class A tonight, number 1 Woodbury Central hosts Lawton Bronson, while 2nd-ranked Madrid is at home against Woodward Granger. And in 8-player, there's a couple of rated matchups tonight. Number 5 Cam plays host to 8th-ranked Audubon, while 6th-ranked Don Bosco is at home against number 10 Gladbrook Rhinebeck. Again this season, Becks is recognizing student-athletes that are not only a star in athletics, but also a player that shows heart in school, at work, through the community, and in the ag industry. Nominate a student-athlete by searching Becks Player with Heart. Last season, nearly 40 young Iowans were recognized for their achievements, both on and off the field. One of those was Violet Bodie from Algona Garrigan High School, who was raised on a vegetable farm and enjoyed helping out at the farmer's market.
And we used to do vegetable boxes that we would deliver around town, and I've kind of just grown up helping with that, and it's been part of my life, and I've seen how that goes. And I really like it. I like working in the garden and on the farm and selling the vegetables, forming relationships with customers. It's really fun.
While in middle school, Evan Timmerman from Southwest Valley started a lawn and landscaping business with a friend.
And he already had clients on mowing business. I already had clients on the landscaping business, so it kind of worked out to just expand from that and learn from both places of the mowing and landscaping.
Besides competing in football and wrestling, Aiden Sullivan from Nashua Plainfield also was the drum major for the marching band.
Our school works really well together between the sports and other extracurricular activities to give everyone the chance to do anything that they want to be involved in.
Wyatt Sermon of South Tama worked at a local sale barn. His uncle is an auctioneer. Wyatt also attended auctioneering school.
Have it $50, have it 50, have it 50, have it 50. Last call, have it 40, have it 40, have it 50, have it 50. Sold $40.
Recipients will be eligible for a $1,000 college scholarship. Nominate a student athlete by searching Becks Player with Heart. The rest of Week 1 is next on the Scouting Report.
At Becks, we stand up for the things that matter most: our faith, our independence, and helping farmers succeed. As the largest family-owned seed company in the U.S., we believe in the integrity of remaining an independent family-owned seed company. Since our founding in 1937, we have continued to produce quality products backed by a quality family of employees and dealers dedicated to serving American farmers. And that's something to be proud of. Becks, founded in faith, forged in America. For more information, visit BecksHybrids.com.
At Becks, we believe that true champions are not just made on the field, but also in the heart. The Becks Player with Heart Scholarship celebrates high school student athletes who show dedication, teamwork, and leadership, both in sports and in their communities. We're honoring those who go above and beyond, demonstrating passion, perseverance, and a commitment to making a difference. Nominate a high school student athlete by searching Becks Player with Heart.
The Scouting Report from Radio Iowa Sports.
5A football in Central Iowa appears loaded again. No surprise, considering CIML schools have won the last 14 large school championships. Southeast Polk has won 3 straight, and the third-ranked Rams are at home tonight against number 2 West Des Moines Valley. These teams have met several times the past few years. The Tigers hope to break through tonight.
We've played them twice each in the last 2 years. We have finished with them and then opened with them each of the last 2 years, and here we are again. Eventually we want to get over the hump here. As of late, they've kind of held all the cards, and we've been close, but that's not good enough against these guys. You got to win one.
Valley coach Gary Swenson also in Class 5A. Top-ranked Ankeny takes on crosstown rival and 7th-ranked Centennial. It's number 4 Dowling Catholic hosting 5th-ranked Cedar Rapids Kennedy. In 4A, top-ranked and defending champ Lewis Central pays a visit to 3A number 10 Harlan. Tony Correa has a preview.
Harlan Community Football coach Todd Blatt had a simple message for his returning players after last season's early round playoff loss to Creston.
Everybody wants to play a few more games, and there's kind of a loss of finality to it, but you're going to have to deal with that pain for a while. So there's some life lessons that go along with that. I think for the younger underclassmen, it was kind of a wake-up call. So hopefully they've got the nose on the grindstone and understand what's in front of them, this season.
That's inspired defensive end offensive lineman Hayden Soma, who's excited to start the new season after the rough way it ended last year.
That last game of the season definitely left a bitter taste in our mouth, and we're just ready to get back after it.
Blatt has faith that sophomore quarterback Gabe Arkfeld will be able to be the field general his offense needs.
He's cool, he's calm, which is important at quarterback. You don't want to get too high, too low. You can't let the emotions completely take over.
Arkfeld will have Joseph Rice to throw to. The 6'3 senior knows the game against Lewis Central is always an intense way to start the season.
Every year both teams seem to reload. They got some guys coming back, but we got some guys coming back, and I think we're ready to go, and our guys are willing to do anything for each other, so we're excited for it.
For Kennedy Radio, I'm Tony Correa with the Radio Iowa Scouting Report.
4A second-ranked North Scott is at Central DeWitt. Number 3 Cedar Rapids Xavier hosts 10th-ranked Waverly Shell Rock. It's 4th-ranked Western Dubuque at home against 3A number 5 West Delaware. John Swisher reports.
The Highway 20 Battle of the WDs features 2 teams with high expectations. This season may be a little higher for the Hawks. Former assistant coach in 2012 West Delaware graduate Ryan King takes over the reins from his former head coach Doug Winkowicz, who spent 20 years in Manchester before leaving in the offseason, taking the ADM Adel job. Quarterback Brent Yankovic highlights a group of 21 seniors and 12 returning starters. The returning first-team All-Stater ran for 1,559 yards and 25 touchdowns last year. He passed for 1,445 with 12 TDs. Class 4A Western Dubuque was the runner-up to Lewis Central last November. Graduation hit head coach Justin Pinner and the Bobcats hard, especially with the loss of Grant Glauser, who broke every program rushing record in the book. But 10 starters return, including 2 on the offensive line, including All-State selection Garrett Kleesner, along with quarterback Tanner Anderson, who threw for 21 touchdown passes. In 11 meetings in the series dating back to 2008, the Hawks have won 9 times, Western Dubuque winning last year at Brown Field in Manchester in commanding fashion 61-27. It was the Bobcats' first win in the series since 2011. It's West Delaware at Western Dubuque in Epworth on Buckman Field, a 7:30 kickoff time slated tonight. For the Scouting Report from KMCH Sports in Manchester, I'm John Swisher.
There's one other rated matchup in Class 4A. It features 7th-ranked North Polk at home against number 6 Bondurant Farrar. That's all for the Scouting Report. For Radio Iowa Sports, I'm Todd Kim.
It's Football Friday night, which means it's the Raw Customs and the Homestead Country Store Friday Night Tailgate Show. Sports Director Tyler Lance will talk to the coaches from West Bend Mallard and North Union about tonight's matchups. Here's Tyler with all the details from inside the locker room.
A happy week one of the high school football season to everyone around the hometown and home country radio listening area, as right now it's time for your Friday night tailgate show. As always on the tailgate show, we take a look at what's going on around our local programs, West Bend Mallard and at North Union. We'll talk to both head coaches, Matt Ernster for the North Union Warriors and Tyson Wirtz of the West Bend Mallard Wolverines, as both those coaches come off of playoff appearances in 2023 and look to replicate that in 2024. It all starts here in week one. Again, it's your Friday night tailgate show coming up after this on KLGA and KLGZ.
Raw Customs in West Bend is committed to becoming your go-to shop for any of your vehicle's customization needs. That means offering accessories and services whether you're touring the city or tearing up the trail. You need to be confident that your accessories can keep up. They offer durable, top-of-the-line quality products at affordable prices. Follow them on Facebook or call Raw Customs in West Bend today at 515-887-2800.
And your Friday Night Tailgate Show continues right now on Hometown and Home Country Radios. Right now, we preview North Union football with head coach Matt Ernster. Coach, I think it can be said the offseason sometimes feels like it drags by really slowly, but once you get up to the season, things really start flying by, and it's kind of hard to believe we're already at that first Football Friday night. With all that being said, thank you so much for joining today and giving us a few minutes of your time to talk some North Union football.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on.
Let's begin with that scrimmage on Friday night against Esterville Lincoln Central. Talk to me a bit about what the players and coaching staff were able to get out of that.
I think the biggest thing was you're just able to get some reps in against somebody that's not yourself, not your scout team and younger guys, and just a chance to kind of iron out some things, maybe solidify some spots that maybe had question marks going in, and then come out healthy. Be able to, like I said, hit some other people, kind of break yourself into the contact of the sport, and get out ready to go for week one.
And, Coach, you mentioned coming out healthy. Once you wrap up those training camp practices, that initial scrimmage against ELC, and head into week one here against Okoboji, how are the guys feeling? How are you guys doing health-wise coming into that game one?
Pretty good. We've, got some minor things and stuff we're kind of taking care of, but overall, health is good and numbers are good, so we feel good going into week one.
As we said, Coach, you open up on the road with tonight's game against Okoboji. Last year, they obviously brought in a new coaching staff and kind of moved away from the spinnerback system that they ran in the past and did some different things than you'd seen before from them. So, looking at Okoboji on the offensive side of the ball, what kind of jumps out to you?
Well, they're very athletic. They're wide receivers, pretty taller, athletic, fast. So that's going to be a challenge, kind of containing them all night. And then I think the quarterback's pretty good. Throws a good ball. He's a big kid. So when they decide to use him in the run game, he's going to be hard to handle. And just, second year in a system, they're just going to execute probably at a much higher level than they did week one of last year.
Talking right now with North Union head coach Matt Ernster. Coach, on the defensive side of the ball, what jumps out to you about Okoboji?
It's three front. We don't see a whole lot of three fronts after the scrimmage week and this week. So I think that's something different for us that we've got to kind of handle. But again, just their athleticism. Just a lot of good-looking athletes all over the field that can kind of cover you sideline to sideline. And so we're going to have to get creative trying to get guys open and in space to make plays.
Coach, last year against Okoboji, you guys picked up a 26-20 win over them, and one of the keys to that game was your guys' ability to run the ball and control the clock. You had over 50 rushing attempts as a team in that one, and one of the guys you mentioned coming into the season, Draven Keeler, who's going to get a lot of reps at running back. Not that he's going to necessarily carry the ball 50 times, but how confident are you in him to be able to take on a big workload in this game?
He's done a good job kind of picking up here in the preseason, and we're kind of expecting a lot out of him, kind of stepping into it. Had a good year last year, and now moving up into a bigger role. We feel like he can definitely, handle those things that are kind of thrown at him. But the nice thing is the guy, jumping into a new role, like a lot of guys around to help him out, and physically, I think he'll be okay.
Coach, as we wrap up, what do you see as the biggest key for a North Union win?
I think we got to get out to a fast start. I feel like if we at least control their fast start, maybe with one of our own, I think that's going to be key for us. They're going to be hyped up home game to start the season, so we got to kind of weather that storm early. I think we got to generate some turnovers, so we got to get some picks and not allow them to sit in the pocket and get sacks. And then we've got to execute our opportunities. If we get chances in the red zone and down the field, we got to be able to score and convert and just play some clean football in week 1.
All right, Coach. Well, we appreciate your time today and wish you best of luck in tonight's matchup.
All right, thank you.
That is North Union head coach Matt Ernster here on your Friday night tailgate show, previewing the Warriors matchup against the Okoboji Pioneers. Right now, we'll step aside for a quick timeout and continue the tailgate show with West Bend Mallard head coach Tyson Wirtz coming up next on KLGA and KLGZ.
Homestead Country Store invites you to stop by their location at 203 South Broadway Avenue in West Bend. Serving lunch from 11 to 2, menus can be seen on their Facebook page. Let's not forget the ice cream. Do you need syrup for your pancakes or waffles? Check out their New York syrup. Homestead Country Store has a wide variety of supplies from King Arthur brand all-purpose and wheat flours to spices and herbs for your baking and canning needs. From our homestead to yours, you'll find what you need at the Homestead Country Store in downtown West Bend.
Continuing for Friday Night Tailgate Show right now on Hometown Radio KLGA and Home Country Radio KLGZ, as right now we're joined by West Bend Mallard head coach Tyson Wirtz. Coach, finally week 1, obviously, as you guys get ready for a matchup against Newell Fonda. Talk to me a bit about your guys' final preparations and what that looked like heading into tonight's game.
Yeah, this week was a lot of just kind of cleaning up the stuff we'd worked on through the preseason. You kind of get to three weeks in a row of kind of running a lot of the same stuff, and so it was really fine-tuning. We didn't add a whole lot of new stuff this week. We obviously we worked on scouting reports and whatnot for Newell Fonda, but they're going to have a little bit of a new system. They got a lot of new players and they got a new head coach, so it's kind of tough to fully scout for a team like that. So really just tried to clean up a lot of the stuff that we do.
And Coach, obviously last season you guys played Newell Fonda in the season opener as well, defeating them 44-16, and that kind of broke a big losing streak against the Mustangs. It was their first win over them since 2014. Is the mindset going into this year's game at all different now that you kind of have that monkey off your back as far as knowing you guys are capable of beating Newell Fonda?
Definitely. I mean, we talked about that last night. We talked about that really building into our kind of final message was, believing, having a mentality of expecting to win a game. Obviously, we know it's going to be challenging, but we do want them to have that mindset of, this is a team that we can compete with, a team that we can beat. Yes, they are perennially a very strong program that's, been to the Dome multiple times and has championships on their belt, but it is a team that we feel like we can compete with. And that is really kind of a push that we have them and a couple other teams we run into this year. Just like you said, try to get that monkey off your back of thinking you can't beat whatever team it is just because we haven't recently.
And Coach, as you mentioned earlier, Newell Fonda does have a new head coach as Brian Wilkins steps down. He's gone now, and Nathan Barron takes over as the new head coach. Does that complicate the prep at all, just knowing that the new head coach might kind of bring his own style and new wrinkles to it when you go into a game like this?
It does a little bit, but, I mean, you can't prepare for everything. Obviously, Coach Barron, he's worked with Coach Wilkin for a long time, so we assume some of it will be the same. There's probably going to be some new wrinkles to it, but to try and figure out what they're going to be is close to impossible. So we just kind of, throughout the first 3 weeks of practice, just threw a lot of different things out at our defense as we're working through it. But, yeah, it would just, see what they come out in right away, and then we'll just make adjustments as we need to in the game. And our hope is that our philosophy is simple enough that it can kind of adjust to about anything.
Joined right now on the Friday Night Tailgate Show by West Bend Mallard head coach Tyson Wirtz. Like you said, Coach, going into week 1, there's a lot of unknown just about where both teams are at and what you're going to see going into this week. But when you kind of look at Newell Fonda, what are a couple of things that maybe you do expect coming into tonight's game?
Well, they've got an extremely talented quarterback in Max Carlson, and so that's kind of been one of the things we focused on a lot is, if the ball's in his hands every single play, he's going to be a threat for sure. And so we have to make sure we keep him contained, running the ball and contained passing the ball. So defensively, that's been a big focus. Some of their other players on the lineup, there's a Tauber kid that comes in. He played JV against us last year, and we know he's quick and he's athletic. We know Lyman at an end is a good receiver threat for him. So there's a few pieces back that we've kind of seen in previous years. We play Newell Fonda twice every year in JV, so there's a lot of connection there. And then defensively, again, we know they're sound. They're one of the most disciplined teams we play, and so it's not going to be an easy, they're not going to make many mistakes. And so that's been a big push, is they're not going to make mistakes, and so we really can't make any mistakes.
Coach, along those same lines as we wrap up, what do you see as one or two of the biggest keys for a West Bend Mallard victory tonight?
Just playing clean. Again, that was why we've worked it a lot this last week. We don't want offsides penalties. We don't want false starts. We don't want fumbles. We don't want the little stuff. The mistakes that you shoot yourself in the foot with are what's going to be huge for us. We can compete with a team like this, but not if we turn the ball over, not if we have a lot of penalties. So that's been really kind of the focus, and then just not letting the game get too big for us. If they come out in a totally different look and they're throwing the ball 4 wide, we have to be able to adjust and just settle in and be like, all right, it's fine, we're ready for this, make our adjustments, and be able to stop everything.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time today and wish you best of luck in tonight's matchup.
Thanks, Tyler. We appreciate it.
That is West Bend Mallard head coach Tyson Wirtz on your Friday Night Tailgate Show, as that'll wrap it up for our Week 1 edition on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
It's time to hit the field. That's it for Raw Customs and the Homestead Country Store Friday Night Tailgate Show.
Get ready for football with the Garrigan Golden Bear pregame show, brought to you by your Edward Jones representative, Bruce Keith, Jerry Sokup, Brady Ross, and Mackenzie Jorgensen. We've got interviews with the coaches, the starting lineups, the Kimna Auto Center keys to the game, the Grassmasters field condition report, Algona Plumbing and Heating's game time temperature, Eyes on Thorrington coin toss, and more as we preview tonight's matchup. The pregame is also brought to you by Kasuth Regional Health Center, your home for healthcare, JDR Seeds of Wesley, and Banwert Trucking of Audison. Now here's Tyler Lance on the Golden Bear Edward Jones pregame show.
A very happy Friday night to everybody here on Home Country Radio KLGZ. At long last, the 2024 high school football season begins as the #1 ranked Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears start their state title defense, and they do it tonight against the only team that defeated them last season, the St. Edmond Gales. What a matchup tonight here on Home Country and at the Algona Radio YouTube streams. We get started with the Edward Jones pregame show. The Golden Bears last year were defeated in Fort Dodge by a final score of 42-34 against the St. Edmond Gales, but after that, it was a magical run, ripping off 12 straight victories, a tremendous playoff run that saw Bishop Garrigan defeat 4 straight undefeated teams on the way to a state title and had to come from behind in the second half in 3 of those games. It was just the second title in program history, the first since 1985, and the first in the 8-player class for the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears. Now, what does the encore look like? We're going to find out tonight. This is a St. Edmond Gale team that has nearly everybody back from last year. Of course, the big graduation is quarterback JT Loffersweiler, but besides that, you've got a lot of the offensive linemen back, a lot of the skill position talent back, looking at the likes of Clay Baker, the running back, Kinnick, Henning, and Grant Gallus out wide. Some big weapons for St. Edmond on the offensive side. And as you'll find out from Coach Matt Dillon of St. Edmond in the pregame show, they bring back every single defensive starter. And not just that, every single player who played a varsity defensive snap. So this is a St. Edmond team that knows how to play together. They don't have to worry about the team chemistry, the fitting in new parts, because, well, all the parts are back from last year's 4-4 team. But it's going to be a tough test tonight against the Garrigan team that really wants to get that St. Edmond monkey off their back. The Golden Bears have lost their last 4 meetings against St. Edmond. Last win by Bishop Garrigan in this series was 2019, back when both teams were still playing 11-player football. So St. Edmond has had the upper hand against Bishop Garrigan since these two teams moved down to the 8-player class, including that 42-34 season opening win last year. We'll talk with both head coaches previewing the game. That's coming up on the Edward Jones pregame show on Home Country Radio KLGZ.
Don't let concerns about current events derail your long-term financial strategy. I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Brady Ross. We can work together to understand today's financial landscape and make sure you achieve your goals. While you can't control market volatility, you can control your financial future. Let's connect. Contact me, Brady Ross, at 515-295-7763. Together with Bruce Keith, Jerry Sukup, and Mackenzie Jorgensen, we are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Banwert Trucking of Audison specializes in livestock hauling and flatbed freight hauling. Let them transport your livestock. If it's local hauling or long distance, they will get it there. Contact them at 515-379-2109. Located in Audison, Banwert Trucking, livestock and flatbed freight hauling when and where you need it.
Is your student athlete on the injured list? We can help. This is Wendy Wagner, Physical Therapy Assistant at Kasuth Regional Health Center. As a former student athlete and coach, I want to help you get back in the game feeling healthy and injury-free. Our staff works closely with local healthcare providers and specialists throughout the area for a recovery plan that works for you. Best of luck to all our area athletes this season. We will be cheering for you.
Kasuth Regional Health Center, your home for healthcare.
This is the Edward Jones pregame show on Home Country Radio KLGZ as we preview the matchup between the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears and St. Edmond Gales right now with Bishop Garrigan head coach Marty Wadley. Coach, we appreciate your time today on the pregame show. Let's begin by talking about the offseason as far as some of the things you guys did to get prepared and just how the offseason has gone overall for your team.
It's been going pretty good overall. I think, Tyler, we had a chance to scrimmage Friday night with Newell, and it's always good to go against somebody other than your own guys and just kind of get a look at some things and where you think you might be and where you think you need to work on things yet. And obviously week one is a big testing point and see how much you improve between week one and week two. But, I think our preparation stuff is pretty good right now where we're at. We don't have a lot of new stuff to put in. We've got pretty much everything installed on both sides of the ball. So, I feel pretty good about that. We just really need to improve on what we're doing with those things right now.
And, Coach, coming off of last year's state championship run, I don't think there's any doubt other teams are going to look at you guys a little bit differently heading into the season. So how's your team going to handle having that sort of target on their back and that sort of attention from the other teams around the state being the defending champs?
Well, that's just all part of it. And, you have to deal with those things just like you have to deal with things when everybody overlooks you. So you just have to kind of take care of your own business and not worry about everybody else or what they say or what they think. And you just kind of have to worry about your own sideline, do what we need to do our job the best, and play by play, and the old cliches that go right along with it, and we can't really worry about anybody else or what they think about us, and just take care of our own business.
And, Coach, looking at some of the individual positions on the team heading into the season, obviously one that jumps out is quarterback Tate Furch. He, of course, won the job last year and really took it and ran with it. So heading into year two of you guys, 1 year under his belt, obviously that postseason experience. How's he handled the offseason, and how have you seen him in year two compared to year one?
Well, I think he's done a real good job, and obviously he's ahead of where he was at last year, a sophomore who had never started before. So, that's a good thing. The experience level is there. He still has a lot of things to work on and still has a lot of things to improve on, just like everybody else does. But as far as his knowledge and what we want to do in the offense and those types of things, I think he's obviously ahead of a year ago, and he should be. And that's a good thing. We don't want to regress and go backwards, but he's done a good job with that, and hopefully we can, keep him going in the right direction. And he's done a good job of leadership on the field, and that's what we look for in quarterbacks.
And, Coach, one of the trademarks of last year's team was really the ability to wear down and demoralize teams in the second half of that power run game. If Logan Nemmers graduated and Caden Roffler graduated, things are going to look a bit different. So do you see the team kind of trying to replicate that same style of wear down teams? Or do you kind of see the run game taking a little bit of a different form this year of new personnel?
Well, new personnel obviously changes things up a little bit, but, we're going to, go to a lot of things that we did last year, and then we're going to go to a lot of things that we did early in the season last year also. So, that's going to make a bit of a difference on that. But I think our back, our backs are pretty good. I think we have 3 or 4 kids that can carry the ball and do a good job when they do get their hands on the ball. And I think we have 3 or 4 kids who do a pretty good job catching the ball. So hopefully we're able to, spread that around a little bit. But, we've always, liked to run the football here, and we had a, tremendous success doing it last year, and hopefully we can still have some success doing it this year. But, it'll be a little of the same, a little old stuff, and, a little bit of new, and kind of where we're at. Just kind of have to see what we have installed and where we're at, and just try and do better and better at that week by week.
And, Coach, like you referenced right there, even though there were a lot of graduations at the running back and the wide receiver positions, you guys really do have a lot of guys who seem like they're capable of stepping right into that role. So how are you evaluating those positions as far as deciding how you kind of divvy up those reps and what you're kind of looking for to determine who the starters are going to be?
Probably trying more this week where we're going to probably cut down our reps with everybody and limit them to probably the top 2 or 3 at each position and get those kids as many reps as we can and get them ready for game. And then when we go to where we're running with not our backups, I should say, but maybe with our next layer players that we get those guys the repetitions that they need, but we can't cut the starters and the first guys short. We have to get those a lot of reps.
You can't talk about the Garrigan offense without what the offensive line has done. And Carter Schwab and Keaton Helliseth come back from last year. You guys will look for a new starting center for the graduation of Logan Nemmers. So how's that position battle for the center gone, and who's kind of thrown their name into the hat for that?
Well, it's gone pretty well. I think probably right now Caden Graves is our number one, and Nate Lear is right behind him at number two. And we've even looked at some other kids that are upperclassmen at that spot a little bit, trying to find the right guy in there. And, so I think that's kind of where we're sitting at right now, and those probably are our top two. And then we've worked Nick Toole there a little bit. We've worked Drew Muller there a little bit. So we're trying to find the right combination of the guys that we can. But obviously with Keaton and Carter back, and then also with Rosie back, who played the other side tight end when we were in double tight a lot last year. So those are some good experienced players coming back, and I think Caden's done a real good job so far of his reps and what he's done, and just needs to keep improving, and same as Nate does too, because we may use him in a couple other roles also along with that, but we're not sure yet.
And, Coach, of course, you guys bring some tremendous depth into the season. So when you look at guys who might be going both offense and defense versus guys who are only going to focus on one side of the ball, I guess, to what extent do you kind of try to separate guys just into one side of the ball? Or, do you have a few guys that you feel are going to be going both ways?
We probably have some guys that are going to be both ways in situations, and then both ways or one way where they're able to get on and off the field. And we're using a lot of guys on special teams, which can give guys breaks also too. Early in the season, obviously conditioning factor, all those things are going to play into a little bit. We just have to make sure that we have the best guys on the field when we need them on the field, which is majority of the time, and that when those backups come in, or the guy who's going to replace that player for a while, they're ready to go. Just like we're not missing a beat, and that's the big thing that really we as coaches need to work on those things.
Coach, looking at the season as a whole, what would you say the goals of the program are this year?
Well, number one, we really want to get this monkey off our back with St. Ed's. I mean, they beat us the last 4 years or last 5. We haven't beat them since 19. Coach Dillon has a good program down there, and obviously our focus right now is nothing but St. Ed's and week 1 win, and then moving into the district. We'll try and take that game by game and week by week. And, obviously we want to finish somewhere in the top 2 in the district for sure, and see if we're able to do that and get an ability to, stay healthy and get through that and hopefully end up, we're going to have an opportunity at the postseason again.
Well, Coach, concluding the season preview portion of this and focusing more specifically on St. Ed's and the game coming up this Friday night, St. Ed's is obviously a team that has really a lot of their starters coming back, especially on defense. So starting off on the defensive side of the ball, what do you expect St. Ed's to throw at you?
Well, they run a lot of different versions of that 3 and 4, and they'll bring a guy down in the gap, and then they'll play an overhang linebacker like a contained guy. So, expect to see that. They have a lot of good kids coming back. There's no doubt about it. I do think they're going to miss the Loffelsweiler kid at quarterback for sure. He was a really good quarterback, but they've got the Gals kid or Gales kid back, and they've got the Baker kid back, and then they've got their top receiver. I can't think of what his number. It might be that, I don't know if it's the Heining kid or Henning kid for sure, or what his number is exactly. So, they've got some good kids back. There's no doubt about it, and they have their good offensive lineman back, and I think that's the Walker kid, and he's good. He was a first-team All-Stater last year. I think on the defensive side of the ball, but I'm not positive. Either the offensive or defensive side of the ball, he was a first-teamer. So they've got some good kids back. I think they have 2 or 3 of their offensive linemen back. So they're going to be a pretty solid team up front. So we're gonna expect a battle out of them.
And, Coach, on the offensive side of the ball for St. Ed's, not an easy matchup to start off week 1. Looks like they're a team that's going to use a lot of motions, maybe a few trick plays, things of that sort. That'll kind of test the discipline of your defense. So, especially early in the season when you're still kind of getting everything in line and seeing what you have this year, how do you make sure the guys are disciplined to face an attack like St. Ed's in week 1?
Well, we have to read our keys, number one, and we have to do exactly what we're supposed to do when we read our keys. That's the big thing, and not get caught, watching the backfield and. Their guards, when they're pulling them in their pin pull, or they're a wing T concept team. So if we're reading guards and that, we should be able to go to the play, and if we're reading down blocks, we should be able close down and read those things. But, you know, a lot of times with a high school kid, that's easier said than done. So just repetition, trying to get the kids focused, understand what they're doing, understand what they're reading in defensive concepts and where we're at and what the responsibilities are, whether it's coverages or who they're responsible for and those type of things. So hopefully, you know, I think we've done a good job on that so far, and really hopefully we can focus on that this week and shine things up.
Coach, as we wrap up here, what do you see as the biggest key for a Garrigan Week 1 victory?
You know, we've got to play well at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively, and can't get caught out of position. And, you know, play physical like we like to play and you know, capitalize on some mistakes. If we can get them to make a mistake here or two or three, capitalize on those things and you know, avoid making mistakes ourselves in situations. So those are big keys, and how we play up front is going to be a big telling point, how we play offensively and defensively at the line of scrimmage.
All right, Coach, we appreciate your time today and wish you best of luck with Week 1 of the season.
Thanks a lot, Tyler. Appreciate it.
Bishop Garrigan head coach Marty Wadley of his pregame thoughts. Right now, we'll take a timeout, come back with more on the Edward Jones pregame show coming up next on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than preparing for retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Bruce Keith. Together, we can give you your long-term retirement strategy the attention it deserves. Stop by our office at 100 North Phillips Street. Contact me, Bruce Keith, at 515-295-5173. Together with Jerry Sukup, Mackenzie Jorgensen, and Brady Ross, we are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, members SIPC.
Let Whipple's hybrids from JDR Seed help you find the cure for the common corn yield by matching you with the hybrids that can increase your whole farm yield. Now is the time to buy to get serious savings on serious seed for next spring. See the results for yourself. Contact Rich Rosemeyer, Dale Lappy, or Mitchell Carroll at JDR Seed of Wesley, 515-341-2452, or visit Whiffles.com. Whiffles Hybrids and JDR Seed, together we bring the yield.
When it comes to your recovery, we tackle issues head-on. Whether you're on the field, setting up a spike, or running the course, Kossuth Regional Health Center's rehab team is here to help when an injury occurs. I'm Bryce Buckle, physical therapist, and as a former student athlete, I know how important it is to get back in the game. At KRHC, our team works with local healthcare providers and specialists throughout the area for a recovery plan that works for you. Best of luck to all of our area athletes this season. We'll be cheering for you.
Right now, we are counting down the minutes until the high school football season begins on the Edward Jones pregame show on Home Country Radio KLGZ. Tonight's matchup, Bishop Garrigan against St. Edmond, as right now we're joined by St. Edmond head coach Matt Dillon. Coach, as always, we appreciate you giving us a few minutes of your time on the pregame show. Thank you so much for joining today.
Happy to be here, guys.
Well, Coach, let's start off with a question you've probably been asked a million times since last season ended and asked plenty of times in the weeks leading up to this game. Last year, you guys opened up the season with a great 42-34 win over Bishop Garrigan, and that win keeps looking better and better throughout the season. As Bishop Garrigan didn't lose another game, they end up winning the Class A player state title. So why did you feel your team was able to figure out something that other teams around the state weren't able to figure out, and that's how to beat Bishop Garrigan?
I think there were a few things. Number one, that was Kate Forsh's first start as a varsity football player, and I think that worked in our favor because obviously he was not the same quarterback by the time he got to the playoffs and the end of the season that he was in week one for sure, and we were able to make some plays. You know, I watched that film probably 30 to 50 times over the last year, just to try to kind of see what I felt like we did well, what we didn't do well, and you know, that was an outstanding Garrigan defense, and a lot of those guys are back. Offensively, they were just finding their way. I mean, think about it. So Sink ends up being the starting tailback. I didn't realize it, but he ends up breaking his leg in that game. And you know, they went with number 10. I'm sorry, I'm not great with names. I'm great with numbers, just not with names. He came in and played tailback the rest of the way. And I think Marty and his coaching staff figured out if we're going to do anything, we need to move Roffler back to tailback and Marceau to fullback. And all of a sudden, they had a powerhouse in the run game. And, you know, I think that was critical critical for them, and they obviously made some changes. They got through the West Bend Mallard game, came back with a really good win, and then they hit the kind of the there are no easy games, and I would say the easier part of their schedule the next 4 weeks, so they got on a roll. And I told Marty this. I said, I'm not sure there's a team in the history of the Iowa high school football playoffs that pulled off what they pulled off last year, beating 4 undefeated teams back to back to win the state championship. An unbelievable job by him and his coaching staff and the players, and I was proud to say to Marty afterwards, I'm glad we were the only ones that got you, and I'm glad we got you in week 1.
Absolutely. And, Coach, as we get ready for the 2024 high school football season, one of the things that really jumps out looking at your guys' rosters, the kind of experience you bring back on defense, really a chance for that unit to make a big jump forward because you bring back just about everyone who played a varsity snap last year on the defensive side of the ball. So in looking at that unit, what has you most excited about your defense?
Well, what I can tell you is we bring back not just the majority, we bring back 100% of the defensive snaps from last year. And those guys are bigger, they're stronger, they're faster. I'm really excited to see our guys play against another opponent. We had a couple camps this summer that we went to, and I feel like our defense is going to be outstanding. Our front three, we got a couple extra guys that will mix in there, so we'll probably play 4 or 5 in that front. Can all run. They're strong. They're physical. They can make guys miss in the blocking scheme, and they can all tackle. And 8-player football, tackling is a critical component to your success because missed tackles and an 11-player missed tackles tend to lead to first downs. And 8-player missed tackles lead to touchdowns. So you got to be a great tackling team, and I think in order to be successful at this level, and I feel like defensively, we got some guys that can really tackle and really play, and I'm excited to see them against a different opponent. And obviously, there's nothing better than starting out with your arch rival in Algona, Mississippi area.
And, Coach, one of the themes we've talked plenty about, of course, is the returners that you guys have on your team. And it's a lot of the same story on the offensive side of the ball. Of course, last year's starting quarterback, JT Laufersweiler, graduated. But if you look around him, a lot of talent at the running back position, a lot of receivers back from last year, a lot of linemen as well. So how big is it for you to have that kind of experience back to really provide a smooth transition for the new quarterback?
I think it's huge. The young guy that's going to start for us, Ethan Swisher at quarterback, he's a really good athlete. He started for us a little bit on defense last year, played quite a bit of defense for us. And we're fortunate right now that we don't have to put him on the defensive side of the ball because we got some other guys that can fit that role. So right now he's a backup as far as defense is concerned. But my main concern, because I coach the quarterbacks, I'm my own offensive coordinator. I think it's really important that he and I are on the same page and we have a chance to talk in between possessions and different things like that. And Ethan's had a really good preseason, but there's nothing like the regular season starting. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sure he's going to be nervous going into that game tomorrow, but he's a fine young man and works his tail off and going to be an excellent quarterback before he's done, but he's just a little shy on the experience right now because JT was such a great player for us for the last 3 years.
Coach, as we wrap up for today, what do you feel one or two of the biggest keys for a St. Edmond victory are?
Well, I think we've got to be able to stop their run game. Rothler graduated. Marceau moves back to fullback. You got Sink at the tailback back again. He's healthy. He showed how good he was last year. Before he got injured, he had a 70-yard touchdown run against us, had over 150 yards rushing. He can really run the football. Marceau is just a hammer at the fullback both carrying the football and blocking wise. So those guys are going to be tough to handle. And Tate, hurt us a little bit in the run game last year, so we got to be cognizant of where he's at. And my defense coordinator, Mark McDermott's done a great job getting our defense ready for this ball game. And we're excited to get it going. I mean, it's, we've been practicing against each other now going into the third week, and, it's time to play somebody else.
Well, Coach, I think we're all excited to get it going as well. Thank you so much for your time on the pregame show today, and best of luck on Friday night.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Tom.
That is St. Edmond head coach Matt Dillon on the Edward Jones pregame show. More is coming up next on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
Don't let concerns about shifts in the market disrupt your long-term financial goals. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Jerry Sokup. Let's work together on an investment strategy for long-term results. While you can't control market volatility, you can control your financial future. Start by giving me a call at 515-295-7766. Along with Bruce Keith, Brady Ross, and Mackenzie Jorgensen, together we are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Vanward Trucking of Odison specializes in livestock hauling and flatbed freight hauling. Let them transport your livestock. If it's local hauling or long distance, they will get it there. Contact them at 515-379-2109. Located in Odison, Vanward Trucking, livestock and flatbed freight hauling when and where you need it.
Let Whipple's hybrids from JDR Seed help you find the cure for the common corn yield by matching you with the hybrids that can increase your whole farm yield. Now is the time to buy to get serious savings on serious seed for next spring. See the results for yourself. Contact Rich Rosemeyer, Dale Lappy, or Mitchell Carroll at JDR Seed of Wesley, 515-341-2452, or visit Whiffles.com. Whiffles Hybrids and JDR Seed, together we bring the yield.
Counting down the minutes until high school football action on Home Country Radio, KLGZ, and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream. This is the Edward Jones pregame show brought to you by your Algona Edward Jones agents, Bruce Keith, Jerry Sokup, Brady Ross, and Mackenzie Jorgensen. Right now it's time to take a look at the starting lineups. We're going to look at the St. Edmond offense and the Bishop Garrigan defense for tonight. First, we're revisiting St. Edmond Gale offense. At the guard positions, they will have Quentin Jaskey and Adam Walker. Their center is Max Webster. Starting tight end tonight, Dominic McLean. Out wide, it's going to be Grant Gallus and Kenneth Henning. The starting quarterback, the one new member of that offense, starter-wise, is Ethan Swisher, as he replaces last year's starter, JT Laufersweiler. Swisher, a junior for the St. Edmond Gales. And the tailback, Clay Baker, another returner from last season. On the Garrigan side of things, defensively, at the end positions, it'll be Keaton Helseth and Carter Schwab getting the start. At nose tackle, a few players are going to rotate in there. Wyatt Rosenmeyer, Matt Besch, and Carter McGregor, all likely to get snaps at the nose tackle position. Linebacker-wise tonight, a lot of experience there on the first two positions, senior Andrew Lichter and junior Ethan Marceau, and then a new starter, Matt Miller, for that third linebacker spot. The defensive backs, Michael Joyce going to be a starter tonight. You're also going to see Owen Murphy and Trayton Sink split time on the other side for Bishop Garrigan. Flipping things around, looking at the Garrigan offense and the St. Edmond defense. Up front, Garrigan has Carter Schwab and Keaton Helseth at the guard positions. Caden Graves at the center. Their tight end, Wyatt Rosenmeyer. Out wide, again, a lot of different players vying for the wide receiver spot. You're talking about Michael Joyce, Nick Lear, Owen Murphy, some of the key wide receivers for tonight's game. Tate Furch, of course, returns for his junior season. Second year's the Garrigan starting quarterback. Your fullback tonight for Bishop Garrigan, Ethan Marceau, and the starting tailback, Trayton Sink. Defensively for St. Edmond, up front, their three linemen. The two ends are Adam Walker and Coleman Hansen. The defensive tackle, Quentin Jaskey. Linebackers tonight, Clay Baker, Sam Meyer, and Kenneth Henning. And in the secondary, it's Grant Gallus and Jacob Koopman. Like we said earlier in the pregame show, St. Edmond brings back every single player who played a varsity snap defensively last year, so that's a very experienced defensive unit that'll try to slow down a Garrigan offense that averaged just under 43 points per game last season. That's a look at tonight's starting lineups. The 12-1 Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears, state champions last season, open up the season tonight against their longtime rival St. Edmond, who finished 4-4 last year, but one of those four handing Bishop Garrigan their only loss. Right now, we'll take a quick timeout, look at the keys to the game coming up next on your Edward Jones pregame show.
Market declines, unemployment, today's headlines can be scary. Hi, I'm Edward Jones, financial advisor, Mackenzie Jorgensen. I'll work with you to help you understand the impact of short-term events and how to prepare for the long term. We provide the tools for a reasoned, disciplined approach to investing. Don't let headlines derail your long-term financial strategy. Contact me, Mackenzie Jorgensen, at 515-395-4021, along with Bruce Keith, Jerry Sokup, and Brady Ross. We are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
At Chemna Auto Center, they understand that you have no shortage of options when it comes to purchasing or servicing your car. They're your hometown dealer for new GM, Ford, and Chrysler makes and models. Plus, they also offer an extensive selection of pre-owned vehicles. Serving you with a dedicated sales and finance team, along with world-class service technicians that are passionate about keeping your ride in top shape. Visit their showrooms today for an experience you deserve. Chemna Auto Center in Algona.
Time for tonight's Keys to the Game, brought to you by Chemna Auto Center, where it's not just about the car, it's about the care. And game one of the season, tackling, always a huge factor, especially so for St. Edmond. We said St. Edmond brought a lot of experience back defensively, and that certainly is the case, although they did have a few issues last season, allowing 43.6 points per game, so tackling is going to be a huge key against Bishop Garrigan. Of course, we know Coach Wadley loves that power run game. Garrigan has so many options in the run game, a lot of different players who can rotate into that running back position, so Garrigan will try to stay fresh there, keep everyone with their legs under them in that first game. So tackling is going to be so important for St. Edmond. Coach Matt Dillon said in the pregame show, a missed tackle in 11-man football is a big play. A missed tackle in 8-player football is a touchdown. So tackling on the St. Edmond side going to be a huge part of the equation. And on the Garrigan side of things, I'd say discipline defensively. St. Edmond offensively, they use a lot of motion. They pull their guards. They do a few trick plays. Garrigan has got to be extremely focused defensively, and Coach Wadley always talks about reading his keys. The defensive players have to be able to do that. That's the big thing tonight against St. Edmond. You've got to be able to read the keys, be very disciplined defensively, because St. Edmond, they're going to run some misdirection at you. They're going to try to catch you with your eyes in the wrong spot, and they're going to try to create some missed assignments for Bishop Garrigan. So those are the keys to the game, tackling for St. Edmond and discipline for Bishop Garrigan. Those are the keys to the game. Your Grassmasters Field Condition Report is after this.
At Grassmasters, we believe the secret to a successful season is hard work and dedication, the same qualities that make up a winning team. Preparation, perseverance, and teamwork have enabled us to rise above the competition and bring you a championship team. So as this year kicks off, we at Grassmasters would like to wish all of the local athletes the very best and a successful season on and off the field. Grassmasters, growing satisfied customers.
Players, put your pinky rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do?
Time for the Grassmasters Field Condition Report here on Home Country Radio KLGZ. Grassmasters, the area's premier lawn care and tree care provider. I'm Tyler Lance alongside Beanie Bodie. Grass looking absolutely beautiful here tonight, Beanie. We got about 2 inches of rain yesterday in Algona, so grass got plenty of water. So we might see a little bit of wear and tear on the field later in the game. But as of right now, game number one, this field looks pristine.
It does look great. There are some divots out there because the Garrigan staff said we have 4 home games this year, and then hopefully the playoffs. So let's use this field. We take care of it all year. Let's play some football on it. So they practiced on it more than usual. So there's some divots out there, but shouldn't matter tonight. It's looking in great shape. Grassmasters Field Report. Beautiful, beautiful night for football. And boy, Tyler, it's exciting. Even the officials out there are excited, and they're the ones going to work. We're just doing this for fun.
Yes, this place is absolutely buzzing for week one of high school football. So much anticipation for Bishop Garrigan, of course. The field condition report for the Garrigan's last 2 games of the season was, hey, we're inside a dome, there's turf, it's a beautiful field, but Garrigan does a great job taking care of their field. They've freshly painted the goalpost, if anyone is at the game. New painting on the goalpost, new painting on the flagpoles. The yellow is just really popping here at the field.
Yeah, those are sharp. The yellow is popping. They're going to get some yellow line markers as well, but we're out of paint. We ran out of paint, so the Plath family singers that paint the field saw them working hard the other day. Tyler, I think you were running on the track, and Mr. Plath was out there trying to get the paint sprayer all cleaned up and going. And boy, clearly he did a good job getting that all cleaned up, and the field looks great. Lines are sharp thanks to the Plaths. And boy, Tyler, look at the line for that Garrigan team. They take up a lot of the sidelines. Great numbers on the Bishop Garrigan team this year.
huge numbers. You're talking about 50 players on the Garrigan team, and much like we said a lot of last year, they're going to have a numbers advantage and a depth advantage over just about everybody they play. Now, Bishop Garrigan has an even bigger roster than last season. Last year, we're talking about a roster of around 40 people. You're talking about a huge freshman class this year, a lot of depth for Coach Wadley, and really every position, you're saying Garrigan can go 2, 3, even more deep.
Yeah, so many seniors. We always hang up posters of the seniors along the fence, and I think I'm counting like 14 posters over there. I think is there 14 seniors, and that's possible because I know out of that class, a class of between 30 and 40 kids, there's only about 8 girls, and that means the rest are boys, and a lot of them choose to go out for football. And boy, thanks for them for going out, because joining the 8-man ranks a few years ago, we weren't sure how many guys we'd have, and now the numbers are strong.
Well, the numbers are strong for the Bishop Garrigan football team, and we'll see if that depth pays off tonight. It's the defending state champion Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears against the St. Edmond Gales, and it's coming up next on Home Country Radio and at the Algona Radio YouTube channel.
With fall starting, so is seasonal allergies. This is Dr. John C. Kortenberg at Eyes on Thorrington. Do your eyes itch? Are they irritated or watery? If you answered yes to any of those questions, you may benefit from a prescription for your ocular allergies. Why not feel better today? Call to schedule an appointment at Eyes on Thorrington at 395-EYES. That's 395-3937.
Living in Iowa sure means we rely on our furnaces and air conditioners to keep us comfortable all year round. That's why Algona Plumbing and Heating is proud to be your local trusted Armstrong dealer. They're committed to bringing you the highest quality products in heating and cooling, and it doesn't get any better than Armstrong furnaces and air conditioners. For all your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, give them a call at 295-5240 or stop by their Dodge Street location. Live comfortably with Algona Plumbing and Heating.
Home Country Radio presents Golden Bear Football, brought to you by Iowa State Bank, Northwest Iowa Bone, Joint, and Sports Surgeons, Security State Bank, and the many hometown and home country sports club members you'll hear from throughout the game. Now we go live to Home Country Radio Sports Director Tyler Lance with the call.
A beautiful night at Conway Field in Algona, Iowa, as we get set to kick off the 2024 high school football season. The Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears and St. Edmond Gales, one of the longest standing rivalries in the area. Time for your Algona Plumbing and Heating game time temperature, 74 degrees. That's tonight's temperature at kickoff. We'll have the Eyes on Thorrington coin toss in just a moment as the players walk out to midfield. But right now, Beanie, beautiful night for a ball game. Bishop Garrigan and St. Edmond. The only team that defeated Bishop Garrigan last year was St. Edmond, and the Golden Bears have a little revenge on their mind tonight.
I think this is a bit of a revenge game. I remember listening to that game, you on the air last year, Tyler. I couldn't make it to the game, and I listened to it, and I thought, how is this St. Edmond Gales team beating the Bears? Because I just knew the Bears were a pretty good team last year, and obviously they showed that later on with the state championship, but I thought, how is this St. Ed's team beating them? And last year, it just was, I think they caught him off guard. Trayton Sink had a great game on the ground, but then he went down with an injury, and it just kind of went off kilter for the Bears, and they ended up losing by a score. I think this year, a different Bear team this year. Sure, they lost a lot of seniors, but boy, they've rebuilt, had a great offseason, good couple weeks of practice, organized practice. You know, football has just 2 weeks of organized practice, and but their offseason, the weight room has been very impressive. I think they're ready to go. I think we're going to see a dominant Bear team tonight.
And looking back to that matchup last year, it was a very strange game between the Golden Bears and the St. Edmond Gales. Now, before we talk about that, Bishop Garrigan does win the coin toss and they defer, so that is your Eyes on Thorrington coin toss. St. Edmond's going to get the ball first. It was a strange game, got pushed back 1 hour due to the heat, so it started at 8 o'clock. You're talking about the first varsity start for Tate Furch. You're talking about a game where Garrigan's lineup was very different than it looked like late in the season. You know, we had Trayton Sink have a really great game, then unfortunately he went down with an injury, but it's next man up. Roffler moves back to tailback, Marshall moves to fullback, Garrigan finds their identity, and things really change after that. But we're just about ready to go here tonight. Conway Field, a beautiful night. Again, 74 degrees, your game time temperature for tonight's ball game. Brady Garrigan has the ball teed up at the 30-yard line. He'll kick left to right on the radio dial. Bishop Garrigan, black uniform tops, black pants, gold numerals on the front and back. St. Edmond, white uniform tops, white uniform pants, the green numerals on the front and back outlined in gold. Galgan approaches the football, he kicks left to right, and the 2024 high school football season is underway as the kick goes back towards about the 10-yard line. It's returned towards the near side by Gallus. 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Gallus down the sideline. It's a foot race, and there he goes. Grant Gallus is going to go for a house call on the first play of the game. A 70-yard kickoff return touchdown. What a start for the St. Edmond Gales.
Whoa, you are not kidding. What an electric start to the game. That sideline just opened up a beautiful block by St. Ed's on the outside by Jacob Koopman. He totally made a beautiful block on Daniel Mice, who was looking to make the tackle, and then that block came in, took Mice out of the play, and then he was off to the races. Great blocking by St. Ed's on that kickoff. Oh, 8-man football is exciting, Tyler. I got to give it that much. There's going to be a lot of points scored tonight, I think, in this game.
And St. Edmond's going to go for two. We'll see their junior quarterback, Ethan Swisher, the first time. Garrigan has a man late getting on the field. There's confusion. A flag comes in. St. Edmond runs into the middle, and they've got the two-point conversion. Bishop Garrigan was offsides on that one as Andrew Lichter was late coming in, and he didn't get on sides in time, but that's going to be a declined penalty and an 8-0 St. Edmond lead.
Whoa, Garrigan really waking up here. That's a wake-up call if you've ever heard one. An opening kickoff taken to the house and then a penalty on your first play. If coaches were waiting to get reason to get after the boys, you got it now.
Yeah, all the things that make coaches angry. Give up a big play on special teams and a penalty on the first, essentially defensive snap you're doing. Coach Wadley and the crew are not going to be happy about that.
Yeah, they're going to watch that immediately on film, but I can tell you right now that Garrigan kickoff team, first kickoff of the year, everybody was trying not to screw up. Nobody was flying down that field looking to make a big giant hit. Everyone was just trying to do their job, stay in their lane, but what they lacked doing was that aggressiveness to the ball, and the next thing they knew, that ball was right behind them, off to the races to the end zone.
So 8-0 St. Edmond, a mere 12 seconds in this ball game as Coleman Hansen's going to get ready to kick it away. Bishop Garrigan getting aligned for the return team. Michael Joyce and Owen Murphy back deep to receive, and we'll see how carefully St. Edmond may want to kick that one to them because those are two explosive returners for the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears.
You know, Tyler, we spoke earlier in the week, as you know, we spend at least 23 hours a day together, and between the running and the volleyballing, and I'm trying to keep up with you, but I did say there would be at least 2 special team scores tonight, and you said, well, do you think it'll be Garrigan and St. Ed's? And I guess I wrongly said Garrigan. St. Ed's gets a special team score right off the bat.
So we're going to have a replay of the 2-point conversion. That should have been a play blown dead, they're saying. So it's still 6-0 right now, and St. Edmond has to try the 2-point conversion again, but they'll try it now from inside the 2-yard line this time as Garrigan was offsides. Swisher from the gun. He pitches right to Baker. Baker trying to turn it up. He spins towards the end zone. He twists, and he gets there. Now it's official. 8-0 St. Edmond. A tough run by Baker as he got to the edge and twisted his way into the end zone for 2.
Not surprising. He runs hard there. Great blocking by St. Ed's on the Garrigan defensive ends. That's a good key to the game early on. How are they going to block the talented defensive ends of Garrigan? That time they chose to double team him, gave Baker enough room to sneak into the 2.5-yard line for the end zone.
Well, St. Edmond could not have scripted the better start, throwing the first punch on the road against Bishop Garrigan as once again Michael Joyce and Owen Murphy go back deep to receive. We'll see a lot of faces on the Garrigan special teams that maybe won't play a ton on offense or defense, but we always say the next wave of players plays on special teams. You're seeing someone like Amari Thomas, who just came up for football. He'll be blocking on special teams. Nick Toole out there as well for Garrigan as Hansen approaches the ball and he kicks a line drive down the field back towards Joyce, and that one is into the end zone for a touchback. A nice kickoff by Coleman Hansen keeps it out of the hands of the dangerous return man Joyce.
Boy, Hansen knew what he was doing. He booted that ball. He didn't really even run up the field. He knew I kicked that one through the end zone. There's no return there. And that's big because, as we obviously just saw with St. Ed's kick return, 8-man football, you know, you make a couple guys miss and you're off to the house. And also, if you're the kicker on the kickoff team, you better be able to tackle.
Well, here comes Tate Furch in the Bishop Garrigan offense for the first time tonight. Golden Bears averaged 42.9 points per game last season. St. Edmond defensively allowing 43.6 as Furch turns and he gives on the first play. Little congestion in the backfield as Sink tries to push his way forward, and he gets about 1 yard, setting up 2nd down and 9 after getting hit initially behind the line.
Yeah, great job by Adam Walker for St. Ed's. He busted through the line. They left him open because Ethan Marceau was going to hit him, and Ethan Marceau, excellent blocker, but he's a big boy for St. Ed's there, Adam Walker.
Adam Walker is a sensational defensive end, had 23.5 tackles for loss last season. Furch underneath center, turns and fakes to Sink. He'll boot out towards the far side of the field, and he pulls down and runs it. Furch across the 20, he's in the 25, he's near the sticks, and it'll depend on the spot. He's right at the first down marker, and it looks like they're going to give it to him. Tate Furch on the quarterback keeper.
That was a good play call by Coach Wadley. That first play set that one up, and they ran away from Walker, the talented defensive lineman for St. Ed's, and an easy pickup by Furch there. Getting to the outside, Furch improved speed from last year. He was already a good mobile quarterback last year, but all these guys that are returning have really gotten a lot faster due to some nifty training.
Bishop Garrigan has Lear out to the right. Rosenmeyer, the tight end, on the left side of the line with Marceau and Sink in the backfield. From underneath center, it's Furch. Turns and gives to Sink, looking for space, and he is crushed in the backfield. White jerseys flying in there, and Furch make that Sink, got back to the line of scrimmage, maybe half a yard.
Boy, great quickness by the St. Ed's linemen, their lateral speed. Really good at stepping away from those blockers and then closing down on that ball carrier. Impressive, a good defensive start to the Gales.
Sink will check out. Murphy will check in for Bishop Garrigan. A couple of personnel changes as Garrigan brings some more wide receivers onto the field with Joyce as well. Michael Joyce is going to go out towards the left. Short side of the field as Garrigan has the ball on the left side. Hatch, that is. Furch in the gun. Motion by Murphy. Murphy will take it. He's sweeping towards the near side. Murphy looking for space. They've got him in the backfield and they knock him down. St. Edmond contained that play. A nice tackle by Clay Baker, and Garrigan will lose a yard.
Yeah, Garrigan going through their playbook. Haven't seen the same play twice yet. You're going to see that a lot today. Garrigan has a lot of different lineup looks, a lot of different sets, and they are going to go through that playbook here, seeing what works, and that might be the story of this game.
So 3rd down and 11 for the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears. They have it at their own 24-yard line. They have to get it out to the 35. From underneath center, it's Furch. He'll send Murphy out towards the left. Rosenmeyer, the tight end, on the right side. Furch play action, boots out to the left, and he has to unload it quickly, and it's caught by even Marceau. He's near the sticks, and it looks like he has a first down. Tate Furch got buried by Quentin Jaskey, somehow unloaded a floating ball to Marceau. He caught it, and he got close to the sticks. They're going to say 4th down, but boy, even Marceau got nearly everything he needed there.
Wow, what a great job by Furch. He had to turn his shoulders the opposite way. He's a right-hander rolling to the left. He gets his shoulders squared just in time, makes a nice floating pass, drop it in there. Nice play design, 3 receivers all in that area. Furch had his choice. Nice job by the QB.
So they're going to say 4th down and 2 from the 33-yard line. Marceau must have stepped out a step or two before it looked like here. Joyce on the wide side of the field. He's the wide receiver. Furch underneath center. Furch gives it off to Sink. Tries the left side. He's hit in the backfield and he's dropped. St. Edmond is going to hold defensively as Sam Meyer, the linebacker, knifes in and knocks him down for a loss.
Oh, great call by the St. Ed's D. That was a blitz all the way. They overloaded the line. No one could pick up that blitzing linebacker, and he had a clear shot at Sink in the backfield. You know, one positive to take for that, always look for silver linings, Tyler, when something bad like that happens. Garrigan went on 2. Nobody jumped. And this is just high school football. A lot of times linemen jump on the wrong count, and Tate first did a hard count, and everyone held still.
Well, Trayton Sink last year ran for 158 yards and 3 touchdowns against St. Edmond. Tonight, the Gales are all over him. First offensive play for the Gales. That's not a 2-point conversion, as barreling his way forward for a couple of yards is Sam Meyer. A good, tough run by the St. Edmond senior for about 4.
Yeah, here we're 3 minutes into the game here, and first time we've seen the St. Ed's offense. Tyler, are we looking at a running or a passing with Loffelsweiler graduated?
Boy, that's the question. Even Swisher only had 1 pass attempt last year, but been hearing good things out of St. Edmond camp about him. The big thing is a lot of great talent surrounding him as he turns and he hands it off. Bursting through his Henning. Henning has some space. Juking around. He's across the 20. He's the 15, and he spins down at about the 12-yard line. Finally tackled by Matt Miller, but St. Edmond is inside the Red Power red zone. Brought to you by your local Red Power team in Bancroft, Corwith, West Bend, and Humboldt. That's the shifty running of Kinnick Henning.
Yeah, Kinnick Henning. Wonder where he gets that first name. But Kinnick gets up a little bit gingerly. He's going to hobble off. It doesn't look like the type of thing that's going to keep him out of the game, but he definitely got maybe a little rolled ankle or a stepped on or something. But nice run by that young man. Another impressive blocking by the Gales.
There were about 4 or 5 different changes of direction during that run in a span of about 2 seconds. Swisher with a pitch to the right to Baker. Baker trying to follow his lead blockers, gets to the outside, bangs his way down inside the 10. He's towards the 5-yard line, and he's just shy of the first down sticks. A 9-yard pickup by Clay Baker, down to the 4. Joyce makes the tackle for Bishop Garrigan. Baker, a steady senior who averaged 5.6 yards per carry last year, ran for 263 yards as it's 2nd down and 2 from the 4.
Got to hand it to the play design of the Gales. They pulled their opposite guard and did a nice job blocking our defensive end. Keaton Helseth there took him out of the play.
Pistol formation, McLean the tight end out to the left. Swisher gives it off to Baker. Baker pounds his way through the middle. He's pushed back. He got just past the line of scrimmage, but did not get the first down as Garrigan is going to force a 3rd and short from inside the 5-yard line.
Good tackle by there for number 53 for the Bears was in on there. Of course, whenever there's a stop up the middle, there's a host of defenders in there. But a lot of arms wrapped around that. Bears are pretty stout up the middle.
That's Carter Schwab, who is starting both ways tonight. Garrigan really only played Schwab in goal line packages defensively last year, but they're starting him at both defensive end and at guard tonight. So it's going to be 3rd down and 2. Ball marked at the 4-yard line for St. Edmond. Gallus, the lone wide receiver, out to the left, covered by Joyce. Pistol formation again for Swisher, has Baker right behind him. Motion for St. Edmond. They fake the handoff to one man, they give to Baker. He's hitting the backfield and he's knocked down. Ethan Marceau got him. Lichter in there as well for the Golden Bears, and that's going to lose 2 yards. 4th down on a big conversion attempt upcoming for St. Edmond.
Yeah, after a start where the Gales are finding room on the outside and good blocking on the edges, they're choosing to go right up the middle against the Bears, and they are tough up the middle. Boy, I wouldn't want to run at Ethan Marceau up the middle. Schwab and boys, they're tough. I really think the defense is going to be a major strength of the Bears this year. I just think they're going to stay fresh and they're very deep.
So 4th down, 3 yards to go from the 5-yard line. Gallus out to the left, wide side of the field. Ball's on the right side hash. And Garrigan almost jumped off sides, but they got back onto their side. And now moving again, and that might have been a false start. Garrigan jumped initially, but they got back, and then St. Edmond false started after that.
Boy, Keaton Helliseth was lined up across the talented Walker, and they were ready to go. They both jumped. They were so eager to hit each other. There's a couple competitors out there.
Well, this 4th down conversion just got substantially more difficult for St. Edmond. Now you're thinking a little bit more pass as Henning hobbles back into the ball game, so well enough to play, but still walking clearly with a limp as he comes onto the field for this play.
They're going to reset the ball. They're going to take it back.
Oh, they're going to be trying a field goal here is what they're doing. You have to move the ball up 10 yards, so St. Edmond will elect not to go for it on 4th down, and they're going to try to kick it here of Coleman Hansen.
Yes.
Hansen last season 7 of 16 on PATs, did not attempt a field goal though. He's a right-footed kicker. St. Edmond trying to make it 11-0. Snap is low, and St. Edmond has to pick it up and scramble. Gallus looking, Gallus lobbing into the end zone, and it is incomplete. A little bit of contact out there. Sink was going at it with Jacob Koopman, but a busted play for the Gales, and the field goal attempt ends up failing.
But Gallus made zero hesitation on picking up that bad snap and running. You got to figure the coaches put him as the holder because that's exactly what you can do. If there's ever a bad snap, Gallus, who ran back the kickoff a moment ago, can just head off to the races, and he did that. Then he changed it up when he thought he saw someone open in the end zone. Just a broken play turned into a playground situation. What a break for the Bears. Remains 8-0.
8-0 Bishop Garrigan, 7:05 on the clock here in quarter number 1 on your Greg Penning & Company certified public accountant scoreboard, as we are going to have a whistle and a timeout called by Bishop Garrigan. With Garrigan taking timeout, we'll take it as well on Home Country Radio and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these fine sports club members.
American Glass. For all your glass needs, think American.
Farm Bureau Financial Agents Dave Beisch, Daniel Foth, and Michael Tull.
Chemco Tires. They're all you need to know about tires and service.
Wykert Realtors, the 515 Agency, a fresh approach to real estate.
Grassmasters. Growing satisfied customers.
Iowa Lakes Community College, your community, your college. All bringing you this game on the radio. We've got more sports club members making this broadcast possible on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
Lusher Family Dentistry, serving your family since 1965 on Call Street in Algona.
Algona Plumbing and Heating, where a good flush beats a full house.
Kasuth Regional Health Center, your home for health care.
Walker Chiropractic and Wellness, caring for Algona, Sway City, and surrounding areas with chiropractic, nutritional, and physical therapy services.
Reeves Wicked Good Bar and Grill, for wicked good food, drinks, and service, you've got to go to Reeves.
All sponsors of this game broadcast.
Coming out of the Bishop Garrigan timeout, score right now 8-0 in favor of St. Edmond as Grant Gallus had a 70-yard kick return touchdown. But Beanie, Golden Bears have a huge 4th down stop because St. Edmond failed on the field goal operation, and instead of being down by 2 possessions, Garrigan faces a long field in front of them, 1st and 10 from the 10-yard line.
Yeah, they just had a very well-called timeout, I think, by Coach Wiley and Coach Kesselring. They went out, make sure their offense is squared away here. They're deep in their own territory. They want to make sure they put together at least a good drive to get some field position out of this thing. And they're going to come out with their best approach and playbook right here.
Garrigan's going to spread it out a little bit more. Murphy wide right, Sink slot right. Marceau on the hip of Furch. Furch wants to throw quickly out to the right, finds Murphy in the flats. Murphy to the 10, he's to the 15, 20. Down the sideline, breaks a tackle, and he tiptoes. He got out to the 24-yard line. Quick pitch and catch to Murphy after the little hesitation by Furch, but Murphy used that speed to make it a 1st down.
Yeah, Furch is trying to get that ball out to the flats as fast as possible, and he had to get a better grip on it. But once he got it to Murphy, boy, Murphy showed some great acceleration there. Player from St. Ed's thought he had the angle, but Murphy turned on the jets and got past him.
Bishop Garrigan brought more of a run-pass balance last year. Tate Furch threw for 1,418 yards, 21 touchdowns, and just 2 picks as he takes great care of the football. Now power formation for the Golden Bears. Fullback and the tailback. It's a pitch left to Sink. Sink looking for space. Sink gets tripped up by the ankles as he falls forward for about 2 yards.
Boy, that was Kinnick Henning there back in the game. I'm sorry, that was Sam Meyer. Sam Meyer really got underneath the blockers, just submarined right in there and swept the legs.
Make it 2nd down and 8 from the 27-yard line. 6:37 and ticking on the clock for this Bishop Garrigan drive as they trail at 8-0. Joyce will run in the play for the Golden Bears, stepping into a bigger role on offense this season. The Bishop Garrigan sophomore wearing jersey number 9.
And then here comes Lear, I believe, coming in, and Sink is coming out, so they're going to go with a big package again. When they go big with one receiver, St. Ed's knows it's going to be a power run. Let's see if Garrigan throws any counters at him.
Yeah, Caden Graves is the center, but the backup center, Lear, is lining up as a tight end. As there's a handoff to Marceau, tries the left side, and they got him by the ankles. 2-yard gain for Marceau as once again the tackling machine, Sam Meyer, brings him down.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm hoping that's a setup play. They line up in that formation, especially bringing Lear in as tight end. Not that they couldn't throw to Lear. That's, of course, Nate Lear. There's 2 Lears on the team. You got Nick Lear and Nate Lear, and they both will play tight end, I guess. But they know that Garrigan's going to run that ball, and they are all zoned in on that. If Garrigan runs a counter out of that, maybe fakes a handoff and rolls out, you will test St. Ed's discipline.
Rosenmeyer, the tight end on the right side. Nate Lear on the left side. He's the other eligible tight end. Furch underneath center. He will give the handoff to Sink. Sink gets knocked down in the backfield, and he's going to lose a couple of yards. Once again, a swarm of white jerseys converging as Coleman Hansen was first in there for the Gales.
Well, so far, victory on the line goes to the St. Ed's Gales. They are hitting that Garrigan offensive line in the mouth and winning at this point.
4th down and 7 from Bishop Garrigan's own at 27-yard line as they're going to have to punt it away, and the dangerous Grant Gals will be back deep to receive. Michael Joyce will be the punter for Bishop Garrigan. I'm sure that'll result in some fakes later on the season with athletic Joyce. Good snap to Joyce. Joyce settles, and he boots the ball away. It's a knuckleball kick back towards Gallus. Gallus is going to stay away, and it takes a very friendly Garrigan roll inside the 15, and it's touched at about the 14-yard line by Andrew Lichter, who got down there. So a nice punt by Joyce, flips the field a little bit, and makes life a little bit tougher on St. Edmond.
Yes, it sure does. Now, St. Ed's and Garrigan both not showing any sort of huge big playability on offense just yet, and that's not real surprising. Neither of these teams seems to have that elite breakaway speed guy that they want to get out in the open. I think it's going to be a lot of ground and pound for both teams tonight, perhaps.
Meyer, the running back, behind Ethan Swisher, the quarterback, who's going to come out under center for St. Edmond this time. Swisher takes the snap, he fakes the Meyer, and he's back to throw. He's looking towards the right side, has Baker open, but he missed him. Baker was wide open in the first down sticks, but that pass came in low at his ankles, incomplete.
You know, St. Ed's had a lot of time to throw the ball there. Garrigan wants to get a better rush on that quarterback. You know, when you, in 8-man football, when you send 3 receivers out, there's only 3 people typically blocking, 4 maybe for your quarterback. And boy, you got to be able to get rid of that ball real quick if you're the QB, unless you've got a real good line. But as I said, St. Ed's line really doing a great job tonight so far.
Up front, they have Quentin Jaskey, Max Webster, and Adam Walker, senior, junior, senior, and a very good offensive line at that. Here's the handoff. It goes to St. Edmond and stopped the line of scrimmage and pushed back. They push back Meyer, and flying in there for the tackle, Matt Miller. No gain on the play, and 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, Schwab got his left arm on that thigh of the running back, and that big arm of Schwab really slowed him down and allowed the linebackers to react. You know, linebacker is the most fun position in football, in my opinion, Tyler. You know, those linemen slow everything up, do all that hard work, and you just get to fly around and hit people. So I don't know why anybody isn't trying to go for linebacker, and that's the case with Garrigan. I think Garrigan's got about 8 linebackers out there on their team that are all fighting for those spots.
Empty backfield for Swisher. Meyer and Gallus out to the left, McLean out to the right. Back to throw Swisher, lobs it near side to Gallus, leaps up and it's off his hands. He had it right at the first down sticks, but couldn't squeeze it as Michael Joyce is out there in coverage, and St. Edmond will have to punt on 4th down.
Good timing by Joyce. If he wanted to, he could have gotten himself an interference call, but he held up just a second long enough to time it right and then make contact when the ball got there.
Here's Coleman Hansen to punt for St. Edmond. He was only the kicker last year. JT Loffersweiler was a punter. Did not have a single punt last season as Owen Murphy's back to receive. He's at Garrigan's 30-yard line. Snaps a little bit high. It's taken by Hansen, and he kicks a wobbling kick towards the near side. Plenty of room for Murphy. Catches at the 31, stumbles, gets out to the 35, middle of the field 40. He's to the 35, and he's finally wrapped up as he falls forward to the 34-yard line. Sam Meyer gets down there and makes the tackle again. We'll be saying his name a lot throughout the rest of the night, but Owen Murphy, plenty of space for that return.
Yeah, flag on the play. Going to be an illegal block on Garrigan. It wasn't Kyle Borman. He did a great clean block to get Murphy initially sprung there. Kyle Borman, good speed on that Garrigan team. But down the field, I think I saw an illegal block by one of the young special teamers for Garrigan.
Another St. Edmond Gale comes up lame after that play. Jacob Koopman limping over to the sideline. Koopman, one of the tight ends on offense, along with Dominic McLean, and a part of the secondary for the Gales. So you've already seen a couple St. Edmond players a little banged up here in the early going.
You know, it's so tough on special teams. With Garrigan's numbers, they've got a lot of guys that are the next man in playing special teams, and they all want to do something big to get the attention of those coaches. And one of those big things you can do is throw a big block on special teams, and you just got to make sure you don't get a little overzealous in your excitement to try to break into that starting lineup and throw an illegal block.
Well, they are going to march Bishop Garrigan all the way back to their own 31-yard line, which was exactly where Murphy caught the ball. So that's about what would have happened if he could call the fair catch, but the great return wiped out by the penalty. And again, not a lot of penalties so far, but a couple big ones for Garrigan early in the game. Offsides on a 2-point conversion attempt, and now wiping out a big special teams play. Lear out to the right. Sink slot left for Bishop Garrigan as Furch is back to throw. Clean pocket this time. Unloads quickly left side and sails it over the head of Sink. He was covered out there by St. Edmond's Dominic McLean, and it's 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, he threw that just above the hands of Trayton Sink. I think he thought he was throwing to Nick Lear hands. Nick Lear, of course, about 6'6", would you say, Tyler?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, he's a tall guy. He was split out on the other side and has about a foot on the guy defending him at that point, one-on-one. So that's a matchup these guys up here with us in the box are going to see and say, hey, let's throw that slant to Lear. Just throw the ball high, and it's an easy 5 yards.
Yeah, Coach Wadley has Nick Lear listed at 6'5" on the roster, but I'd say, come on, Coach Wadley, give him that extra inch.
I agree. He's tall when he stands up straight.
Furch is by himself in the backfield. 3-man rush for St. Edmond. Furch steps up on the blow of the play dead. Flag comes in from the far side official as Furch was going to escape left, but that flag was before the play, and that is usually on the offense.
Yeah, I think someone's moving there, but even so, St. Ed's with very good spacing defensively. Tyler, we are seeing a St. Ed's team that is experienced.
And someone called Kadarius Toney. I think they just called offensive offside on Garrigan. So someone on Bishop Garrigan lined up offsides on that play. That's a 5-yard penalty.
Oh, man. Great call there, Tyler. You got that right. St. Ed's has got this experienced team. Garrigan just tried a little bit of a misdirection. They were rolling. Who's number 3 for Garrigan? Rosemeyer. They were rolling Rosemeyer out in the flats in an attempt to get him wide open, the tight end. But the linebacker was not fooled. Good disciplined St. Ed's team here.
Garrigan of Marceau and Sink in the backfield. Furch looks out to the left, lobs it over the middle field, has Joyce wide open, makes the catch to the 30, down the sideline, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Michael Joyce takes Furch, hits his first deep bomb, and Joyce outraces the defender, time miracle to the end zone. That'll make it 8-6 with 3:15 left in the first quarter.
Wow, that was a sweet move by Joyce. A nice throw by Furch. He just lofted it up there perfectly, gave Joyce some time to run under it. And the impressive thing was Joyce, he acted like he was going to cut back against the grain and take it from the sideline into the middle of the field. He looked right at Miracle in the face like, here, I'm going to cut back. And then he turned on the jets and went right down the sideline. What a move. Joyce has got some athleticism there.
Bishop Garrigan will attempt to tie the game with a 2-point conversion. Sink, the lone back in the backfield. Furch will hand it off to Sink. Sink right for the middle of the defense and into the end zone. We are tied at 8. Bishop Garrigan answers on a Tate Furch 54-yard touchdown pass to Michael Joyce, and the 2-point conversion is good. 8-8 tie with 3:15 left in the first on KLGZ Home Country Radio.
Thank you to these sports club members bringing you this game on Hometown Home Country Radio.
CB Grain Solutions, satisfaction guaranteed.
Dump It, Kossuth County's local and reliable waste service provider for commercial and residential customers.
Albert Electric, flip the switch to Albert Electric.
Billy Offerman, your State Farm agent in Algona. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Greg Penning and Company, certified public accountants where everyone counts.
Daylight Donuts, open early with delicious donuts and great coffee.
All bringing you this game on the radio.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these fine sports club members.
Signworks Inc. For all your signage needs and printed apparel, stop in or call 295-9544.
New Way K&H Co-op, delivering exceptional value through knowledge and innovation.
West Bend Ford, meeting your service, new and used vehicle needs.
Tom Eischen Sales, your store in the country, carrying Steel and Toro products and Green Mountain pellet grills.
PMC Advantage Insurance Services, insuring our neighbors for over 80 years.
All sponsors of this game broadcast.
Bishop Garrigan kicks it to Grant Gallus again, breaks a tackle, he's dancing around, he's across the 30, he's to the 35 as he lunges forward, make it the 34-yard line as Isaac DeLang held on for dear life on that tackle. Grant Gallus once again making a lot of Garrigan fans nervous on that kick return.
He's very shifty and can really keep his balance as players are wrapping around his waist. DeLang, great job of holding on to those legs, bringing them down. Also, great job by the team again. They're staying in their lanes, but still being aggressive.
It looked like Bishop Garrigan tried to kick it short that time, but they did not kick it short enough. If I'm the Golden Bears, I am not letting Gallus touch the ball in the kick return for the rest of the game after watching the first two returns of the night. 8-8 tie, 3:04 left in the first quarter, and a little trickeration, but the Golden Bears aren't fooled. Marceau blows the play up in the backfield as Kinnick Henning make that Sam Myers buried. A little double handoff there, Beanie, but the Golden Bears stayed disciplined.
Yeah, Marceau sure did. He is pumped up after that tackle, but he was doing his job at defensive end, just kind of staying home, getting blocked. And it was kind of one of those situations in baseball where suddenly the ball's in your glove. Next thing you know, that guy was running right into Marceau, and Marceau was going to win that battle. The wrestler takes him down.
8-8 tie between Bishop Garrigan and St. Edmond. Second down and 11 from the 33-yard line as the Gales have it with 2:30 and ticking left in the first quarter. Swisher in the shotgun this time. Baker's on his right hip. Garrigan looking to get after the quarterback as they fake the pitch to the right. Swisher back to throw. Has time. Now he's running out of time. Here comes Schwab. Schwab got him. Ball pops out. Are they going to say he's down? They say he was down. Carter Schwab gets the sack, though. That is our first Hy-Vee sack of the night, as Hy-Vee's donating a sack of groceries to a local food pantry for every sack Bishop Garrigan gets. Carter Schwab knifes in there, and he blows up the play as Swisher ran out of time.
Great job by Schwab. Run out of time is right. I was just about to say, they're giving this guy way too much time with the ball. It was Schwab, Rosemeyer, and Helliseth on the line for Garrigan, and I thought one of those guys is athletic enough to get in there. Finally, Schwab breaks through after a lot of time given, but maybe call that a coverage sack as well. Must have been good coverage downfield by the D-backs, allowing Schwab to get in there and get that QB.
A gargantuan loss as it's now 3rd down and 21. St. Edmond has to get it all the way to the Bishop Garrigan 36. Swisher back to throw. Has time. He's drilled by Rosemeyer, though. Lobs it over the middle, and it's incomplete. McLean was trying to outrun the defender, but the ball just was a little bit wide of him, and St. Edmond cannot convert the 3rd and 21.
Boy, Henning was trying to get open downfield. He kind of started out at the tight end, but number 15, Andrew Lichter for Garrigan, he picked up that receiver right away and was blocking him all the way down the field. I was hoping a flag wouldn't come out. I didn't know where that line of scrimmage was, but nice job by Lichter there on the coverage.
Here's Coleman Hanson to punt. His heels are at the 11-yard line. Garrigan doesn't do much rushing, will do more blocking. The kick is away back to Murphy. Catches at the 20, has space in the middle of the field. He's to the 25, he's to the 30. Full head of steam to the 40, 35-30. Down the sideline, Murphy. He turns it up to the 20, 10, 5, touchdown! Well, Beanie, there's your second special teams touchdown of the game. Owen Murphy answers right back, taking it to the house.
Well, look at that. There's the two special team scores. What a run by Murphy. Tyler, while you were calling that brilliant run by Murphy, I didn't even get to see the run. I was too busy watching something that I don't think I've ever seen in football happen. The snapper for the Gales is Kinnick Henning, and he is hurt. He limped on to snap for that punt, and Nick Toole was going to block him. And I think they talked to each other. Nick Toole just put a hand on his shoulder, and they just made a gentleman's agreement that we're just going to stand here. And Henning was not going to run after Murphy because of his injury, and Toole respectfully let him.
2-point conversion attempt. Furch boots to the right, lobs into the end zone, caught by Marceau. The 2-point conversion is good. 16-8 Bishop Garrigan. 1:48 left in the first quarter on Home Country Radio and the Elgato Radio YouTube stream.
Thank you to these sports club members bringing you this game.
Runkey Brothers Full Service. Experience the Runkey Brothers difference for all your auto service and repair needs.
Nutrient Ag Solutions of Irvington and Laverne for all your crop input needs.
Erpelding Voigt & Company CPAs. They're not just about taxes.
Hy-Vee. Use the Fuel Saver card. Fill your cart, fuel your car.
North Iowa Appliance Center, Highway 18 East in Algona, where they sell the best and service the rest.
Erpelding Excavating Enterprises. Let them take care of your grading, excavating, excavating and drainage needs.
All bringing you this ball game.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these fine sports club members.
AK's Chrome Kitchen. When you come in, your family.
Farmers State Bank is proud to be part of our community. Offices in Algona, Whittemore, and West Bend.
Stroman Dental, giving you something to smile about.
Bill's Auto and Truck Repair. Service is the difference.
Trend Salon, your complete family hair salon. It's all about you.
Oakcrest Funeral Services, celebrating a life lived.
All bringing you this game on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
Bishop Garrigan 16, St. Edmond 8, one of the oldest rivalries in the state, as Brady Garrigan kicks it away towards Baker on the far side, catches inside the 10-yard line and returns across the 10. 15-20, breaks a tackle, trying to get forward, and he's out to the 24-yard line as he keeps those legs driving, just like any good running back would. Garrigan covers the kick, they kick it away from Gallus, and Daniel Mice makes the tackle as St. Edmond begins at the 24.
Sure, they kick it away from Gallus, but Baker's not much of a slouch. He runs hard, boy. He's the power to Gallus's shiftiness, and he is not going to be brought down by one Golden Bear. It's going to take a team every time he touches that ball. As we still have a lot of game left here. Bears up 16-8 in this 8-man contest. Bears putting 8 guys out there. Coach said the best 8 guys are going to be out there, but right now in this game, they're trying to figure out who those best 8 guys are in certain situations. There's about 52, 54 guys, 9 through 12 out for football this year.
Bishop Garrigan 40-23 all-time against St. Edmond. First meeting back in 1959 in the latest chapter. Starting off the 2024 season as Swisher takes the snap, fakes to a couple of backs. Now he's back to throw. Lobbing it near side as McLean wide open. Leaps up and he makes an incredible catch. Or did he? No, he didn't complete the process of the catch. He got 90% of that catch done, but the ball came loose late. That would have gotten the ball all the way down to the 32-yard line, but that ball was ever so slightly overthrown.
Yeah, they were open. 2 receivers for St. Ed's got behind the Bear defense. Quarterback puts it up there. The receiver leaps up, looked like he had it secured in his hands, but lost it as he hit the ground. A break for the Bears there. That was Sink and Joyce got over there on the coverage for Bears a little bit late. That'll remember that next time they see that kind of slow developing break for next time.
Gallus goes out to the left. Myers is slot left for St. Edmond, and we're going to have a whistle and a timeout called by the Gales. Timeout with 1:30 left in the first quarter. Well, Beanie, I'll tell you this, school just kind of getting underway. We're 1 week into at this point, and I think fans need to know how dashing you look for the first day of school. That first day of school fit was immaculate. The blue suit, the new hairdo. You look great for day number 1. I'm sad you don't actually have that same outfit for tonight.
Well, Tyler, I might be able to get you a blue suit. I'll keep my eyes open, but maybe an orange suit. That would go well with the blue. Or maybe I should look like for one of those outrageous and obnoxious Ohio Buckeye suits I've seen on the news. Maybe one of those. But Tyler,
you're talking about the Ohio State.
I have to work the Ohio State University. I have to really try to maintain my appearance here at Bishop Garrigan because of your rampant training on the Garrigan track. All the students see you running lately, turning in these brilliant 400 and 800 splits. And that's got the Garrigan kids all asking, how fast is Tyler Lance? And I just throw right back at him. That is the question. How fast can Tyler Lance go? Is there any limit to how fast Tyler Lance can run on the Garrigan track? I'm not sure. But you will be getting the bill for that use of the track in the mail from Bishop Garrigan anytime now.
I would be flat out of money if there was a bill for usage on the Garrigan track. I would have no money left, folks. I'd be going in to ask the boss for a raise if that was the case. So hopefully we're going to still have a little money left after that. But
all right, back to ball here.
But back to ball. St. Edmond has it second down and 10 from the 24-yard line. 16-8 Bishop Garrigan. As it's going to be a run play coming to the near side heading, and he is upended. Boy, he got crunched by Miller that time. Actually, that's Meyer for the carry, excuse me, but he got crunched by the Garrigan defense after a couple of yards, and it's going to be third down on about 9.
Well, the Gales take that timeout. They're going to kind of reassess here. I can guarantee now that Kinnick Henning is now not going to be returning to the game. He appears to have a lower leg injury, and he came in and snapped for that punt as a long snapper, but did not show any inclination to run. So they're going to have to readjust without him in the field.
Devastating loss for St. Edmond. Henning had 57 yards rushing and a touchdown last year in this matchup as Marceau blows up the play and he gets a sack. Oh, that time Swisher had 0 time as Marceau has the second high V sack of the night. Swisher could only run backwards and he couldn't escape the Garrigan Jr.
Yeah, those receivers were going deep. It was 30. They were going 30 yards plus, and that takes a long time to get that deep. There was no way he was going to have that time. Hats off to the D-line and the defensive end there, Marceau. They needed to get pressure on the QB, and they did.
Marceau had 6 sacks last season for Bishop Garrigan, 49.5 tackles, and versatile enough to play both linebacker and defensive line. As Hansen waits and he unloads the punt. It is a short punt this time, bouncing at the 40-yard line. Friendly hop to Murphy, full head of steam. He's to the 40, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 36-yard line by Dominic McLean. They kept him closer to the sideline that time, but again, full head of steam for Murphy. That's not good news for St. Edmond, as Garrigan will start on the plus side of the field.
Yeah, boy, you know, you look at Owen Murphy returning these punts, and you're seeing a senior for Bishop Garrigan in this big class of seniors. So they've always had to compete for playing time. And Murphy, he's been competing for varsity time since his sophomore year. He's seen a little bit of running back, and every year he's gone out for football from the young age. And now he's that senior and doing a fantastic job returning kicks so far.
9 seconds left in the first quarter. Bishop Garrigan 16, St. Edmond 8. An eventful quarter so far with one special teams touchdown by both sides. First underneath center, ball spotted at the 35-yard line. Power formation for the Golden Bears, couple tight ends, couple backs. Handoff goes to Sink. Sink across the 35. He breaks the tackle the 32, and he gets space. He's to the 25-20. He's to the 15-10, and he outruns everyone to the end zone for a touchdown. Trayton Sink wins the foot race against Coleman Hansen, and Garrigan hits a big play at the end of the first quarter. 35 yards to the house.
Wow, that was the type of running that I don't think you can teach as much as you practice it. He took a hit right in the bread box of the linebackers and got stunned, but he didn't go down and he didn't lose his balance like a prize fighter, and he shifted just completely horizontal from left to right and took off laterally in the other direction. That is a running back skill. At the upper levels, they always look for those guys. Who was it for the Cyclones that did it so well? David Montgomery. They always talked about how good he moved inside the hole. That was Trayton Sink right there. He took a hit, shifted laterally, and took off.
Bishop Garrigan goes with the swinging gate formation. Sink will hold. Galligan lining up to kick. We'll see if they bring the gate back in or not. Bishop Garrigan 22-8 over St. Edmond. They're going to throw. Sink throws out to the left. Ball's bobbled. Then it's recollected, and then the play is stuffed. Going nowhere on that one is Andrew Lichter, and that'll bring it into the first quarter. But Bishop Garrigan scores 22 unanswered points. They lead St. Edmond 22-8 on Home Country Radio and on the Algona Radio YouTube channel.
Where you bank matters. Hi, I'm Sherry Bacon at Security State Bank, and we're relationship bankers. We get to know our customers and understand their financial needs. We're locally owned and operated, which means family, community, and service always comes first. So come to Security State Bank. We'll treat you like family. Security State Bank in Algona, Burt, and Laverne. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Security State Bank.
We've got more sports club members making this broadcast possible on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
Algona Frame and Auto Body. We meet by accident.
Water connection, from softeners to bottled water and service. Call 295-SOFT.
Algona Pizza Ranch. There's so much to love.
Cotton Gray Farm Management and Land Realty, downtown Algona. Trusted for farmland service needs since 1960.
Algona Livestock. Sales every Monday.
Countryside Barbecue Sauce. 2 sauces for all seasons.
All bringing you this broadcast on the radio.
Big plays galore tonight in Algona, Iowa as we enter the second quarter. Bishop Garrigan 22, St. Edmond 8. But between the touchdowns so far, including special teams, we've got a 70-yard touchdown, a 54-yard touchdown, a 55-yard touchdown, and a 35-yard touchdown between the two teams, Beanie. That last one, a tremendous 35-yard touchdown run by the senior Trayton Sink.
Yeah, that was a great run by Trayton. It's good to see. I guess he's had the ball about 3 or 4 times tonight, but been stuffed mostly in the middle of the line. That time he got stuffed and wasn't finished. Cut laterally to his right, and I was really impressed with the acceleration that he showed from when he was stopped dead in his tracks, 0 velocity, and then he exploded down the field. That's some great power running by Trayton Sink.
Brady Galligan to kick things away for Bishop Garrigan as he will kick from right to left. St. Edmond with the dangerous Grant Gallus and the also dangerous Clay Baker back deep to receive. The ball's kicked towards Baker. Baker runs up and catches at the 14-yard line. Returns out to the 20, near side 25, tiptoes to the 30, and he's out of bounds to the 31-yard line. He never got accelerated that time as he executed a patient return, then was pushed out by Thad Kolash.
Yeah, he patiently just rumbled for 15 yards. He's that kind of rumbling running back there. Now the St. Ed's Gales, you know, they've definitely lost some steam here. They are definitely slowing down as they collect their offense for the huddle. They've lost a little pep in their step.
St. Edmond down 22-8, and of course, as we said earlier, Kinnick Henning banged up, and we'll see if he comes back into the game or not. That's going to be a big question, as he was a key spark plug on the St. Edmond offense last year when the Gales defeated Bishop Garrigan 42-34. In the shotgun, it's Swisher. As Gallus out to the right side, Baker on his right hip, he gives to Baker. Baker heading right to left. Baker is wrapped up in the backfield and brought down. Marceau with the ankle tackle, and that is going to lose about 3 yards.
Boy, Marceau is just getting going. He's just a junior, folks, and he is just a one-person wrecking crew on the football field. He's going to do some great things for the Garrigan team this year. Not that he didn't last year, but as a junior here, he scares me. He's very talented, very fast, and just uber aggressive on the football field.
He's the kind of guy who's just looking for someone to hit, both on offense and on defense, and you need that kind of hammer on your football program. Gallus is out to the wide side of the field. The junior Swisher in the shotgun for St. Edmond. Gales averaged 41 points per game last year. Swisher's back to throw. Clean pocket, looks right, fires, and it's incomplete. Out of the reach of the diving Dominic McLean, covered by Lichter on the play, and it's 3rd down and 13.
Boy, this defense is just starting to communicate. There's a lot of high fives all around. Madden Miller high-fiving as he comes off the field. They're getting guys in, they're getting guys out, they're staying fresh. That is going to be an incredible strength of this deep Garrigan defense. Like I said earlier, they got a lot of linebackers, they got a lot of defensive ends. They can keep people fresh.
And we're going to have to fix the clock here. Kept running on the incomplete pass. We're down to 10:46 on the clock, but clock was over 11 minutes when that ball fell incomplete, and that's why the officials are blowing it dead here.
Let me take a minute then to talk about Marceau, because we've really seen him really pick up the intensity here in this second quarter, end of the first quarter. Last year he was victimized with 2 or 3, I don't know, I wasn't keeping track, but unsportsmanlike calls. And if you know Ethan Marceau, he's the nicest kid, and I gave him a little trouble. What's going on here, Ethan? And he just gets so excited.
That is a high motor player, Ethan Marceau, as Swisher looks to throw. He lobs left side looking for Baker, and it's in between his hands, incomplete. Baker was trying to make an over-the-shoulder catch, and he was open. That ball dropped into the breadbasket, but I'm not sure he ever picked that ball up out of the sky.
Yeah, and in coverage there, Ethan Marceau from that linebacker position, just running step for step with Baker, and the defense is going to come off. So I told Marceau, I said, so tell me, how many unsportsmanlike penalties are going to get called this year? What's the over-under? What should we look forward to? And he said, none. I'm not getting any this year. And I said, I doubt it.
Well, we will hold him to that. You're a brave man, Beanie, asking him how many unsportsmanlike penalties he'd get. I think even Marceau would be able to handle the two of us at once in a fight very, very easily, as Murphy is back to receive the punt at the 10-yard line, returns to the near side 20. He's to the 25, he's to the 30, and he's finally forced out of bounds by Clay Baker. Once again, a ton of room to return for Owen Murphy, and he's able to get out to the 30-yard line with 10:44 left in the second.
Yeah, he tacks on another 25 yards of return yardage there for Murphy. He's going to, no, I thought he was going to stay in the game. He's going to come out there. And we'll get the Trayton Sink out there at tailback, Marceau fullback. That look, here comes Helliseth and the Garrigan offensive line. We should say Caden Graves there doing the center duties at this moment. Schwab is the left guard.
And what a big task for the junior Caden Graves, filling in the large shoes of Logan Nemers, who's now playing at Wayne State. And that offensive line for Bishop Garrigan just demoralized teams in the second half of games last season. Of course, Helliseth and Schwab, two of the best guards in the state, return. And Graves in the center is going to be part of the glue of that offensive line, not to mention good blocking tight ends and fullbacks. So Graves is going to try to hold it all together, as well as Sink gets the handoff, runs right side. Sink gets stood up in the backfield. He's spun around and he's knocked down at the 30-yard line, lost a yard.
A good initial pop by the offensive line for Garrigan. Nate Lear was in there as well. And that was Rosemeyer over there at tight end. They get that initial pop, but they got to sustain those blocks and keep blocking through that entire play. As St. Ed's, good experience at flowing to the ball. They corral Trayton Sink on the edge.
Quentin Jaskey made the stop for St. Edmond, a versatile defensive lineman who had 51.5 tackles last season. Nate Lear checks out. Michael Joyce checks in, as Joyce will be on the short side of the field. He's out to the right. Furt underneath center of Marceau in the backfield right behind him, as well as
Lichter.
It's a pitch to Lichter. Lichter burst through, and he almost broke it open. He got across the 40, and he got the first down, but he was one broken tackle away from a house call. If you recall, Beanie, Lichter only had one carry all of last year. It went for a 60-yard touchdown, and he nearly had a very similar run right there.
Yeah, Lichter is a fun player. He's a utility boy. He played a lot of linebacker last year, D-back. He's quick, he's strong, and he's a senior, and boy, it's fun to watch him play. When he came in, I thought, oh, Lichter's just giving Sink a breather. But nope, they give him the ball, and off he goes, and he's earned himself another call here. He's at tailback again.
Rosenmeyer, the tight end on the left side of the line. They will fake and roll out to the right with Furch. A flag comes in at the snap. Furch looking, he's going to pull it down, and he's going to lob it out of bounds. Nothing open down the field, and we'll see what that flag was coming in from the far side of the field.
Oh, good job by Furch there, just throwing it away. No one likes to lose a play, but a penalty anyway. But Lloyd, a lot of quarterbacks are reluctant to just throw that ball away or sometimes even take the sack, but you don't want to risk throwing the pick. Furch is just such a headsy quarterback. If there's a kid that loves sports, his name is Tate Furch.
So the penalty marked off 5 yards against Bishop Garrigan, setting up first down and 15 of 9:20 left in the first quarter. 22-8 your score right now in favor of the Golden Bears.
Tyler, Tate Furch loves sports so much. Phones are not allowed in the classroom this year, Bishop Garrigan. And on Tate Furch's way to Mr. Burrow's class, he was playing golf on his phone because you can have your phone in the hallway. And he said, Mr. Burrow, I just got to line up one more shot. I think I'm going to use my 9-iron. This kid loves sports so much, he's gaming in the hallways on the way to class.
I imagined you saying that in Tate Furch's voice, and I could totally picture it. Golden Bears are going to have to hustle here. They're out of time on the play clock, and Coach Wadley's going to have to burn Bishop Garrigan's second timeout. We'll keep it right here with 9:17 on the clock. Garrigan a little bit late getting up to the line of scrimmage that time with a 1st and 15 attempt coming up, but he really, Tate Furch, you talk about him, and we use the term gamer a lot, but it applies so well with Tate Furch. You're talking about a guy on the state track and field team with the shuttle hurdle relay, a guy who came back from a devastating injury in baseball last season to have a great year this year in baseball. And, of course, we said it so many times last year, so calm, so cool, so collected on the state title run. Nothing bothered him in spite of all that pressure.
Yeah, you go all the way back to that injury. That was the kind of injury you thought, like, a kid might never go out for sports again. He shattered his forearm, just a terrible break on his forearm in track. And then, boy, he's provided so many great moments since then. Just great thrilling moments in the state title football game. And boy, one of my favorite Tate Furch moments was this past summer in baseball when he threw out one of the fastest guys in the state trying to steal second base. That blew me away, and that's what we mean by gamer. Like, even no matter what the numbers say, height, weight, speed, doesn't matter with Tate Furch. Like, he just is a gamer.
First down and 15 for the Golden Bears. 9:17 left in the first half coming out of the timeout. Bishop Garrigan leading 22-8 over St. Edmond as Furch is in the shotgun. Lear out to the left. Joyce and Murphy over to the right. Marceau still in the block. Furch back to throw. Lobs it near side for Lear. Gets his head around, and he boxes out to the defender for the catch. Down to the 20-yard line is Nick Lear using that 6'5" height to box out Jacob Koopman. A great throw by Furch and a great catch by Lear.
Boy, Lear, another senior. What we've seen from Nate Lear over the years is when he gets in the game, something electric happens. If he gets on defense, he's got a nose for a sack. And when he gets in here on offense, he makes a big play. He's just one of those exciting players. When you see big number 87 go in the game, keep an eye on him.
And what a beautiful job of getting his head around, too, and picking up that ball from Furch. 8:57 left. First half, ball's at the 20-yard line, edge of the red power red zone. Quick hitter to Marceau. Marceau plunges forward, and he gets 4 yards. Just a power run by the fullback that time, going right at the heart of the St. Edmond defense.
Yeah, good solid run. Quick handoff, but Lichter is playing tailback still, giving Trayton Sink a big breather. And Lichter puts his hands up and acts like it's a faulty snap that went over his head. And you might think, well, that's silly chicanery back there in the backfield. But it caught my eye, and that's what they're hoping to keep the linebacker's eyes long enough that the running back can sneak past the linebackers.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't hurt you to do it. Worst case scenario, it doesn't fool anybody and the tackle gets made, but maybe you catch 1 or 2 guys off guard as it's not a quick hitter to Marceau. This time he's crushed. Walker knifing in there, shed the block and stopped Marceau for no gain.
Oh, man. Lear and Rosemeyer tried to block that young man, but that is some stout defensive line meat over there. Walker lined up at nose guard, and number 27, who is that?
Whew, Coleman Hansen.
You read their numbers from left to right, it goes 7-2-2-7, and yeah, they're a wall of numbers right there.
Walker sometimes lines up at the end, sometimes at the D tackle, and this next play looks like he's going to line up at a D tackle, but that's an all-state caliber player. Very good on both the offensive and defensive lines for St. Edmond. Golden Bears have Lear out to the left. Back to throw his Furch. He looks quickly to Lear. Quick hitters. Lear makes the catch. He tries to break a tackle. He stumbles forward, and he's right to the edge of the 10-yard line. Did not quite get the first down, but could make this a much more easy 4th down attempt for Bishop Garrigan.
Boy, Lear has got some agility for that giant 6'6" frame. Like, that's pretty good athleticism on that body, and I don't think he's done growing yet. Definitely not done putting on muscle yet. Boy, Tyler, go back to the athleticism and the all-state quality of Walker. You know he's good just by watching him play, but if you don't know football, you know he's good because Ethan Marceau almost never gets stopped dead in his tracks, and Walker has done that twice today.
Well, they did give Nick Lear the first down on that. He got just enough, so first down and goal for Bishop Garrigan. They have the ball at the 10-yard line, so have to get it into the end zone here with 7:28 left in the first half. That's a good point as well. Marceau, all kinds of strength for Bishop Garrigan, but Walker listed at 6'2", 255, so that's a big-time collision. Lichter gets the handoff. Lichter through the middle. Lichter dragging men down to the 4-yard line. Lichter took a couple guys with him that time as jumping on his back for St. Edmond, Dominic McLean.
Was that Caden Rothler back there? That's the kind of run we did with Caden Rothler all last year. Just a straight-up lead off the left tackle, guard, whatever you want to call it, an 8-man. Marceau does a huge lead block, and in this case, Andrew Lichter, the tailback, just runs right behind him and doesn't go down easy.
And the left side of the line is where you have Carter Schwab. It's also where Bishop Garrigan lined up their offensive lineman / eligible tight end Nate Lear, so there's a lot of beef on that side, plus following Marceau. Now it's Trayton Sink in the backfield. 2 tight ends, 2 backs for the Golden Bears. Ball's at the 4-yard line. It's a pitch to Sink. He runs right. Sink looking for space. He's trying to find the edge, and he gets there. Touchdown, Trayton Sink. Baker tried to take out his ankles, but Sink with a patient run to the right side, and Bishop Garrigan up 28-8.
Great run by Sink. Good read on the block. Marceau made the outside block. Sink read his buddy's butt and cut off to the right to the pylon. Great running by Sink, who's been getting fresh on the sideline. He hasn't been in that whole series, so he had fresh legs, and that's what Lichter was doing. I suppose Lichter was going to the coaches, hey, like, I ran the ball all the way down there. Can I get the score, coach? And, yeah, it'll come later this season. Don't worry about it. We got Trayton's fresh for this very reason. A nice job.
Well, after watching a few carries of Lichter, I would say I agree with that. Plenty of opportunities going forward that he's going to be getting with the way he's run the ball so far tonight. It's a 2-point attempt for the Golden Bears. Marshall on left to the Furch in the shotgun. Sink motions right to left. Sink gets the handoff coming across the formation. He's hitting the backfield. He's still fighting. He's near the goal line. Can he push his way in? No, he cannot. St. Edmond denies the 2-point conversion as the score will stay 28-8 with 6:36 left in the first half on KLGZ 98.5 FM and AM 1600.
When you need cash on the go, there's no need to pay a surcharge fee with MoneyPass. Iowa State Bank is proud to be part of the MoneyPass network of surcharge-free ATMs found nationwide. Look for the green and blue MoneyPass symbol on over 32,000 ATMs across the nation. Or find an ATM near your vacation spot or travel destination at moneypass.com. MoneyPass, another way that Iowa State Bank helps people succeed. Member FDIC.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these fine sports club members.
Central Financial Group, where you belong.
Down to Earth Tree Service, your local Algona Tree Service.
Styles Salon, your salon in Algona. Create yourself.
Farm and Home Services. View their listings at farmhomeservices.com.
Holmes Animal Clinic, animals large and small. They love them all.
Dance Connection and Tumbling by Michelle. Passionate about teaching, creative about dance. Visit their studio or danceconnectionbymichelle.com.
All bringing you this ball game.
As we come back here on Home Country Radio and the Algona Radio YouTube stream, Bishop Garrigan 28, St. Edmond 8. So far, it's been 28 unanswered points by the Golden Bears, who gave up the opening kick return touchdown by the Gales. But since then, they pounded in a couple of runs of Trayton Sink, long touchdown pass to Michael Joyce, and a kick, make that a punt return touchdown by Owen Murphy. So Bishop Garrigan has scored in a couple different phases of the game. Kicking it away will be the junior Brady Galligan as he approaches the football, and he'll kick it end over end, back down the middle of the field. Gals receives inside the 10-yard line, returns it up the middle to the 15, goes left to the 20, burst of speed to the 25, Gals to the 30, and he's out of bounds. Ridden out by Isaac DeLange for Bishop Garrigan, a long-time special teams tackler who's always in the middle of the action, and it'll be 1st and 10 from the 30.
Boy, you nailed it, Tyler. Isaac DeLange is like the special teams ace for about the last 3 years, I'd say. He has been on those special teams, and he can play running back. He's another one of those many seniors for Bishop Garrigan that can kind of do it all. And we're going to be wishing we had some of those guys in the years to come. But they're all on the team right now, all vying for positions there. And that is the trick of when you have 52 guys on an 8-man team. Right now, the linebackers are Miller, Marceau, and Lichter. They're going to shuffle those guys around quite a bit this year, I believe.
Well, back to Lang. I'll call him Garrigan's version of Matthew Slater, the 10-time Pro Bowl selection for the New England Patriots, all on special teams. So
hey, that's a great career right there.
That's a tremendous career. As there's a run by Meyer left side. Meyer burrows his way forward, and he has about 4 yards as he gets out to the 33-yard line.
Garrigan this year has got quite the cheerleading squad. We've been seeing some aerial flips. Oh, no, wait, I don't think it's a flip. I think you just call it an aerial. But, boy, that scares me every time they do that. They run around the track and they flip over without putting their hands down. Worries me, but some good cheerleading so far this year as well.
I'm impressed, Beanie. You're in mid-season form. The cheerleading terminology is down as well, as there's a handoff to Meyer, picking his way for the middle. He gets hit at the 35-yard line, and Garrigan starts to push him back. A swarm of black jerseys coming in. Good team tackling by the Golden Bears, as Helseth was right in the middle of everything.
Well, the statisticians are going to have a hard time crediting one person for that tackle. Yeah, but I always give that one to the last guy up, and that was Lichter, and I think Rosemeyer was in there too. Looks like Rosemeyer going to get some nose guard time here. Rosemeyer, another one of those seniors. Boy, can kind of play everywhere on the line, tight end. He could probably play linebacker if you wanted him to. Like, he kind of can do everything here. But right now, that senior's on the defensive line. As, you know, you've got these 13, 14 seniors. It's going to be a challenge for Coach Wiley. He has built up his program. He loves the seniors. He builds them up, and he wants to get them in the game.
3rd down and 5 from the 35-yard line, and this play is blown dead as St. Edmond calls a timeout with 5:04 left on the clock. But back to Rosemeyer playing that nose guard position, Beanie. Bishop Garrigan loves those quick, shifty nose guards. As you remember last year, Brody Ludwig, probably the most underrated player of the Golden Bears, had double-digit sacks, played that nose guard position. He's 140 pounds going up against guys who are probably 100 pounds heavier than him, and he was really a focal point in the middle of that Garrigan defense.
Yeah, Brody Ludwig last year was just a nightmare for coaches because they kept challenging their offensive linemen, saying, how is that little guy getting in the backfield? But that 140 pounds of Brody Ludwig, you know, sometimes you have a really shifty, fast guy. You can get right in those gaps, and you can get underneath people. And if you can get lower, you're really, really hard to block. It's the name of the game. Can you get low enough, but get low enough and also stay powerful? I suppose that's why they got all that weight room equipment, and they're doing all those exercises to get strength when they're down on those stances. But Garrigan definitely put in some time here in the off season. Anytime I came into school to do some work, it seemed like there was people in the weight room.
You know the name of the game in football nowadays is the weight room. You ask any football coach how their offseason went, the first words out of their mouth is weight room. 3rd down and 5 for the Gales. Swisher back to throw. Here comes Helseth. Swisher unloads, and the ball's caught. McLean in between 2 defenders. He got popped by Michael Joyce. Trayton Sink was right there as well, but McLean held on for the catch and the 1st down.
Fantastic upper level catch there by McLean. He had to elevate, catch that on right in his gut between 2 Garrigan defenders. Hats off on that one. Good coverage, great, better throw and catch.
4:51 and taking left in the first half. 28-8 Bishop Garrigan, but St. Edmond trying to get a little bit closer here as they march into the plus side of the field. Ball's at the 34-yard line after the 3rd down completion by Ethan Swisher. Swisher's in the gun this time. Swisher fakes the handoff to Baker. He rolls out to the left. Here comes Helseth again. Swisher throws over the middle. McLean leaps up, and the ball pops out late. He had it going down to the ground, but the ground jarred it loose. Second time we've seen that happen tonight to McLean, as he just couldn't hang on all the way down.
Garrigan's going to get called for roughing the passer. That was the Helseth, Rosemeyer, and company were bearing down on him, and after the pass had gone, Rosemeyer's backside just kind of flung around and knocked the QB down. I don't know if he you know, just kind of a big, massive humanity getting pushed into the quarterback. Rosemeyer couldn't stay out of that contact.
So a big time penalty will move the ball all the way down to the 19-yard line. St. Edmond inside the Red Power Red Zone, brought to you by your local Red Power team in Bancroft, Corwith, West Bend, and Humboldt. We haven't said the Red Power Red Zone a whole lot because most of the touchdowns have been huge plays, even some from 50-plus yards out. But St. Edmond's in the red zone now, 1st and 10 from the 19. Underneath center is Swisher, as he will hand it off to Meyer. Meyer runs behind the right guard, and he gets his way forward down to the 16-yard line for a 3-yard gain.
Seen a little life out of St. Ed's. They've been mostly dead and zombie-like here at the end of the first quarter and beginning of the second quarter, but now they're showing a little bit of life. Seeing some more good blocking up front and some more aggressive play calling here by the coaches, going with some of that passing downfield, trying to get big chunks of yardage.
And they passed a lot against Garrigan last year. Their excellent quarterback, J.T. Laufersweiler, threw for 226 yards and 2 touchdowns. Also rushed for 2 more touchdowns in that wild back-and-forth 42-34 game. Garrigan has not defeated St. Edmond since 2019, back when the 2 teams were both still playing 11-player football. They both moved to the 8-man game in 2021. Pistol formation, Swisher fakes Meyer, gives to Baker. Baker up the middle, and he has a big hole. Baker inside the 5. He falls forward. He's right at the goal line, and they'll call him down. That ball came out late, and Garrigan recovered, but they say he's down at the 1-yard line as St. Edmond, once again, just uses all kinds of motion and gets Baker down to the 1.
Andrew Lichter, he was in pursuit there, and he did a high-skill play where he was tackling from behind, and he tried to tomahawk chop, swing from behind, and knock that ball out. And he's saying to the referee on his way back, hey, I knocked that out. But the referee said no, he was down.
So can St. Edmond punch it in? They're at the 1-yard line, 1st and goal with 3:20 left in the first half. Power formation, Swish underneath center. He'll give to Meyer, runs right side. Meyer burrows his way forward, and he's into the end zone for a St. Edmond touchdown. And once again, Garrigan comes out with the ball, but they say St. Edmond broke the plane well before Garrigan was able to jar the ball loose. So a touchdown when they needed it the most.
Tyler, are you Rasputin right there? I did not see the officials signal touchdown, but you called it. You called it from the box.
The official on the far side signaled touchdown. He was the one I was looking at. Maybe the near side official was blocked by bodies in front.
I just saw a couple of officials looking at each other saying, is he in? Is he in? I can't see. Too many bodies there. Well, there's Sam Meyer. I knew we were going to see Sam Meyer eventually in the Case IH red zone. He is their power running back. He's impressive. Him and Baker can both run with power. I knew we hadn't seen the last of those guys.
St. Edmond will go for 2. Swisher will begin the shotgun with Baker on his right hip. Gallows out to the right side with 3:11 left in the first half. Swisher takes a snap, looking towards the right side. He throws, and he has McLean in the end zone for the 2-point conversion. That'll make it 28-16 as Swisher drifted towards his left, threw back to the right, and McLean wide open for 2.
Well, we've got a ball game now, 28-16, with a lot of game left to play. Garrigan's not going to run away with this one in the first half as St. Ed's just executes a beautiful throw and catch. Perfect pass, perfect catch, right in between the Garrigan defense.
A lot of times when you have a quarterback making his first start, you talk about how can you find your safety blanket? Who's that guy you're comfortable throwing to? And when you look at St. Edmond, obviously their lead returning receiver is Grant Gallows, who had 867 yards receiving and 13 touchdowns last year. But I think the guy Swisher's comfortable throwing to is the tight end Dominic McLean. He's really looking for him on all those big plays, the key third downs. He's really targeting that senior tight end.
That's right. He is. And you're right. You got to find that security blanket. And tight ends are the best security blanket in the world. They're big. They're strong. They get if you got one that can catch, put those big mitts on that. You know, that score, you know, it looked like it wasn't going to happen, but I don't want to bring it up because Coach Wiley will go after this over and over again on tomorrow's morning's coach's show. But that penalty that, you know, it was probably a good call, but it was one of those that it wasn't really an intentional roughing the passer, and that really set St. Ed's up in good field position after that penalty.
3:11 left in the first half. 28-16, Bishop Garrigan on your Greg Penning and Company scoreboard. It's a deep kickoff once again. Joyce makes the catch, but he's in the end zone, and that's an automatic touchback. Once again, the powerful leg of Coleman Hansen showing up tonight on a night that really doesn't have any wind to speak of, so that's all Coleman Hansen.
Yeah, that is an excellent kick there. He's kicking that 50 yards in the air that time, taking Joyce into the end zone. If this was if you could trade high school football players like you do in the world of Major League Baseball, the Bears would like that kicker on their team, and the Minnesota Twins would like Glace, the closer, for the Guardians.
You could give us $1 billion and we would not give up Emmanuel Glace.
Oh, I know the Guardians. They would absolutely give. They would also give up a player for $1 billion.
Yeah, you're right. The discount Dolans probably would, but that's a whole other topic as Bishop Garrigan has it. 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. 3:10 left in the first half. Sink runs right side. A flag comes in as Sink is knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Clay Baker at the bottom of that pile for St. Edmond, but we'll check the flag.
Well, that is a good call, and I don't even know what it is because that official was standing in the middle of the hurricane of players, right in the middle of all the blocking, holding his ground, and he was looking right at the spot where he threw the flag. So that is as sure of a football call as I've ever seen by an official.
Yeah, veteran officials working the games here on Friday night across Iowa, and you've got to have a lot of composure to be amongst all those flying players worried you're not going to get taken out.
That takes some guts there to be. I think that's the umpire that stands right there, but he's standing right in the middle of the linebackers, and like that's play after play. That takes some guts. There's many official that has been knocked around, I'm sure. No equipment. You know what, Tyler? I'm actually surprised they don't have some sort of equipment on officials that stand right there at this point.
That's a good point. They're trusting the agility of the officials to get out of the way and the vision as well. But they're going to get Bishop Garrigan for a holding penalty. Half of the distance to the goal. Ball's back at the 7-yard line. 1st down and 16 now. Furch is going to throw. Feed to the edge of the end zone. Quick pass out to the left to Lear. Catches at the 12. Falls forward to the 15-yard line and gets most of that back. quick pitch and catch. Take first to Nick Lear. And speaking of security blankets, Nick Lear, a couple early catches in this ball game on the left side from Furch.
Yeah, Lear, athletic, tall guy. It's a great security blanket target for Furch there. When in doubt, just throw it up high and let Nick Lear go up and get it. But Nick takes a big smack on the head there by the defensive back from St. Ed's with the knee. He gets right up.
Furch from the shotgun. He pulls it down and wants to run. He's trying to spin around. Myers got him by the ankle, and he's holding on for dear life. Furch is able to fall forward for 1 yard. Could have been bigger, but Sam Meyer, a sure tackler, brings him down.
That was a great play for the Bears all last year. The kind of the sprint draw by Furch. It's a run all the way. And that time, he bounced off. Marceau was kind of blocking 2 guys, and Furch bounced off and tried to spin move, but someone snagged his ankle in a snare trap.
Sam Meyer had 69 tackles last year, probably already has 7 or 8 so far tonight. As Furch will be alone on the backfield, 3 receivers to the right. As Furch steps back to throw, it's a three-man rush. Here comes big-time pressure, and Furch is buried. Walker engulfs him inside the 10-yard line, and the Garrigan drive sputters with 1:44 left in the first half.
There's that life again in that St. Ed's team. They were showing some life on their offensive drive. Their line was dominating early, then they went away, and now that line is picking up some momentum again.
Well, St. Edmond will call a timeout and save some clock with 1:40 left in the first half. We'll take that timeout with them here on Home Country at KLGZ.
Thank you to these sports club members bringing you this game on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
The Wrenchman Truck and Trailer Repair, full-service repair shop in West Bend.
Tango Salon for all your cuts, colors, hair extensions, and massage therapy needs.
Algona Chiropractic Clinic, it's your future. Let's make it healthy together.
Feed Mill Coffee Company, Algona's locally owned coffee shop.
Good Samaritan Society, Algona's senior housing and services rooted in God's love.
Schindler Lawn Care and Landscaping, 515-320-3840.
All bringing you this ball game.
Bishop Garrigan 28, St. Edmond 16 with 1:40 left in the first half, but St. Edmond has a chance to grab some serious momentum if they can score before halftime. They used their final timeout, and now Bishop Garrigan will have to punt, pinned deep in their own territory. Michael Joyce is standing in the end zone getting ready to punt it away, and St. Edmond will probably get the ball on the plus side of the field here. Good snap to Joyce. Joyce right foots the ball away. It is a spiraling kick and a high one. Gallus will stay away, and it takes a Garrigan bounce. Ball rolls all the way down to the 25-yard line. Ill-advised play by Gallus, as he let that ball bounce, and it took a very friendly Garrigan roll.
Oh, great kick by Joyce. Kicked that from out the goal line, didn't he, Tyler?
Yes.
So that is a hefty kick there by Joyce. Nice spiral high kick. Borman and Dan Mice were what we call the kill guys. They were flying down the field to get to that ball. Mice dives for it and downs it there before it goes out of bounds.
Well, quick score update from across town. Algona's at Spirit Lake tonight. Big time matchup in that game as the Bulldogs lead the Indians 21-7 at the half. Number 3 team in Class 3A versus the number 1 team in Class 2A. St. Edmond with 1:27 on the clock. Swisher had a ton of pressure, being chased by Rosenmeyer. He throws to the right, and it's just off the fingertips of Baker. What a job by Swisher, not only to throw it, but to throw it right in the vicinity of Baker, who just ran out of room along the sideline.
Yeah, all kinds of pressure by Rosenmeyer, and Keaton Helliseth broke through the line relatively untouched. And Rosenmeyer, after that penalty in the last drive, wisely puts his hands up and shows him the official, says, didn't touch anybody, and avoids any sort of contact there. But yeah, good job by Swisher to get rid of that ball. It could have been a sack for 15-yard loss, but he avoids it.
Well, we'll see what St. Edmond can do now in an obvious passing situation. You don't have the run-pass balance in this situation. There's no timeouts left for the Gales. They've got to march down the field here in 1:22 as they face 2nd down and 10 from their own 26-yard line. Baker's on the right hip of Swisher. Swisher fakes the Baker, and he'll keep it himself. Swisher up the middle, and they'll blow the play dead.
No.
Swisher had a wide-open hole, but they blow the play dead.
Swisher was off to the races on his version of the quarterback keeper. Must have been offsides by St. Ed's, otherwise it wouldn't be blowing the play dead.
The flag came from the far side of the field, and they're going to march this one back 5 yards. So big-time mistake by St. Ed's. That was going to go for a big play and possibly a touchdown if that play had not been offsides.
Oh, that is unfortunate for the Gales. And there has been some big penalties, but I'd say this is about the appropriate amount of penalties on a first game of the year for a couple teams, although a lot of experience out there. Those coaches think they should play perfectly, I'm sure.
That's really the first time we've seen the Gales go to the quarterback keeper tonight, too, something the Garrigan defense hadn't seen yet. This time Swisher's underneath center, and he'll hand it off. Running up the middle is Meyer. Meyer pushing his way forward and gets about 2 or 3 yards there out to the 24-yard line as St. Edmond now is worried about giving Garrigan the ball back.
And credit Lichter, Rosemeyer, and Schwab all with a third of a tackle on that because all three of them hit the ball carrier about the same time.
So 3rd down and 12 from the 24-yard line, and the Gales have given up on the idea of scoring. They're going to run some clock here and see if Garrigan wants to use that last timeout or not. As of right now, Bishop Garrigan is not using the last timeout. They did defer on the opening coin toss, so Bishop Garrigan will get the ball to start the second half.
The clock is running, just 40 seconds left to go till half, 28-16 lead, so we're getting into Hail Mary time, and I do see a priest on the St. Edmund sidelines, but I don't know that I see a priest on the Garrigan sideline, so the father, Zach, is at everything.
St. Edmond gets the snap off at the end of the play clock. Swisher's going to run it left, trying to outrace Schwab. He's hit by Lichter, and he's knocked down at the 29-yard line. A 3-yard gain by Swisher, but not nearly enough for the first down. And Bishop Garrigan will take a timeout. Their final one of 23 seconds left in the first half. So Bishop Garrigan will at least force St. Edmond to punt, see if Murphy can make something happen here.
And he certainly could. You know, that play is one of those that there's so many things that you don't notice happen in football because they didn't happen. And what didn't happen there was Swisher breaking off to the races and scoring because of the speed of Andrew Lichter. Sure, everyone went for the fake, including Lichter, but his speed allowed him to recover and run down that quarterback before he got out into open territory. So it looked like an uneventful 5-yard gain or whatever it was, but what didn't happen was a big run because of Andrew Lichter's closing speed there. That was an impressive job there by Lichter, preventing something big from happening. Garrigan does have that in the defensive backfield this year. As I said, it's Lichter's speed, but they got Michael Joyce playing safety back there. He's got great speed. Last year it was Justin Bauer had the job of making sure nobody scored with his good speed if they broke in the open field. And this year there's a few guys with some speed back there to run down the speedsters.
Well, Owen Murphy is back to receive a punt. He returned 155 yards to the house earlier tonight. Coleman Hansen to unload it. Hansen pops the punt up. It's a shanked punt. That ball is out of bounds along the St. Edmund sideline. That maybe went 5 yards. Probably not even 5. The line of scrimmage was the 29. That is a 2-yard punt.
Wow. Yeah, I think the Bears are going to get it. Yeah, at the 32 maybe. I don't know. Hard to tell.
They're marking it at the 30. That is a 1-yard punt.
The question is, did Nick Lear get a piece of that? He was right there in the face of the kicker. I think it was just his presence made the kicker like change the angle and pop it up, but Nick Lear was right in the face of the kicker.
15 seconds left in the first half. No timeouts for Bishop Garrigan, leading 28-16. So you can try something quick near the sideline and then maybe get a little closer for a heave into the end zone. As Furch has Marshall on his right hip, he's in the shotgun. Joyce is out to the left. St. Edmond will try to not let anything get over their head. Furch is back to throw. Furch looking. He's going to gut it deep for Joyce. Joyce got behind the defense, and the ball's out of bounds. It was punched out of the air. A nice play by Jacob Koopman to recover as Joyce had a step, but Koopman punched it out of bounds with 9 seconds left.
Well, I love that play. The Bears went from their power formation, so the only receiver eligible was indeed Michael Joyce. So if they were going to pass to the end zone, it was all Michael. I like that because it gives Tate Furch just a clear signal. Watch this guy, see if you can get him the ball. You know, I'm sure across town that's what you like to do with that speed last year with Porter Reefer and Alex Mansky, whoever it is, Evan Alley, for whoever it is for the Bulldogs this year. Like, it's so much easier for the quarterback not have to read 3 receivers. This is the guy I'm throwing to.
9 seconds left in the first half. Bishop Garrigan has the ball on the St. Edmond 30-yard line. We'll possibly see another shot play coming up here. Furch from the gun. He has Murphy out to the left. Furch rolls out. He has some pressure coming from behind as Furch is going to pull it down, and he's ripped down right at the end of the first half. Coleman Hansen pursued him all the way across the field, and Furch gets forward for 1 yard. As the whistle blows here, and the first half comes to an end, so Bishop Garrigan doesn't get that last pass off, but they do enter the halftime break with a 28-16 lead here on Home Country Radio KLGZ. Right now, we'll take a quick timeout. We've got the Murphy Realty and Management first half recap coming up, as well as Algona Municipal Utilities. You make the call. It's next on Home Country Radio and at the Algona Radio YouTube channel.
That's it for the first half of play. Now get set for the Edward Jones halftime show featuring Algona Municipal Utilities. You make the call. And the Murphy Realty and Management first half recap. Your Edward Jones representatives are Bruce Keefe, Jerry Sokup, Brady Ross, and Mackenzie Jorgensen.
Don't let concerns about shifts in the market disrupt your long-term financial goals. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Jerry Sokup. Let's work together on an investment strategy for long-term results. While you can't control market volatility, you can control your financial future. Start by giving me a call at 515-295-7766. Along with Bruce Keith, Brady Ross, and Mackenzie Jorgensen, together we are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Safe and affordable housing. Those are words we like to hear. And Murphy Realty and Management Incorporated provides just that. With properties in Algona and several surrounding counties, Murphy Realty and Management Incorporated provides safe and affordable apartments at a time when everyone could really use it. They pride themselves as a local entity that aims to help you find exactly what you're looking for. Give them a call at 515-295-2927 or stop in their office located at 208 East State Street in Algona. This institution is an equal housing opportunity provider.
Time at Conway Field in Algona, Iowa, where the number 1 ranked Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears lead the St. Edmond Gales 28-16. Golden Bears trying to defeat St. Edmond for the first time since the 2019 season. It's your first half recap brought to you by Murphy Realty and Management. Looking at the scoring so far in this ball game, St. Edmond got things started on a 70-yard kickoff return touchdown on the season opening kickoff by Grant Gallus with 11:48 left in the first quarter, made it 8-0 Gales. Bishop Garrigan would respond though on a 54-yard touchdown pass as Tate Furch found Michael Joyce with 3:15 left in the first, tying the game at 8. After that, Owen Murphy returned a punt, 55 yards for a touchdown, giving Bishop Garrigan their first lead with 1:48 left in the first quarter, 16-8 Golden Bears at that point. Then at the very end of the first quarter, in fact, the final play of the first, Trayton Sink broke a big run. He broke a tackle, had a nice patient run, 35 yards for a touchdown, making it 22-8 Golden Bears. It would eventually be 28 unanswered points as of 6:36 left in the second quarter. Sink got a second touchdown of the game, this time from 4 yards out, and St. Edmond had the final score before halftime, a 1-yard rushing touchdown by Sam Meyer, as that made the score 28-16 with 3:11 in the second quarter, and that's where we enter the half. Bishop Garrigan 28 and St. Edmond 16, as that is your Murphy Realty and Management first half recap. Beanie, just one quick thought on the first half from you. What was your biggest takeaway there, first half between the Golden Bears and Gales?
Well, you know, I had a lot of emotion in the game, and I got to admit, I was a little worried there when the game started, and I saw that St. Ed's line, both offensive and defense, seemed to be dominating the Bishop Garrigan line. And I was a little worried at that point of the game, especially after that kick return by Gallus. But Garrigan, good adjustments. I think the Garrigan coaching staff took really 2 good, well-timed timeouts plus the quarter break, and they really put it together quick on what they could do, and saw some players really start to make some effort there. Marceau had a good first half. Rosemeyer on that defensive line really came alive, and it's really kind of all around. Like, Garrigan's very balanced, good teamwork. They just kind of had to settle down and start playing the game. Really think that first kickoff just caught them off guard, and because, boy, 28 unanswered points. It looked like they were going to run away with it, but hey, St. Ed's came right back.
Well, another big factor in the first half. St. Edmond was up 8-0. They had the ball at Bishop Garrigan's 4-yard line, and Garrigan got a 4th down stop to prevent it from becoming a 2-possession game. After that, the Golden Bears ripped off the 28 straight points, and right now they lead it 28-16 at the half. Again, that's your Murphy Realty and Management first half recap. Coming up next, we have Algona Municipal Utilities. You make the call, and then after that, a special feature of Bishop Garrigan Activities Director Rob Meister. We'll have that all coming up next on Halftime, KLGZ Home Country Radio and the Algona Radio YouTube channel.
Market declines, unemployment, today's headlines can be scary. Hi, I'm Edward Jones, financial advisor, Mackenzie Jorgensen. I'll work with you to help you understand the impact of short-term events and how to prepare for the long term. We provide the tools for a reasoned, disciplined approach to investing. Don't let headlines derail your long-term financial strategy. Contact me, Mackenzie Jorgensen, at 515-395-4021, along with Bruce Keith, Jerry Sokup, and Brady Ross. We are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
It's time for You Make the Call as we test your knowledge of the rules. You Make the Call is brought to you by Algona Municipal Utilities, where they are community-owned for community benefit. Our referee this evening is Tom Claude.
R1 muffs a scrimmage kick after making a valid fair catch signal. The kick is near the sideline where K1 attempts to recover the muffed kick, but muffs it himself and the kick goes out of bounds. Whose ball is it, and where is the ball placed? You make the call.
Make the call with AMU Telephone Service. AMU local and long-distance telephone provides the call clarity and reliability you expect at an affordable price. Enhance your AMU telephone service with calling features like caller ID and voicemail. When you switch to AMU telephone, you can keep your 295 phone number and you get friendly local customer service. Make the call to AMU to install AMU telephone. Algona Municipal Utilities, community owned for community benefit.
The ball belongs to the receiving team R1 at the spot where the ball goes out of bounds. The touching by K1 prior to the ball going out of bounds does not constitute possession, so the receiving team gains possession of the ball at the place where it went out of bounds.
And this has been You Make the Call, brought to you by Algona Municipal Utilities, where they are community-owned for community benefit.
Again, that is You Make the Call, brought to you by Algona Municipal Utilities here on your Edward Jones Halftime Report. Right now we have one more quick timeout to get to, and then that special feature with Rob Meister, the Bishop Garrigan Activities Director. It's next on KLGZ Home Country Radio.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than preparing for retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Bruce Keith. Together we can give you your long-term retirement strategy the attention it deserves. Stop by our office at 100 North Phillips Street. Contact me, Bruce Keith, at 515-295-5173. Together with Jerry Sukup, Mackenzie Jorgensen, and Brady Ross, we are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, members SIPC.
Don't let concerns about current events derail your long-term financial strategy. I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Brady Ross. We can work together to understand today's financial landscape and make sure you achieve your goals. While you can't control market volatility, you can control your financial future. Let's connect. Contact me, Brady Ross, at 515-295-7763. Together with Bruce Keith, Jerry Sukup, and Mackenzie Jorgensen, we are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
And it's halftime right now on Home Country Radio KLGZ, as we have a little special feature here talking right now with Bishop Garrigan, co-head baseball coach and activities director Rob Meister. Rob, thank you so much for joining us today at halftime.
Thanks for having us, Tyler. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And what we wanted to do here is just kind of get people caught up with some of the happenings around the Garrigan Athletic Department, both over the summer and as we enter the fall here. So we'll go chronologically, kind of starting off with the summer. Obviously, a big time for both Garrigan baseball and softball, winning the top of Iowa West. Really a historic accomplishment of both teams winning it in the same year. So kind of give us your overview of the summer and some of the highlights from the Garrigan Athletic Department during that time.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Both of us to win it in the same season. Softball, just the second time winning it. They've had a lot of second-place finishes in the past. Baseball, yeah, we've had back-to-back. We could have, a couple years ago, we had a little snag in there, but it's the first time that we've gone undefeated in conference play. Now, we did rain out to Eagle Grove. We tried playing that game like 4 times. But, overall, the kids really, with all the rain outs that we had or the delays that we had or schedule changes that we had and hours spent working on the field to prep for that night's game. I mean, baseball, I think we ended up losing 4 games or 5 games to weather, and I think softball only lost 2 to weather. So, had tremendous accomplishments. Both of us were pretty steady throughout the year. I can speak more to baseball, obviously, being there full time, but obviously softball did a lot of good things as well. And they were able to have Abby Capacious as their Player of the Year in the conference, and very deserving for Abby. Great career, 5-year starter. Do the things that she did at Bishop Garrigan program is tremendous, and legacy she left in every sport she participated in. And for baseball, Justin Bauer became just a handful of players to be a 2-time All-Stater, and did not have statistically as good a year as last year, but enough people had seen him play and for him to gain, first team honor on 1 publication, second team honor on 1 publication, and the third team honor. That's a testament to him. Ended up batting .400 for his career, which, being a 3-year starter, that's a tremendous accomplishment. People that follow baseball and softball know that that's not a given. He's number 1 in career stolen bases. He just fell short of, on the season 1. I think he's close to tying it. I think he was 1 away from that. He's in the top 10 for runs scored, walks. You know, he got over 100 hits. So another accomplishment. Drew Lappy, another senior going out, had a great career for us. Another 3-year starter. Just did, you know, all the things that we asked of him. He had never really played first base much. Well, he becomes a 2-year starter at first base, becomes all-conference, and then we move him to shortstop this year because of graduation. And so if you saw us play the last 3 weeks or so of the season, I don't know too many shortstops in our area making more plays than he made. And then Benji Trainer, our other senior, going out, played a lot of center field and right field for us, batted right towards that middle to bottom third of our lineup, and really anchored early in the year when we need him to step up. We had guys missing because of track. So, you know, a lot of good things from our kids, a lot of all-conference kids. You know, we look at Tate Furch, not really playing, you know, full-time last summer. He played a little bit, not much varsity JV because of the broken arm. Dan Mice had a tremendous season for us, got over 100 strikeouts, and he was one that was really up and coming. I think a lot of people had seen that was a possibility for him. Just missed out on an all-state team by 1 vote. Brady Garrigan and Carter Schwab were also second-team all-conference, and then, as I mentioned, Ben Trainer, being a senior, he was honorable mention all-conference. The girls' side of things, you know, we had Abby, Hannah, Marin, Zoe Montag, Ella Shea first team, and obviously Ella Shea being a senior in that with Abby. Oh, wow. Just, you know, 5 years pitching for the program. What a mark she leaves. Stacia Alish, Alicia Hoagland, Molly Peterson being second-teamers, and then Shiloh Trainer being honorable mention. So a lot of good honors from both of our summer teams coming off a good track and golf season. So we're really proud of what our programs can accomplish, not just as a coach, but obviously as an AD. We had good numbers last summer. We had 30 boys out for baseball. Softball had right around 19 or 20. So we can continue to challenge our kids and our programs, and we're going to play a lot of games. And I'm glad we are rewarded with people that support baseball in this community, Bishop Garrigan, and that we continue to have kids that want to do it and want to excel and want to be pushed, and kids that, you know, are returning next year that were all-conference are definitely going to be pushing to make their mark in all-state teams for sure.
A lot of historic accomplishments over the summer season for both Bishop Garrigan baseball and softball teams, and a lot of well-deserved conference and state honors given out as well. So the baseball and softball season wraps up, and there's not a whole lot of time until the fall sports season gets going, especially for you as the activities director. So what does that time look like for you as you get ready once baseball and softball wraps up to get ready for that fall season?
Well, thank God we have good secretaries and other people that work. So as you enter the summertime, your booster club drive is in full swing, and I spend some hours, a couple days a week, working on the booster club and with our secretary and making phone calls and then sending other mailings out. And then once baseball and softball got over, you know, we lost in the sub-state there. It was pretty much the end of that week. I'm sending things out to parents to make sure they're getting registered on Bound. That's where our kids sign up for sports. That's where they pay fees. That is our platform that our state has forced us to use for statistics and for rosters, for schedule. And now our kids pay fees, register on there. They log service hours for Bishop Garrigan on there. And then right into our Gridiron Gold drive and, you know, handing out booster club posters, booster tickets. And then, right into our fall camps and fall practices that started on the 12th. So, you're right into it as an activities director, but I can't do it without a lot of people that help out. You know, Brandon Schwab is our junior high AD. Alex Schwing is our assistant high school AD. Cheryl Hamilton does a lot for us as a secretary. And then, you know, I have to also give shout out to our admin, Christy Huff and Kristen Peterson, definitely. So there's a lot that goes into that. I'm surely not a solo act, but you know, you keep yourself busy, and when you're choose to coach baseball or softball, you stay in the fire probably a little bit longer than maybe the average does.
No doubt about that, as right now we talk with Rob Meister, Activities Director here at Bishop Garrigan, as we're at halftime between the Golden Bears and the St. Edmond Gales. And Rob, the last thing I had for you here is a new opportunity for some Bishop Garrigan athletes as you guys enter into a sharing agreement with Algona for boys swimming. So just give us a few details on that as far as when that came together and what that kind of looks like going forward.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. We've had girls swimming for some time, and Algona is the host for that, and we used to have few more schools involved in that around the area, and we've had a couple families approach us the last couple years. I'd say this has probably been in the works, and we decided to see what we can do. And right now it looks like between the two schools we might be between 10 and 12 swimmers. You can legally have 12 meets. Practice will start on November 11th. Right now I have 7 meets. We might host 1 or 2. Those will be at the YMCA. So, yeah, it's got it going off the ground pretty good here. Jeff Mortensen is probably going to be our primary coach, but we have some other people that are going to probably sub in and do some things for us. And like I said, our home area will be the Y. A lot of travel to Mason City High, Fort Dodge High, Spencer, Carroll, and Ames will be our primary, and then probably a couple weekends heading down to Des Moines. So kind of interesting. I've had some parents reach out to me that have junior high students, so I anticipate this kind of being a thing that can grow, and maybe we never anticipated we had this kind of interest. We had Matt Besh, who swam at Fort Dodge last year and has been really big into swimming and has swam for our Y. He had some friends of his that swam for the Y last winter, and those kids are transitioning right into our team. So, like I said, I think we have 6 or 7 here at Bishop Garrigan, and Algona's got about close to that number, 4, 5, or 6. So, yeah, it's pretty amazing. We'll see what we end up with in a couple years down the road. I don't know. So it's awesome to know that we can offer something like this for our kids and give them a home instead of having to travel to share a program somewhere else. So, yeah, definitely rewarding from that standpoint, and we're looking forward.
All right, I had to cut that a little bit short just because we are getting ready for the second half. Second half about to kick off here from Conway Field, now going to Iowa. But we pretty much got to the end there. Again, big thank you to Rob Meister, the Bishop Garrigan Activities Director, for his time there in that halftime feature. Well, here at the field, Bishop Garrigan leading St. Edmond 28-16. Start of the third quarter, St. Edmond will kick it from left to right on the radio dial. Coleman Hansen has it teed up at the 30-yard line. He approaches and he right foots it deep down the field. Joyce racing back towards the goal line, and that ball's into the end zone again. About 5 yards deep into the end zone as Coleman Hansen continues the boom touchbacks down the field.
Nothing but touchbacks from Coleman Hansen. I'll tell you, that guy has got a leg, and he puts it right where he wants it. You see him angling for that corner just in case he doesn't kick it into the end zone, but that's a weapon. Although I must say, those guys that are on kick cover teams, some of those guys are underclassmen looking for a chance to hit somebody and make a tackle. They're never going to get a chance this year for the Gales.
Well, we'll see what Tate Furch and the Bishop Garrigan offense can do to start the second half. Right now up 28-16. The offense found their groove after a little bit of a slow start in the first half as Furch will come out underneath center. One receiver out to the left, that's Murphy. 2 backs right behind Furch in the backfield. Rosenmeyer, the tight end on the right side. It'll be a handoff to Sink running left side, and he is buried. Engulfed in the backfield. Clay Baker in there for St. Edmond alongside Quentin Jaskey, and they blow up that play for a 1-yard loss.
Boy, big energy by the D line there. They came out ready to go. Tyler, that seemed like an extra long halftime. Not that the Bishop Garrigan band wasn't entertaining, but it seemed like we've been sitting here waiting a long time to play some football again, and that's enough time for teams to kind of reset their whole game plans here. And Garrigan just went right up the middle, and St. Ed stuffed it because they have really locked down that line.
A tone-setting drive either way to start the second half. If Garrigan scores here, it starts to turn into a bit of a blowout. If St. Edmond gets a stop, that's big as it's a pass to Sink. Out on the left side, he has the first down as he dances across the 30-yard line. They found Trayton Sink, and he outraced the defense to the first down sticks. That's about a 13-yard gain.
What beautiful play design there. Hats off to the Garrigan coaches for drawing up that one. The line movement took everybody to the right, and Trayton Sink comes out of the backfield and sneaks off to the left flat. Nice pass by Furch, hits him in stride, and he's off to the races for a good pickup. If it wasn't for the speed of the defensive backs for St. Ed's, that would have been a touchdown. And I can say it will be later this year because St. Ed's has some good defensive back speed there to run that one down.
Bishop Garrigan is At the 30-yard line right now, first down and 10 of 11:15 on the clock, quarter number 3. The defending state champions won 12 games in a row last year after that season-opening loss to St. Edmond. As the handoff goes to Sink. Sink trying to weave past guys in the backfield. Walker grabs him by the jersey, and Sink is able to get forward for about 2 yards, but Walker held on to the end of that black jersey, and the whole thing stretched out to slow down Sink.
Well, yeah, jerseys have changed so much. I guess one of the changes they have is made completely out of Lycra because that jersey grew by 3 sizes when he wrapped it on. That is something, Tyler, that is much, much different over the years we see in these football uniforms. You know, there's a team in the area that has the old school uniforms. That's the West Hancock Eagles. They've got the old throwback jerseys. Everyone else has the nice skin-tight Lycra ones.
No tearaway jerseys allowed either, as Furch has 3 receivers this time. It's a quarterback keeper, and he evades Hansen in the backfield. Furch out to the right across the 35, approaching midfield, and he gains 9 yards. Slippery running by Tate Furch, avoiding the defensive lineman and getting a quality gain on first down.
Another one of those things that didn't happen just happened. Trayton Sink was out there blocking, and he wanted to throw a block, but if he would have, it would have been illegal, and that experienced player there knew, okay, just take what you got. But if he could have thrown that block, Furch would have got a lot more. So he'll fix that on film, get in better position to make a legal block, and send Furch even deeper.
So third down and 1 for the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears. They're at the 39-yard line, and they need the 40. Furch underneath center. One receiver out to the short side of the field right. As Furch hands off to the fullback, Marceau lowers the shoulder and gets through the middle. Marceau down to the 35-yard line. He's to the 34 as Baker falls on his back. But simple formula right there. Have the fullback pounded straight through the defense.
Wow, that is just a bull running through the fence. Marceau just bowling over people, crushing. One person held on, otherwise he's going straight down the middle of the field. That's a sign of authority. You know, Marceau does best when he knows this is my job and I'm going to do it. And when you make that play call, there was no option there. There was no chance that Furch was going to pull the ball out of his belly. It was just like, give it to Marceau and let him go.
And St. Edmond responds by bringing Max Webster, who normally plays center on the offensive line, into defense. Webster, 280 pounds in the middle of that line as the handoff goes to Sink. Patient run, breaks the tackle, being drugged forward as St. Edmond once again hangs on by the jersey. It's Walker again, but Sink is able to get 8 yards in that play as once again just patient in the backfield, then explodes forward for 8.
Boy, good block by Marceau. That's a broken record with that. He just comes through from this fullback position and just blows everybody up. Trayton Sink makes a great read, cuts it back up the middle. Once again, a jersey tackle, Tyler. Gonna have to start putting some grease on those jerseys to make them a little slippier.
Beanie, we are too much on the same page. I was about to say, maybe put some Vaseline on the jersey, whatever the opposite of Stickum is. Sink is slot right this time, Joyce wide to the right with Lear out to the left. Furch will give to Marceau. Marceau pulls his way forward, and he's upended right at the first down sticks, maybe half a yard short. Third and about inches, potentially, depending on the spot.
Tyler, it's a good thing you're an announcer and we're not coaching, because I think some of the things we think of, I don't think they're quite, if they're not legal, they're definitely not sportsmanlike. But they're good ideas nonetheless.
Yes. See, that's why we're up here, and that's why Coach Wadley and the staff is down there. He's got to know the rule book inside and out. We've got to speculate on crazy scenarios, as right now the sticks do say third down, but I'm telling you what, folks, it is inches, and they are coming out for a measurement.
You know, I have barely seen Coach Wadley on the sidelines tonight, but no doubt when I do see him in that mix of black and gold, I'm sure he's wearing his white coaching shirt he's had for the years, although smaller now since he lost a lot of weight, and the black pants and the gold and black tie. Oh, there he is. Yep. He's they're sending in a play right now. That is Coach Wiley, many, many years here at the helm. I don't know the exact number. He reminds me every other day. 28 years, 29 years, something like that. But state championship last year.
He's coached long enough to accumulate 228 career wins. And, of course, the biggest of them last year, that 39-30 win over Bedford in the state championship game. They do say Bishop Garrigan still needs half a yard, so third down and 1 from the 24-yard line.
I think you might be calling number 11, Ethan Marceau here.
Marceau, the fullback, stands behind Furch. Furch gives right to Marceau, runs behind his left guard, breaks the tackle, and he powers his way forward. Baker makes the stop at the 15-yard line, but Ethan Marceau is into the red zone with another powerful run.
He needed a half and picked up 10, and now we're going to have a timeout, official's timeout for a cramp on the field. I think that's Gallus. Can't see his number, but I recognize that body. I think that's Gallus. Very talented D-back for St. Ed's is down. Looks like a calf cramp up there, and the retrainer for St. Ed's is out on the field. You know, good trainers these days. We've got Jim on the sideline. Jim has been a trainer for Garrigan for years and years. He works for Spencer Hospital, comes over. He was just taping up a cheerleader a moment ago. One of the cheerleaders maybe rolled an ankle there doing one of her cartwheels. But Kemna is taped up and back on the cheering after Jim, the trainer, tapes up the cheerleader. You don't see that every day.
No, you don't, but you've always got to be prepared if you're a trainer. But that's really the first cramp we've seen tonight, and really, it's a pleasant evening. It was 74 degrees at kickoff. Temperature obviously only getting lower as we go into the night. We're so used to these first games of the season being sweltering, just drenched in the press box in sweat. I'm sure it's even worse for the players down on the field, but this is about as perfect as a night for football as you could possibly have. No breeze, no clouds, very mild temperatures, so not a lot of cramping tonight.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx it, but boy, we've had a beautiful weather this summer, and I guess we're just going to flip the tables here, Tyler, and make you the subject of the moment since the game is on hold. I saw you last week on one of the hottest days of the summer. You were just finishing up a 2-hour run. Do you feel those cramps coming on when you can't have any water left in your body on a 2-hour run, Tyler, on the 95-degree day? Like, you cramp up, do you feel it coming, and once it starts, can you stop it?
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm not even going to answer your question because I'm going to take it a totally another direction. So I'm doing that 2-hour long run, and Bishop Garrigan has the sprinklers on the practice field. And without that, I'm not sure I would have made it to the end of that. But I ran for the sprinklers the last 20 minutes. We got that core body temperature down, and that really helped stave off the cramps a little bit.
Yeah, well, congratulations on that 2-hour run. One time I ran for 2 hours, and I said one time I ran for 2 hours.
It ended in a hospital trip?
That was it. Yeah, but not for that. It was just to get something to drink later. Okay, we're back into football here, Tyler. Let's get this game on. Gallus is off the field. He's got to sit out a play, but he's okay.
Bishop Garrigan is inside the red power red zone. I formation, Joyce out to the right. The handoff to the running back, Sink. Sink gets to the 15-yard line as he falls forward. Tackled around the ankles by McLean and gains a couple of yards.
Well, this St. Ed's defensive line is very stout, very strong. They've got a great middle. When Marceau gets that ball on the quick hitter, he can blow right through them before they have time to react. These second handoffs to Sink, they give that D-line just long enough to use their skills and shift over and fill up the gaps.
Same formation for the Golden Bears. This time they fake to Marceau. Booting out to the right is Furch. Looking towards the end zone. Throws to Rosenmeyer, and it's out of his reach. Out there in coverage for St. Edmond was Ty Miracle, and just a little bit past the outstretched arms of the tight end, Wyatt Rosenmeyer.
Ty Miracle, the experienced player for the Gales. We see him over the years. Good coverage by Miracle. There's two receivers out there. Furch had his pick. Furch really gets out in those flats really well. Some coaches, they don't have that option to have that offensive maneuver where they get to roll a quarterback out. But Furch can do it really well. He got out there in a hurry.
That'll be 3rd down and 8 from the 14-yard line for Bishop Garrigan as we approach the 8-minute mark of this third quarter. 28-16, Golden Bears trying to score in the first drive of the second half. They hustle to the line of scrimmage, 2 on the play clock, 1. Furch gets the snap off, back to throw, clean pocket, lobs a rainbow into the end zone. Murphy's out there, he jumps up and it's knocked away at the last minute. McLean out there in coverage, and Murphy would have been out of the back of the end zone anyways had he come down, but good coverage by St. Edmond, and it's 4th and 8.
Murphy looks at his hands to say, how did you miss that hands? He jumped up, tried to snag it, kind of slipped out the backside of his hands, but like you said, Tyler, it was out of the end zone. So this field is still set up like an 11-man field. It's still 100 yards long. The pylons, however, are moved into the 80-yard mark. So players, if they're not paying attention to where their feet are in relation to the line, they might still see the old end zone, which is still there for when you need to go for a 2-point conversion on that end. So you got to pay attention as a player where your lines are.
4th and 8, Garrigan's got a hustle, 3 on the play clock, 2 on the play clock, 1, and they get it off again. Furch rolls to the right side, Furch pulls down, goes back to the left, under pressure by Walker. He's holding it, he unloads, balls into the end zone, and it's incomplete. Furch got absolutely crushed on that play. He held onto the ball as long as possible as St. Edmond chased him all over the football field, but ultimately the Gales get a big-time 4th down stop.
Boy, number 7 is slow getting up, and he knew he was going to get popped. He stood there, and with everything closing in around him, he tried to get that touchdown throw off, and he got the ball away. But great coverage by the Gales. There were 3 Garrigan receivers out there. Everyone had a white jersey glued to him.
St. Edmond gets the stop. They bend, but they do not break, and they take over at the 14-yard line with 7:48 left in the third quarter. 28-16 Bishop Garrigan. Can St. Edmond double up now? They scored not on their final drive before half, but their second to last drive, and now trying to score again.
Oh, Tyler, the cramp monster has arrived. 2 Garrigan players now cramping up on the sidelines.
We jinx them as Baker sweeps towards the near side of the field, and Garrigan pushes him to the boundary. Flag comes in from the far side. Joyce wrestles him down as Helsoff strung that play out, but that flag came in from the opposite direction the play was heading.
Schwab was the first initial defender there. He had to deal with a stiff arm. Good stiff arm by the running back right into the face mask of Schwab. fought off that tackle. We got Sink cramping up on the sidelines, and the center, Caden Graves, also cramping up on the sidelines. Those two guys are going to get that cleaned up so they can get back in offensively. And here comes Jim, the trainer, kicking into gear.
Yeah, that was Schwab who strung that last play out as St. Edmond is going to get marched back half the distance to the goal after that one. So not a ton of penalties tonight. We've seen a few on both sides, but certainly game one of the season, you worry about those nights where it's going to be a 9-10 type of penalty night, but that certainly has not been the case so far. First down, 15 yards to go for St. Edmond. They're at their own 9-yard line as Swisher's underneath center. He pitches near side. Here comes Meyer. Meyer across the 10. He falls forward, and he's out near the 14-yard line as Marceau tackles him low.
I thought we might see more of Meyer in the second half. He didn't touch the ball too often in the first half. I thought the Gales of St. Ed's are going to want to try to get him going. That time he just about gets to the corner, but that linebacker crew for Garrigan, very speedy. Hard to get the corner against them.
Sam Meyer ran for 451 yards last year for St. Edmond, 5.6 average per carry.
Right now, that linebacking crew, Lichter, Marceau, and Miller.
And Garrigan has Furch back in the secondary as Swisher fakes the Baker. He rolls out to the right. Pass is knocked down. Oh, that was right into the breadbasket of Miller, who nearly had a pick. But he'll settle for the swat, and it's 3rd down and 9.
Matt Miller, the sophomore, puts his hands up there, knocks it down. I think he's thinking, maybe I could have caught that and run it in for a score. But that was a rocket right at his hands. Good job by Miller. He lined up in the perfect spot there as the outside linebacker. He kind of came up as kind of a pseudo-defensive end spot. Good read by the young sophomore.
Yeah, Miller, a sophomore. One of the 2 starting sophomores, Michael Joyce, also starting in the secondary, and he's really a ball of energy at that linebacker position.
He's not a ball of energy in the hallways. He's kind of a quiet guy, but, man, you got that right. He's pumped up every single play out there on the football field.
He has flipped the switch as Swisher's back to throw. Swisher running out of time, guns it middle of the field into traffic. It's tipped and it's picked off. Michael Joyce has it to the 30, weaves out to the 20. Joyce trying to find the angle. He's to the 15, and he's finally out of bounds just outside of the 10-yard line. Swisher made a bad decision and threw the ball into all kinds of traffic, and Joyce comes up with a pick as we've got a Garrigan cramp on the field right now, but a big-time turnover deep within St. Edmond territory.
Oh, I knew that was going to be an interception. As soon as he threw it, it was a lot of air under that ball, and then there's a lot of bodies. It was going to be a classic tip drill. Michael Joyce, the athlete, leaps up and grabs it. That's Andrew Lichter's down there cramping up. He's got a foot cramp. Those are the worst ones, where it cramps right in the arch. You've had to get those, Tyler.
Oh yes.
I hate those. And he's up and dancing around now, but the funny part is Dan Mice. He ran into the field, thought he needed to drag that guy off the field, and Coach Patterson runs out there, puts his hand on Mice, says, oh, no, hey, we don't have to drag him off. This isn't a battlefield here. We'll leave him on the ground. We'll deal with it.
We have seen just about everything so far tonight, but we hadn't seen a turnover yet up to that point, but now we have it. Bishop Garrigan forced 23 turnovers last year in 13 games. Of course, that was a fearsome secondary last year as well. The likes of Justin Bauer, Sam Plath making big plays out there. You saw a lot of Drew Lappy as well. Those 3 guys who played wide receiver and also doubled in the secondary, and now it's time for guys like Michael Joyce to take that role. Maybe we do see a little more Tate Furch in the secondary as well, and we kind of see that first huge game-changing secondary play tonight.
Yeah, I think this defense, when they figure out who's in what spots, is going to be really, really tough this year. You know, St. Ed's, to their credit, came out of the half with a good plan. They were going to try to run that ball around the end. Garrigan stopped it. They were forced to throw the ball, and it's kind of pick your poison there. You have to throw the ball into that secondary. Something big's going to happen with those D-backs back there flying to the ball. So St. Ed's coming back out here is going to be in some tough field position here. That is going to be all in the Bears' favor, I think, the rest of this quarter. 6:41 left to go, though. Still playing time in the third quarter. No scores since halftime.
And that's tough for the St. Edmond defense. A lot of the guys going 2 ways, but it's tough. You stop Bishop Garrigan on 4th down at the 14-yard line, and then all of a sudden, your very next defensive series, you have your back against the wall at the 12-yard line. Bishop Garrigan starts the drive inside of the Red Power red zone. So Golden Bears have a chance to do some big-time damage here midway through the third quarter.
Yeah. Last time in the Red Power red zone, the Bears opted to pass the ball 3 consecutive times, came up empty there. I don't think you're going to see that here. I think they're going to try to go back to what Garrigan football likes to do and run that ball up the middle. Here comes Marceau at fullback, and
Kyle Borman's the tailback. First time we've seen that tonight. 2 tight ends, 2 backs. Furch underneath center. He'll give it to Marceau. Marceau lowers the head. Marceau drives forward. Marceau breaking tackles. Marceau near the goal line. And he's in for a touchdown. Ethan Marceau takes it himself from 12 yards out. And Bishop Garrigan goes up 34-16.
Oh, what a run by Marceau. Kyle Borman was saying, darn it, I thought I was going to get a chance, but Marceau took care of business on the very first play from scrimmage. What a run by Marceau. Just refused to go down. It's like I said earlier, if he knows he's going to get the ball, he just goes into another gear. And it's just all brutality to the end zone there. Wow.
8 rushing touchdowns last year for Marceau. On the PAT, Mahler's the holder. Or make that Mice is the holder. Mahler's the snapper. Garrigan goes swinging gate out to the left. Player runs in late. That's Carter McGregor coming onto the field as Garrigan has 8 now. They tried to pass out of this last time. Now they bring the swinging gate back in. The kicker is Brady Galligan.
Mice holding.
Snap by Mahler, little high. Mice puts it down, end over and kick, and that one is right for the goalposts. 35-16, Bishop Garrigan. 6:34 left in the third quarter. You're on Home Country Radio and at the Elgato Radio YouTube stream.
We've got more Sports Club members making this broadcast possible on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
TAFE Wellness Center in Algona and Armstrong, keeping athletes in the game with chiropractic care. Take charge of your health.
Lichter's Garage Door Service and new installations. A reputation you can trust. Call 515-295-5988.
Ed Service Station. Service you can trust.
J&J Custom Meats, continuing the traditions in Whittemore.
Ulrich Construction. Let them do the work.
Sports Club members bringing you this game.
Well, the Bishop Garrigan football team has the cheerleaders doing a lot of jumping jacks now as the points are beginning to pile up. Bishop Garrigan 35, St. Edmond 16 with 6:34 left in the third quarter as Galligan will kick it away.
I also like the cheerleaders singing the school song along with the band. That's new. That's pretty fun.
Galligan will squib it down the middle of the field. It is picked up by Hansen, and Hansen is going to sit on the ball at the 35-yard line. Coleman Hansen was a little bit shocked that the ball came right to him, and he decided to play it safe and take a knee as St. Edmond will start with decent field position.
Boy, I think he played it unsafe. Boy, if he doesn't have great hands there, and those were some good hands, he snared that skipping, bouncing, flopping duck of a ball. No problem, but if that goes off his fingertips, Garrigan's going to get that possession right back. But he, boy, confident grab there. Maybe they ought to put him at receiver. That guy's on the hands team.
St. Edmond has Swisher underneath center, the new starting quarterback this season with 6:30 left in the third. He'll pitch it near side, and the ball's dropped by Meyer, and he gets a dive back on top of it. That ball was pitched a little bit behind him, and Meyer had to recover and cover that up before Garrigan forced another turnover.
Boy, Meyer was running that towards the Garrigan sideline. Michael Joyce had already read the play and was coming up for the tackle, and I think Meyer was looking at any kind of seam to get because there was none. And one of those, you got to watch the ball all the way in. He took his eyes off it and nearly had another turnover go towards the Bears. All right, Marceau captaining the defense. They're set.
And the center, Max Webster, has to tuck in the jersey of Swisher, the quarterback who had the jersey disrupted in the previous sequence.
Now Rosemeyer at DN, new nose tackle in there for Garrigan.
It's McGregor, the nose tackle, as Swisher's going to gun it deep down the right side looking for Gallus. One-on-one with Furch. Gallus got underneath it, and he makes the grab along the sideline. Grant Gallus makes another big play for St. Edmond, their leading receiver from last year, and he gets them down to the 20-yard line.
Well, the priest on the St. Ed side makes the signal for the catch. So the official is not going to doubt the priest, or you would hope not.
Does that make it an immaculate reception?
Not the famous immaculate reception, but there is a priest on the St. Ed side, and I don't want to disparage. Father Zach, I did see on the Garrigan sidelines with another priest to be named later. I'm not sure who that priest was, and I bet Father Matthew is around here somewhere. So I'm going to say Garrigan's winning the priest battle 3-1 at this point.
Well, St. Edmond's in the red power red zone. They got the big play they wanted as Baker sweeps out to the right, and Heliseth sends him into the sideline. Keaton Heliseth, the defensive end, pursuing the fast running back Baker for no gain.
So there's that play. If Heliseth can string that out and the defensive backs come up to the flats, you're forcing St. Ed's to throw that ball.
Well, now 2nd down and 10. Bishop Garrigan getting Heliseth to go both ways here on this beautiful season opening night in Algona, Iowa. Of course, a key two-way player last year as Heliseth had 7 sacks on the defensive side of the ball, 40-plus tackles last year. Gales have Meyer lined up as a wing back to the left. In the shotgun is Swisher. Swisher fakes the Baker. He's back to throw. Gunning it towards the end zone. It's a rainbow to Gallus. Hand fighting with Murphy, and that ball is incomplete. Oh, man, the St. Edmond sideline is asking for pass interference, but they won't get it, as that was a physical back-and-forth battle between Gallus and Murphy.
Boy, and it looked like he caught it, but the official right there saw it hit the ground. Yeah, wow, we've got some interesting energy going back and forth this whole game. Now this Garrigan team's got the energy again. They're really subbing a lot of players on and off. McGregor's coming off. He was playing nose guard. That's Carter McGregor. Now Rosemeyer goes back to nose guard. He was playing defensive end. They're moving guys around constantly. Hard to keep track of who's where. New linebacker in there right now as well.
Swisher in the gun again, fakes the bakery, rolls right, all kinds of pressure. Helseth grabs him and he brings him down at the 32-yard line. You can't scrape the bear claws of Keaton Helseth. That's the third high-V sack of the night by the Golden Bears, and Swisher had no chance on that play.
Oh, Helseth with the high-V sack. He is relentless, and he just works hard, and eventually he's going to break through. Now, Rosemeyer comes out with a cramp. That's 5 different players now for Garrigan we've seen cramping up, and all seems to be a calf cramp.
Well, I think we thoroughly jinxed the cramp thing by talking about it.
We jinxed up. As long as I'm jinxing things, I think the Guardians are going to win the World Series. Now, the thing with the cramping, as long as you can get off the field, you got a chance to get that cramp out. But if it happens during the play, you're just stuck.
St. Edmond has the play clock running out. It's at the end of the clock, and a flag comes in. Unless they call the timeout, that's going to be a delay of game on what was already a 4th and 21 and is now a 4th and 26. Beanie, I cannot let that go unacknowledged, though. If the Guardians win the World Series, that means we prevented the Yankees, Dodgers, Red Sox from winning the World Series. You can't tell me you'd be upset by that.
No. A true baseball fan and a fan of the NL Central or the AL Central will probably be okay with that.
4th and 26. Swisher standing, lobbing down the middle of the field, and it is incomplete. He tried to throw a jump ball for Dominic McLean as Owen Murphy was out there in coverage. Garrigan looking to knock that down and not intercept it to make sure you still get that good field position.
That was just a game of Playground 500 with Owen Murphy, Gallus for St. Ed's, Michael Joyce, and that time no one came up with any of the money. Back to 0. All right, good defensive stand there for the Bears. Now can they get some more offensive action going? 35-16. They're going to need to stretch that lead out a little bit more here in tonight's contest. Furch is going to run the play, and now he just played defensive well. So since the cramp monster is out, what if Furch goes down with a cramp? Who's in the quarterback? I have no idea, honestly.
Bishop Garrigan does have a few options. Of course, last year there was a 3-way quarterback battle between Furch, Drew Muller, and Michael Joyce. As Furch fakes, he keeps it. He is buried. Tate Furch swallowed up in the backfield by Coleman Hansen. Furch made the read, and keeping it himself was not the right read.
Yeah, defensively, they worked right through all the cramps that were happening because they're such a deep team. They just grabbed the next guy in and ran around and made adjustments. But offensively, there are a few key spots that if a guy gets a cramp and has to come out, it might be a bit of a hiccup.
That'll go down as a 5-yard loss.
Probably Marceau, one of those guys. Furch, for sure, one of those guys.
2nd down, 15 to go from the 30-yard line. 3:57 left in the third quarter. Furch, quick pass out to the right side to Murphy. Murphy's across the 30. Murphy near the sideline, and St. Edmond not letting him get very far. He's out to the 32-yard line and forced out by Clay Baker. And it's 3rd and a long way for Garrigan, about 13 yards.
I like this effort to get Murphy the ball in open territory. He's had a couple really nice kick returns tonight. They try a little swing pass to him out there, get him the ball quick in some open space, see if he can get out in the open. But St. Ed's good defensive back speed corrals.
So Bishop Garrigan runs in Rosemeyer and Mice with this 3rd down and make it 14 play from the 32-yard line. They have to get it out to the 34 of St. Edmond. Furch underneath center. Furch will turn. He'll roll out to the left side. Furch looking down the field. He's going to lob it up there for Rosemeyer, and it's incomplete. Rosemeyer grappling with Gallus out there, and St. Edmond holds on defense.
Wyatt Rosemeyer coming from the tight end position. Couple receivers were deep. Dan Mice had gone deep, and Rosemeyer quick 3 and out for the Bears, as both offenses seem to be sputtering a little bit.
Yeah, defensive start to the second half, certainly. Really, the only score in the second half so far was set up by a turnover forced by the Bishop Garrigan defense that gave them tremendous field position at the St. Edmond 12. Now it's a punting situation as Michael Joyce will have his heels at the 20-yard line of 3:08 left in the third. Good snap to Joyce. Into his belly as Joyce unloads the ball towards the near side. It's a much shorter punt this time, but it takes a Garrigan bounce once again. Joyce has gotten a ton of friendly bounces tonight as it's down to the 26-yard line.
Dan Mice, Kyle Borman, Isaac DeLang there for coverage. You know, punting, such a crucial part of the game. A lot of Hawkeye fans in the house tonight. Always the best punter in the nation on the Hawkeyes. I've heard they have another phenomenal punter on their team. But Garrigan also searching for that punter. Joyce been doing it tonight. I've heard Dan Mice occasionally punts the ball, and I'm sure, you know, you have that part of practice where you get to kick the ball around. Everybody thinks they can kick the ball and wants to give it a try.
Do they give out 5 stars for punters? Because if they do, Kirk Ferris is going to find him. Meyer drops the ball. Ganny picks it back up and tries to rescue the play, and first forces him out of bounds. Gained maybe half a yard, but that was a pitch out to the right, and once again, Meyer had trouble corralling it.
Boy, if you're a good punter, you got to be looking at the Hawkeyes, right?
Absolutely, punter you.
For sure. I mean, with that offense, you're guaranteed a ton of punts.
I'm going to leave that one alone, but we'll let the Hawkeye fans come after you, Beanie, not me. But I'll frame it as a positive. Special teams can win, you know, it can win close games. It can make a difference. You can win the field position battle. Like we said, a lot of good punters gravitating towards the Hawkeyes. Torrey Taylor now in the NFL after being drafted, as there's a quick hitter to Clay Baker. And Baker with a nice run, gains about 6 or 7, brought down by Michael Joyce.
I am surprised that we haven't seen more Clay Baker. He was one that was a little dinged up early, but he runs hard. He just comes off the, well, I always want to say off tackle, but it's 8-man football. So he comes off guard there, and he drags a couple Bears along, and they pick up a hefty 5-7 yards. I'm surprised we don't see that a little more often, as here he's at fullback again.
Yeah, Baker rushed for 78 yards and received for 120 yards last time these two teams matched up. He's at the fullback. He gets the ball and he's buried. Rosenmeyer knifed through the offensive line and stopped Baker behind the line of scrimmage. A 2-yard loss, and it's 4th down and about 4.
Boy, miscommunication there. Also, number 8 in there on the play, McGregor, and he comes out for the bigger Schwab. That's Carter McGregor, I believe.
Yep.
A junior. Oh, I mixed up the grades. I shouldn't be doing that. I believe Carter's a junior now. But he's a good athlete for the Bears, got good speed, good strength, comes in and plays some defensive line.
And here we go, St. Edmond lining up to go for it. 4th and 4 from their own 32-yard line. Swisher, he's back to throw. Garrigan blitzes. Swisher unloads quickly, and he overthrew his target on the right side. He was trying to find Gallus. Joyce had the tight coverage, and St. Edmond fails on 4th down inside of their own territory.
But Joyce is really a good defensive back in coverage there. He is really stuck to those defenders. And it does a really good job of not picking up a penalty. I think even the St. Ed's coaches, it was right in front of the St. Ed's coaches, and they were wishing for a penalty, but they also could say, well, no, I guess that's not a penalty. That's just really good coverage.
So Bishop Garrigan really starting to exert their will defensively against St. Edmond, and once again, they'll start on the plus side of the field. Ball's at the 32-yard line with just 1:43 left in the 3rd quarter. 35-16 Golden Bears. In the 64th edition of this rivalry, dating back to 1959, the first matchup between these teams. I formation, Furch turns and gives to Sink. Sink, patient run of Grandies across the 30. He bursts forward to the 25. He's spinning down to the 21-yard line. A crafty run by Trayton Sink, gains 11 yards.
Oh, again, great balance inside the box. He's in between a bunch of blockers and tacklers, and he keeps his feet. Moves really well laterally, really shifty. He's going to come out right now and immediately get stretched out again. Keep those calf cramps from settling back in. But great run there by Trayton Sink here in this first game against the Gales. Boy, Tyler, you said this rivalry goes back to what date?
1959.
That had to have been the first year that Garrigan, I should know this, was a school. But, yeah, what a long-time rivalry. Very cool rivalry between the Gales and the Bears.
Borman, the tailback for Garrigan. Marshall, the fullback, gets it, and he gallops through the left side of the line. He's inside the red power red zone down to the 18-yard line as he gains 3. So another cramp situation for Garrigan as Caden Graves is slow getting up. Second time we've seen him cramp up in that calf area tonight.
We'll see who the backup center comes in. Now, we've seen this rivalry over so many years. It's such a fun rivalry. And, boy, you know, it's just what's happened to small towns as people move. But Fort Dodge much bigger than Algona, but St. Ed's also smaller in numbers. You know, they used to just, back in when Garrigan and St. Ed's were both two-way football, used to be a very spirited matchup, packed stands. Just a lot of fans, real intense matchups, and that was when both schools weren't in any sort of conference, or it was before district football, so the game meant a lot. It was just really heated, excited, passionate game, and it's still there. It's still, the passion's still there, but obviously both schools much smaller, both of us playing 8-man now. But Garrigan and I assume St. Ed's both picked up some students. Garrigan students, the Garrigan school picked up at least 30, a little more than 30 students in the system this year, so the numbers are picking up.
Drew Mahler runs into the ball game for Bishop Garrigan. He's going to be the tight end on the left side. Nate Lear moves to center for this snap as Graves comes out of a cramp. First from under center with 2nd down and 7. He'll give to Marceau. Quick hitter to the right side, and Marceau drives his way forward to the 15-yard line. Clay Baker on the tackle.
Well, I'm impressed. Garrigan can just roll with new players. Muller comes in, takes tight end, no problem. A new center comes in, no fumbled snap. Lear comes in, and Furch handles the snap, no problem. Because that's a lot different. Everyone snaps the ball a little bit different. But this is the depth of Garrigan this year. They have got bodies. There are some teams that are on our schedule that if they lose the center, they're in big trouble.
That's definitely correct. I mean, you're looking at a lot of these 8-player teams, 20, 25, maybe 30, even 30s on the bigger side for a lot of Garrigan's opponents, but you're talking about 50 strong for the Golden Bears heading into this year's season. 1 second on the play clock, another quick hitter to Marceau. Marceau up the middle, he's dragging defenders, he's driving to the end zone, he's in for a touchdown! Ethan Marceau taking the entire St. Edmond defense into the end zone, and Garrigan has blown this one wide open, 41-16, with triple zeros on the clock at the end of the third.
Wow, I wish there was 40 more yards to go there before the end zone, because Marceau would have just kept dragging people for 40 more yards. He was just a tractor pulling a sled. Nothing was going to get that guy down. That is a fun run right there. Sometimes fun runs are a football field. Sometimes fun runs are 10 yards of rumbling, bumbling, stumbling Ethan Marceau running people over. That was awesome.
Second time tonight, Bishop Garrigan has scored a buzzer-beating touchdown before the end of the quarter as Trayton Sink scored with triple zeros left in the first quarter. And now Brady Galligan will try to tack on the extra point. 41-16 Golden Bears, opening it up for the power run of Marceau. Mahler snap is dropped by Mice, and it's picked up by Galligan. Galligan running right, he wants to throw it. Now he reverses to the left, and he's wide open. Brady Galligan trying to find the end zone, and he's tripped up. The saving tackle is made by Koopman. Oh, Galligan was wide open there for a moment, but he couldn't find the end zone. 41-16 will be your score as we head to the fourth. You're listening to high school football action on Home Country Radio and at the Elgato Radio YouTube stream.
When you need cash on the go, there's no need to pay a surcharge fee with MoneyPass. Iowa State Bank is proud to be part of the MoneyPass network of surcharge-free ATMs found nationwide. Look for the green and blue MoneyPass symbol on over 32,000 ATMs across the nation. Or find an ATM near your vacation spot or travel destination at moneypass.com. MoneyPass, another way that Iowa State Bank helps people succeed. Member FDIC.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these fine sports club members.
American Glass. For all your glass needs, think American.
Farm Bureau Financial Agents Dave Beisch, Daniel Foth, and Michael Tull.
Chemco Tires. They're all you need to know about tires and service.
Wykert Realtors, the 515 Agency, a fresh approach to real estate.
Grassmasters. Growing satisfied customers.
Iowa Lakes Community College, your community, your college. All bringing you this game on the radio.
Start of the fourth quarter here on Home Country Radio and at the Elgato Radio YouTube stream. A season opening rematch, the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears and the St. Edmond Gales. Historic rivalry is right now Bishop Garrigan asserting their will. A couple of rushing touchdowns by Ethan Marceau makes the score 41-16 Golden Bears. Quick update from across town. Algona at Spirit Lake tonight, leading at 35-21 with 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So the Blue Longs, the big-time lead late in that game. They're up by 2 touchdowns with just a little bit to go against the number 1 ranked team in 2A. But beginning back here in this 8-player matchup between Bishop Garrigan and St. Edmond, we're just seeing even Marceau get stronger and stronger as the game goes on. St. Edmond having a lot of trouble bringing him down. You need 2 or 3 guys to be able to tackle that Garrigan fullback.
Oh yeah, boy, he is a strong running back, Ethan Marceau. Big, strong, and just a prototypical blocking fullback, not afraid of contact. Smart kid, friendly kid, except on the football field where he gets real intense. And he's been cramping up as well, but there's nothing going to keep Ethan Marceau out of a football game.
Brady Galligan to kick things away for Bishop Garrigan as we'll send it from right to left. 41-16 Golden Bears. As Galligan approaches the ball and he boots it away, it's a strong kickoff that time. Gallus chases it back, it's off his fingertips and it's into the end zone for a touchback. And Gallus is very fortunate. That ball took a turn towards the near side, almost went out of bounds at the 1-yard line, but it did touch the end zone.
Yeah, there's Galligan with the boot. He's matching his counterpart on the St. Ed side who's done nothing but touchbacks. There's one for Galligan there. Thad Kolash, another senior special teams specialist, flies down the field there.
So the touchback will put the ball at the 15-yard line, just underway in the fourth quarter, and a 41-16 Bishop Garrigan lead. Couple of touchdowns in the third quarter delivered by the Golden Bears, both by Ethan Marceau.
Now McGregor is in there at linebacker as Marceau is going to stay out this defensive series.
Matt Besh, the defensive tackles. The play is blown up in the backfield. McGregor right in the middle of everything, right on cue, as St. Edmond loses about 5 yards back to the 10.
It's Matt Besh, the sophomore, going to play on the line. Matt Besh, I'd say his best sport is swimming. That guy can really cut the water, but he is also very talented on the football field. I've seen him play linebacker at the lower levels, but he's put on some strength and some size. He's going to play some D-line here at the varsity level. He's another young player that Garrigan has. They're going to lose a lot of seniors come what may, but some of these kids like Besh and company, Matt Miller still in the game there at linebacker, they're coming.
Swisher looking to throw. He's looking right for Gallus. He's going to take a deep shot down the sideline. Gallus against Furch. Back shoulder catch. Gallus spins away. There he goes down the sideline. 20, 10, touchdown. There is a flag on the near side. Furch and Gallus were going at it. Could that be OPI or DPI? Defensive coordinator Brian Patterson is saying offensive pass interference. We will wait and see as Garrigan, or make that Gallus out-muscled Furch for the ball.
Wow, what a catch by Gallus. I could not believe he, A, caught the ball, and then B, kept his footing, and he got away and ran down the sidelines. Owen Murphy looked like Carl Lewis coming across the field with the angle, trying to cut him down at the pylon. Just didn't get there in time, but some good speed by Murphy there. Almost caught Gallus there at the goal line.
How about that for the back shoulder throw to Gallus, but we are waiting and seeing what happens with the potential penalty situation.
Well, this 8-man game, it's so exciting. Just when you think a defense is stuffing, they pull out a pass like that and cut the whole field up.
Well, it must have been on Furch because they are picking up the flag, and St. Edmond is going down there for a potential 2-point conversion. That is a 71-yard touchdown strike. Anytime the ball goes in Gallus' direction, something good happens for St. Edmonds, folks.
Yeah, boy, and now look at the chain gang is having to hustle. Denny Kolash sprinting the field with the yard line marker. Wow, look at those wheels.
Gallus caught 13 touchdowns last season for St. Ed's, and this year has a kick return touchdown and a receiving touchdown so far tonight. 41-22, here comes the 2-point conversion attempt in the pistol. Swisher, he has Baker right behind him. Takes the snap, spins and gives to Baker. Baker tries the right side. He's buried, but did he get far enough? He did not. He did not get to the goal line as Garrigan jumps on his back and stops him short of a 2-point conversion. Matt Miller in the center of that.
All right, Garrigan holds on to a 19-point lead. You start to do a lot of math in these second halves of games in 8-man football where the numbers start to get pretty wonky. You got to start thinking about how many scores are we ahead, how much time's left, and you start to do a lot of math in your head if you're a coach there.
I'll tell you what, you think about NFL coaching staffs or college coaching staffs, there are so many different roles, so many obscure jobs as well. I wonder if any of these staffs have just a game clock, like math score calculator. Just, we've got the answer for every situation based on the game clock, based on the score, because it's really a math equation when you look at it.
Yeah, I would think that all professional teams have somebody in the box doing that, and probably only the elite teams with a lot of money in college football, like the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yes, the Ohio State.
I'm sure they've got a guy like that. It's probably Jim Tressel. Maybe that's what he's doing these days.
Oh, boy. I wouldn't be surprised, as right now it's 41-22. St. Edmond trailing Bishop Garrigan, 11-10 left.
So it is the kickoff for college football tomorrow, correct?
Well,
it already
kind of kicked off the week before, but first full week for college football tomorrow, we'll say.
So are the Buckeyes on the gridiron?
They are.
Mr. Ohio. If you're listening, of course, Tyler,
yes.
A fond member of the state of Ohio.
Yes, I'm guessing we'll call it a battle for Ohio, but I don't know if it's going to be much of a battle. Ohio State against Akron.
Oh, the Zips.
Yeah, Big Ten versus MAC. Now, there is a MAC over Big Ten upset just about every year, but I don't think that's going to be the one, Beanie.
It would be a shocker. It would be a 16-1 seed in the NCAA tournament type shocker.
Hey, I'm going to say 56-7 Ohio State. We'll wait and see if that's the case or not. But in any case, St. Edmond has the ball teed up at the 35-yard line due to the penalty. They're going to run up quickly. They kick it to the right side. It squirts in between a leg of a Garrigan player, but boy, that ball is covered up nicely, though. Nice job by Owen Murphy, and a flag comes in. This is probably going to be roughing on St. Edmond because Murphy had covered that up, and one of the Gales came flying in and crushed him.
That went right through Keaton Helliseth, the third baseman. Went right through his legs. Hated when that happened in the baseball field, and he hated it when it happened on the football field. So Gales go for the onside kick. They don't get it, and whoever was behind Helliseth got it, but then a unsportsmanlike the play, he was on the ground when a St. Edmond Gale came in and tried to get the ball and hit him pretty hard. And immediately the other 7 Garrigan players said, hey, you can't do that. And the official said, yeah, I know. That's why I'm throwing the flag. Everybody relax.
With how fast and how shifty Owen Murphy is, that's about the only time you can get a clean hit on him, as the penalty goes against St. Edmond for unnecessary roughness.
Well, good head play by Murphy, just falling on the ball there.
Ball's up to the 35-yard line, 41-22 Bishop Garrigan, and whatever the clock math is, the clock is certainly on Garrigan's side, even in spite of the long 71-yard touchdown to Grant Gallus. So now if you're Garrigan, this is the kind of second half that you did a lot last year. You're trying to get first downs, move the clock, power run game, wear down St. Ed's, as right on cue it's Marceau up the middle. Marceau for about 3 yards, as the formula in the second half has been a heavy dose of Ethan Marceau.
Caden Graves back in there playing center, but the backup center, Nate Lear. Nate Lear also in there playing guard. Schwab's playing as well. Helseth in there. So this is what I think I'll call the Garrigan's jumbo lineup. This is their biggest guys they've got on the line on offense right now.
So make it 2nd down and 7 from the 38-yard line, 10:36 and ticking, as Bishop Garrigan will be plenty content to take down the play clock to about 10 seconds. We're inside of 10 seconds now as Garrigan's up 41-22. First from underneath center. He'll pitch it out to the right as he finds Borman. Borman getting opportunity. Borman crosses midfield. A nice run by Borman near the first down sticks, but St. Edmond was able to drive him out of bounds and stop the clock.
Good acceleration by Borman. Good speed. Finds the corner, turns it up, breaks 2 tackles before he can get him down. You know, you break 2 tackles in 8-man. There's only 1 more to break, and you're off to the end zone. Well, one of the buses has just left the parking lot. I hope the St. Ed's bus didn't forget the team, because there's still some game left here. We got 10 minutes left. They're down 19 points.
Yeah, I'd say that's a St. Edmond bus gas station run. Time to get some goodies before this game winds down.
That's
right. It's the 4th quarter. You've got to get the Snickers bars, the M&Ms, the Tostitos chips, all of it.
Tyler,
off to the gas station.
I think you just showed what you're hungry for.
Furch sneaks it through the middle, and he has the first down. Tate Furch with a 3-yard quarterback sneak. Well, speaking of the quarterback sneak, I mean, that's a play designed to get 1 or 2 yards. Last year we saw behind Logan Nemmers, Garrigan would sometimes get 5, 6, 7 yards on a quarterback sneak against a worn-down defense.
That's
right there, it's a 3-yard chuck behind Caden Graves.
Especially in the 4th quarter after they've been getting hit by Ethan Marceau and Caden Rother last year and Logan Nemmers. Logan could often just plow forward for some easy yardage, but this year, new center. They have to fill the shoes of Logan Nemmers. So far, Caden Graves and sometimes Nate Lear subbing in have done a great job filling in that for the very skilled Logan Nemmers is off playing college football right now.
Garrigan goes power once again. Everyone around the line of scrimmage. It's a pitch near side to Borman. Borman looking for some space inside, and he falls forward to the 31-yard line as he gets a couple of carries here in the 4th quarter. That'll be a 3-yard gain, 2nd and 7.
No, I like to see the team always talking. The guys on the sidelines watching, learning, but also the guys on the field. After each play, you see some players taking the leadership role, assessing what's going. You want to get better all the time. So far tonight, I've seen a lot of talk and leadership by Keaton Helseth. He's talking to Marceau afterwards. He's talking to other players, saying what he saw. That's good leadership out there. You got to always stay on the ball and leading. And I've heard Keaton Helseth just really loves to play football.
Same formation for the Golden Bears. A lot of size, a lot of power. Marceau the fullback, Borman the tailback. They'll give to Marceau. Marceau runs right side. Walker's on his back, but Marceau still able to pile drive his way forward for about 3 more yards, setting up 3rd down and manageable.
Well, I tell you, that Walker for St. Ed's on the D-line is good. He is going to get some attention here. That was Schwab and Rosemeyer both trying to block that big man, and he still fought through and helped in the tackle.
41-22 Bishop Garrigan, 8:35 left in the 4th quarter. Golden Bears trying to defeat St. Edmond for the first time in the 8-player class, as St. Edmond has beaten Bishop Garrigan 42-34, 45-40, and 38-20. The 3 years these two teams have played 8-player football.
Everybody knows the ball's coming up the middle. St. Ed's has got it stacked.
They hand it off to Borman. Borman runs left side, and he's tripped up. Did not quite get the first down as he rolls to the 26-yard line, and it'll be 4th down and about 2 to go.
Pretty good blocking still to pick up. I mean, St. Ed's had it absolutely blocked. Everybody was in the box, and Garrigan still be able to plow forward for a couple yards. Not too shabby.
4th and 2 for the Bears.
Boy, let's see if the coaches have the guts to pull this out of their playbook, but stack that box up again and just have Furch roll out and see what the young man can do.
And worst case scenario, nothing's open. He can pull it down and run it as well. A very mobile quarterback for Bishop Garrigan. Fraternity Center, he barks out a hard count, and he got St. Edmond to jump. That'll be a first down for Bishop Garrigan, and a clock-killing moment for the Gales as Furch makes a veteran play right there.
Wow, great job by the entire team not jumping. I know it seems simple, but you're all raring to go, and as soon as you hear that quarterback say hut, you just want to fly off the line. Garrigan doesn't flinch, the Gales do, and not only does that get the first down, that's almost another 2 minutes guaranteed off the clock, and the Gales need every second they can get.
Both teams have all 3 timeouts left here in the second half, and if Garrigan gets a few more plays deep into this, maybe gets another first down, you've got to start thinking about that if you're St. Edmond, down 41-22 right now.
The clock is running, and Furch is just standing there looking at it run because they're going to take this play clock down at least under 10 every time.
So once again, power for Bishop Garrigan. Rosenmeyer, the tight end on the right side. Nate Lear, tight end on the left side. Furch underneath center with Marshall, the fullback, and the tailback Borman. Borman gets the handoff. Borman has a little hole as he squeezes through down to the 15-yard line. Tackled by Meyer on the play, but a quality gain on first down keeps Bishop Garrigan ahead of schedule.
Yeah, Borman getting some good carries here. He is fresh as a daisy. Sink on the sideline taking a breather. You know, Sink was lost in this game last year. He got injured, so good to see him make it through this first game. It was crushing to watch Sink walk the hallways last football season, never getting to play. So hopefully he gets to stay healthy this whole season. But so Borman getting some good experience. Marshall still in there blocking for him.
That was a 7-yard gain on the last play by Borman. Second down and 3 from the 14-yard line as Garrigan is inside the Red Power red zone. Borman gets it again, runs left side, has another good hole, and he's inside the 10-yard line. He has the first down. You've got to shout out Carter Schwab on the left side of that line along with Nate Lear, really opening things up for Borman those last 2 runs.
It's fun when you bring in a really fresh player in 8-man football because it's kind of like watching someone grow in your house every day. You don't notice it, but then all of a sudden you see a fresh player come in against all these other guys that are getting tired, and they just look lightning quick, and that's what Borman's looking like right now. A fresh tailback in against 15 other guys on the field that are tired.
And if you notice, Beanie, Garrigan's running a lot to the left side. That is the side that is away from Adam Walker, and they're seeing a little more success over there. They'll give it to Borman. He runs left side again. Borman tiptoeing, and he drives his way forward. Maybe got 1 or 2 that time. Not a whole lot as Max Webster's on top of him for the tackle. Second down and goal from the 7.
Well said, Tyler. Yeah, they're running away from Walker, who's got his hands on his hips. He's frustrated they're not coming his way. He could use a few more tackles racked up. But this is the time of the game you see a lot of hands on the hips usually. But for being a first game of the season, both these teams seem to be pretty well conditioned already.
41-22 the score right now, and we're already down to 5:15 left in the fourth quarter. This has been a clock-killing drive by Bishop Garrigan, and like you diagnosed, Beanie, that offsides penalty on 4th down by St. Edmond so far has cost the Gales 2 minutes of clock. Hand off to Marceau. Marceau through the middle, and he'll walk into the end zone for a touchdown. Throw your hats onto the field for Ethan Marceau. That's his 3rd touchdown of the night, and it's 47-22 as Garrigan's running away.
And there go the hats. They're all, oh, no, they're not, but the hats are too expensive. We're going to wear our hats, but we should throw them on the field for the hat trick. What a game by Marceau. Not just running the ball and getting those scores, but also blocking. He's making those tailbacks look good often, and defensively he's just been anchor as that defensive captain calling the plays and middle linebacker in this game.
That was a classic Garrigan drive, ladies and gentlemen. Running the ball, running the ball, running the ball. And St. Edmond was offsides on the PAT attempt. And Garrigan will be able to move this half the distance to the goal as Garrigan was lining up for the extra point. So 47-22.
So Garrigan has hit the extra point that he kicked. They tried a trick play once that didn't work, and then a bad snap led to Garrigan running for his life. Let's see if he can go 2 for 2 on actual kicks here.
5:02 left in the fourth quarter. Snaps a little high. Mice puts it down. Garrigan kicks it end over end, and another beautiful kick by Brady Garrigan. 48-22 Bishop Garrigan with 5:02 left in the fourth on Home Country Radio and at the Algona Radio YouTube channel.
Where you bank matters. Hi, I'm Sherry Bacon at Security State Bank, and we're relationship bankers. We get to know our customers and understand their financial needs. We're locally owned and operated, which means family, community, and service always comes first. So come to Security State Bank. We'll treat you like family. Security State Bank in Algona, Burt, and Laverne. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Security State Bank.
Hey, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31 32 33 34 35 36 37 38 39 40 41 42 43 44 45 46 47 48 49 50 51 52 53 54 55 56 57 58 59 60 61 62 63 64 65 66 67 68 69 70 71 72 73 74 75 76 77 78 79 80 81 82 83 84 85 86 87 88 89 90 91 92 93 94 95 96 97 98 99 100 101 102 103 104 105 106 107 108 109 110 111 112 113 114 115 116 117 118 119 120 121 122 123 124 125 126 127 128 129 130 131 132 133 134 135 136 137 138 139 140 141 142 143 144 145 146 147 148 149 150 151 152 153 154 155 156 157 158
Bishop Garrigan 48, St. Edmond 22 as Brady Galligan will kick things away back to the Gales. 5:02 left in the fourth quarter as Ethan Marceau scored his third rushing touchdown of the night as Galligan kicks a little short and overhead and bounces back to Gallus. Fields up to the 15-yard line, outside 20, 25-30, down the sideline of a burst of speed, and he's out across the 30-yard line to about the 33. Grant Gallus making things happen again on special teams.
And who pushes him out of bounds? Special teams expert Isaac DeLang is first on the scene, pushing Gallus out of bounds, and he will stay in and play some linebacker here because we have got some reserves in for some experience here in this last 5 minutes of football. They're getting all set up. Isaac DeLang is going to captain this huddle, call the play, and I see Matt Besh is going to be nose guard. Drew Muller, the senior, is going to play right defensive end. Miller still in there at linebacker. Left defensive end is going to be Nick Toole in there, another senior. Borman's in there at D-back.
The eyes are still good, ladies and gentlemen, as Beanie sees it all. Swisher rolls around, being chased by Besh, throws out to the right side flat, incomplete as he looked for Baker. Big time pressure on Swisher once again, and it's 2nd down and 10 from the 29.
Owen Murphy in there playing cornerback, and McGregor is going to be a linebacker as well. I think that just knocked out the 8 guys, so they're going to get the series here, see how they do.
So you think about how much harder that would have been if it was 11-man football. See, you could stop at 8, you caught them all. We're able to get it in 2 plays.
That's right. I guess I'll take the shift to 8-man to make my life easier. But I also appreciate these really easy-to-see jerseys, Tyler. We don't always have that luxury.
Yes, the yellow on black absolutely pops as there's a handoff to Baker. Big play by Baker. He's across the 35-40, down the far sideline to the 30, driving his way forward inside the 30-yard line, down to the 27. The C's part of that time for Clay Baker, and he hits a big one for the Gales.
And he showed his best speed of the night. He's earned most of his yards with bruising power running, but that time when he got in the open field, he turned on some speed, showing off for the Gales crowd over there, still faithfully watching from the visitor sidelines on the south side.
4:36 left in the fourth quarter. 48-22 Bishop Garrigan as the Golden Bears have brought in some reserves defensively. Swisher in the shotgun. He'll give to Baker on the read, and that play is blown up by Carter McGregor. McGregor knocks down Baker for a 1-yard loss. 2nd down and 11.
Well, every once in a while there's a play in football where you can hear that pop without any assistance of the technology. And boy, McGregor, you heard that pop there when he hit that ball carrier, and that's from his linebacker position. He just filled that gap. Good closing speed there by McGregor.
Taking down to 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter in this non-district matchup between Bishop Garrigan and St. Edmond. Golden Bears trying to snap a 4-game losing streak to the Gales and then head into district play next week against West Bend Mallard, another Golden Bear football rival. Meyer shifts over to the wingback position on the right side. Here is Swisher from the shotgun. Swisher will give it to Meyer coming around towards the left. Meyer has some space. He's towards the 20-yard line, pushed into the sideline, down to the 18-yard line, and plenty enough for the first down.
Running to that side. Drew Muller over there, stretching that play out, trying to hold that edge and force it outside. Does a good job there, but they pick up 5 as this reserve defense going to try to hold the Gales to 22 points on the night.
3rd down, 4 yards to go from the 20. St. Edmond at the edge of the red power red zone as they will give it to the right side this time to Meyer, trying to drive his way through Miller, but Miller wraps him up and brings him down. That was just mono in the open field. Miller able to make the stop on Meyer, and it's 4th down and about 4 to go.
Miller out in the open field gets caught standing up with a running back, is able to just put a big bear hug around the shoulder pads and horse collar him down to the field. Not an illegal horse collar, but that's a pretty fun open field tackle by Madden Miller, the sophomore.
It's good discipline defensively by Bishop Garrigan. You know, you're seeing a Baker in the backfield. They fake it to him. They have Meyer coming around from the opposite side. St. Edmond is a offense that really tests your eyes defensively. 4th down and 4 from the 20-yard line, and they will keep it with Swisher. He floats it out to the left side, and it's intercepted by Isaac DeLang. DeLang down the far sideline. He's across the 30-yard line. He's looking back to the middle of the field to the 35. He weaves past Walker, and he's coming to the near side. Breaks the tackle of Baker to the 40-yard line, and then he fumbles the football. He coughs it up on the field. Players crawling to the football, and I believe St. Edmond may have recovered that one. St. Edmond had Meyer get back on top of it after the interception by DeLang, trying to make something happen, and he coughed it up.
Wow, what a fun play by Isaac DeLange. A great reception. He caught that like a outfielder going up to catch a fly ball over his shoulder. He hauls in the ball in and it's off to the races. I thought he might have been down, but the officials are talking about that right now. This could be a you make the call situation at next week's halftime. He coughed it up. It was rolling out of bounds. Was he down? Was he not? Did it get out of bounds? All kinds of stuff happening. But what a play by Isaac DeLange. And the other 7 guys on the team immediately heard the OSCE call and went into blocking duty. That's good blocking after the interception. Well done, Bears.
The fumble call will stand, and St. Edmond gets the ball back at the 39-yard line. So fresh set of downs, 1st and 10, although the field position kind of tanks after that. If nothing else, it flips the field, but I'm sure Coach Wantley will be talking about ball security tomorrow morning when we talk to him on the coach's show.
That generated some excitement. You're up 48-22. That's some fun stuff. Not only that, Isaac ran around there for 20 seconds, running some clock.
You know, when you played special teams as hard as Isaac DeLange has, when you get the ball in your hands, you're going to try to make something big happen. As Swisher floats it out there, and it's grabbed by McLean for the first down. McLean banged out of bounds at the 25-yard line. McLean was wrapped to the bear hug that time by Benedict Matthews and ridden to the sideline.
Well, welcome to Garrigan football, Benedict Matthews. He just moved into town. He is a senior moving into the Algona area. And Thad Kolash also in on that tackle. He's another senior. So we've got some seniors. Benedict Matthews moving in from the Denison area.
St. Edmond down to the 25-yard line of 2:29 left in the fourth quarter, 48-22 in favor of Bishop Garrigan. As Swisher maneuvers all his players along the line of scrimmage, Baker will be in his right hip pocket, and Meyer heads out towards the right side. Back to throw is Swisher. Still time, standing, looking now. Here comes Besh. Swisher can't find anybody. Besh is chasing him. Swisher's got to unload, and he throws it towards the sideline, incomplete. He used the entire length of the field that time, almost ran himself out of bounds as Besh chased him all the way to the Garrigan bench.
Matt Besh is getting some love here from Grant Buscherfeld, one of the young coaches on the Garrigan staff. He fought through the line, and then he ran all over that quarterback. And he couldn't decide whether to dive and light up the quarterback or try to trip him up. Instead, he didn't want to get a penalty or anything. He just ran him all the way to the sideline. That's a pretty fun play there for Besh. He is an up-and-comer for sure.
A nice job holding up on the secondary, too, because Swisher had worlds of time to try to find somebody, but no good opportunities that Swisher wanted to capitalize on, as he'll be in the shotgun of 2nd and 10 from the 25-yard line. Out to the right is McLean. Swisher back to throw. Here comes pressure again up the middle. Swisher unloads the ball as a flag comes in towards the end zone to Gallus. Another flag comes in, and the ball's knocked away incomplete. That likely appears to be pass interference in the end zone, as DeLange and Kolash are out there covering, but also a flag by the line of scrimmage.
Good coverage by DeLange and Kolash. I think that flag on the line of scrimmage is Nick Toole was fighting to get at that quarterback, and Adam Walker, the number 1 player we've called for St. Ed's tonight, had to hold him because Nick Toole was putting a lot of pressure, and Walker held him, grabbed onto his arm.
So we are going to have offsetting penalties here. Wipe everything out on that play, folks, and we'll do it again, 2nd down and 10 with 2:10 left in the fourth.
Well, Toole will just have to do it again. He's fresh. He's played sparingly tonight as a senior. He's one of those guys that Coach Wiley will try to get in the game here. All these seniors on an 8-man football squad. Here comes one right now. Dan Mice on cue as a senior enters the game at linebacker.
Replacing Matt Miller as the handoff goes to Baker. Baker shakes a tackle in the backfield, drives his way forward, and he's down to the 20-yard line. Make it the 21 as Baker gains about 4.5 yards on 2nd down.
Mice in on the tackle, as well as number 59.
For the Golden Bears, that's Scott Borman, another upperclassman.
Yeah, Scott Borman. Good to see him in there. Scott, wonderful, spirited man, very smart guy. He's playing nose tackle right now. He hit on that tackle as well.
3rd down, 7 yards to go from the 21-yard line. 1:41 left in this one. As it's a pitch to the right to Baker. Baker trying to get it back to the inside now. He bangs his way forward. He breaks a couple of tackles, and Baker has the first down. Tough running late in the ballgame by the senior Clay Baker.
Boy, these reserves, they're hustling back to the defensive line. They want to get as many of these plays from scrimmage in as possible. They want St. Ed's to hurry up. They're ready to go. Thad Kolash out there, Benedict Matthews Sr., Drew Muller Sr., Nick Toole Sr., Scott Borman Sr., Isaac DeLange Sr. There's no slouching on this football team.
1:16 left, clock is rolling, Swisher back to throw, has time, guns over the middle, and it's bobbled by Gallus, popped up in the air and incomplete. Gallus couldn't hang on to it, and that's the first real mistake we've seen him make tonight. That was a nicely delivered ball and a lot of traffic, but bobbled it around and just couldn't haul it in.
Ended up being a really good tip drill for the official. He wanted to catch that thing and take off running with the football, but he got out of the way, see if any of the young men could catch it, but they couldn't there. Benedict Matthews there on that play along with DeLang and Thad Kolash doing a good job at defensive back in obvious passing situations for St. Ed's.
Even on a play like that, you can see it highlighted that Gallus just has incredible speed, one of the fastest players on the field as he lines up at the right tight end spot. And the fumbled snap, ball's on the ground and players pile on top of it. Garrigan says they have the ball as it was not a clean exchange. And Bishop Garrigan recovers with 1:06 left. Golden Bears recover the fumbled snap, and they will win this one. Bishop Garrigan forces a turnover on the final St. Edmond drive, and the backup defense holds. Wow. A great moment there for the reserves.
Yeah, for sure, and they were pumped. I tell you, if you're going to play in the end-of-game minutes against Garrigan this year, you better keep it strapped on because those guys are going to hit you. That is no slouch in reserve defense coming in here in the fourth quarter.
Bishop Garrigan lines up in victory formation of 1:06 left. They will have to take 2 knees as the first knee is taken with 1:02 remaining on the clock. Well, this long-standing rivalry has been in favor of St. Edmond the past few years, but things all started to change. Of course, last year, Garrigan had 6 bad quarters of football at the start of the year. Things turned around and they won a state title, but the one thing they didn't do last year was defeat St. Edmond, and that is all going to change tonight. 44 seconds left, and it's just a formality at this point once the knee is taken. 48-22 the score, as Furch can take his good old time getting up to the line of scrimmage. One more knee, and that'll put it in the books. The junior quarterback, Tate Furch, underneath center. He'll take the snap, he'll sit on the football, and the final time will wind away. The defending state champion, #1 ranked Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears are going to start the season with a win. It was the power run game, the great special teams return by Owen Murphy, some excellent defense in the second half, and ultimately a team that has a lot of depth, outlasting St. Edmond. Final score tonight, 48-22, as the rivalry goes in favor of Bishop Garrigan tonight.
Good all-around ball gun for Bears. Great contest. The guys are shaking hands at midfield. All these guys all had to go to church today earlier. They went to church, they played football, and now they're doing a nice handshake at midfield. Good old contest between the Gales and the Bears.
Well, we will take a timeout. We'll wrap it up after this. Of course, you've got the Erpelding and Voigt Player of the Game coming up later in the post-game show, and a quick recap of everything that happened tonight. That'll be next on KLGZ Home Country Radio and the Algona Radio YouTube stream.
When you need cash on the go, there's no need to pay a surcharge fee with MoneyPass. Iowa State Bank is proud to be part of the MoneyPass network of surcharge-free ATMs found nationwide. Look for the green and blue MoneyPass symbol on over 32,000 ATMs across the nation. Or find an ATM near your vacation spot or travel destination at moneypass.com. MoneyPass, another way that Iowa State Bank helps people succeed. Member FDIC.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these fine sports club members.
Central Financial Group, where you belong.
Down to Earth Tree Service, your local Algona tree service.
Styles Salon, your salon in Algona. Create yourself.
Farm and Home Services. View their listings at farmhomeservices.com.
Holmes Animal Clinic, animals large and small. They love them all.
Dance Connection and Tumbling by Michelle. Passionate about teaching, creative about dance. Visit their studio or danceconnectionbymichelle.com.
All bringing you this ball game.
At Sudol Tax and Accounting, they're more than just number crunchers. They're your partners in financial success. Whether you're a small business owner or just need personal tax advice, their experienced team provides accurate, reliable, and personalized services tailored just for you. From tax preparation and bookkeeping to financial planning and consulting, Sudol Tax and Accounting has you covered. Call them today at 515-395-1040 or go online at sudoltax.com.
Bishop Garrigan snaps a 4-game losing streak to the St. Edmond Gales, defeating them for the first time since 2019. Final score tonight, 48-22. I'm Tyler Lance alongside Beanie Bodie here on Home Country Radio KLGZ as the Golden Bears get a nice rivalry win to start off the season. And boy, did they wear down St. Edmond in the second half. Game started off a little bit questionably for Bishop Garrigan as Grant Gallus ran back the opening kickoff, 70 yards for a touchdown for St. Edmond. After that, St. Edmond had a chance to score again, had the ball inside the Garrigan 10-yard line, first and goal, and a chance to go up by 2 possessions, but Garrigan's defense got a big stop in that situation, and after that, they rolled. It was 28 straight points. Tate Furch hit Michael Joyce on a 54-yard touchdown. Owen Murphy returned a punt 55 yards for a touchdown. Golden Bears got 2 rushing touchdowns by Trayton Sink, and even into halftime, St. Edmond scored a touchdown to respond, making it 28-16, but the power run game in the second half, 3 rushing scores by Ethan Marceau, and in the middle of that, a receiving touchdown by Grant Gallus, 71 yards for St. Edmond, but 3 of the 4 touchdowns in the second half go to the Golden Bears. Final score 48-22. Beanie, I'd say it was a pretty classic Golden Bears second half. A lot of the power run game, a lot of Ethan Marceau. You mix in Trayton Sink and Kyle Borman in the run game, and we see kind of that 3-headed monster start to evolve for Bishop Garrigan.
Yeah, boy, they've got some talent there offensively. They've got some speed. They got some power. They got some guys that can block. Their defense has all the tools they need to put together a very balanced defense, and they've got the depth. This is going to be a very exciting and fun Garrigan team to follow this year. Off to a great start. Much different than last year. It's just an incredible thing to see this team that lost to the St. Ed's Gales last year and then find this magic that they turned into a state championship. And now they all believe in it. And you got leaders on that team that you just know are never going to quit, like Ethan Marceau and Keaton Helliseth and these guys that just really make the underclassmen and everyone believe in it. There's guys out for football this year that I don't think ever intended to go out for football in high school, but they just want to get a part of it. And, you got Amari Thomas out this year, and boy, they've got just new players. We got a new family moved to town, and he's on the football team playing there at the end. It's just a really fun atmosphere around Bishop Garrigan, all going back to last year at this time after they lost to St. Ed's Gales and went into West Bend. It just has become a completely different feeling to this team, and it's really cool, Tyler.
Yeah, momentum really starts to build when you have the kind of success Bishop Garrigan had last year. People want to be a part of that, and we see that in the roster size Garrigan has this season. I really feel, especially in the second half, you saw the way Garrigan kind of just outlasted St. Edmond. Of course, pretty much every game this year, you're going to go into it knowing Garrigan has a bigger roster. We talked throughout the game. They go 2-3 deep at just about every position, and we really saw the wealth being shared in the running game, and a lot of guys rotating in on the line as well against really a good St. Edmond defensive line led by Adam Walker, but Garrigan made the adjustments they needed to make in the second half. You saw them start to run a little bit more to the left side behind Schwab over there rather than to the right side where Walker was situated, and certainly that had a lot of success in the second half for Bishop Garrigan.
Yeah, they really had some success behind that big, powerful line. I was nervous at the beginning of the line. The St. Ed's line, very talented. I was very impressed with some of that up-front play by the St. Ed's Gales. They're going to be a good team this year. They've got some talent there as well. But as you said, right, to lead off this postgame, Tyler, Garrigan wears you down. Not just with that depth, but their relentless style of play. Like they just don't quit. Even when the game was well in hand, they were playing hard, playing to the whistle. They were hitting hard. At one point, you thought maybe the St. Ed's players wanted to be, hey, guys, just chill out a little bit. But you only get to play so many games here in high school on a Friday night, and everybody wants a chance. You got guys chomping at the bit trying to get into that game, and the Bears are going to play hard this year.
They're certainly going to play hard this year, and we saw the emergence of really exciting players on defense. Of course, some of the returning faces, the likes of Keaton Helseth and Ethan Marceau, gave a really good pass rush tonight. Carter Schwab had a sack early in the ball game, and I really thought Garrigan's linebackers made an impression. You talk about Lichter flying around the field, Miller as well. Those 2 linebackers were really just doing a great job in their pursuit tonight against the St. Edmond team that has some good speed and the St. Edmond team that really throws a lot of different eye candy type of things at you.
Yeah, Garrigan has some speed, but if you don't have the best speed in the world, you can make up for it by your experience in playing football and your instincts. And Garrigan, some of those players have both. They got both speed and instinct. One of those guys is Michael Joyce. He's got great football instincts. He's got good speed. Lichter's got great speed and instinct. And you saw Madden Miller, the sophomore. He's got some obvious football instinct there as well on his nose for the football. So, there's one thing about looking at the numbers, how fast can a guy run, how much can he bench press, all that stuff. But some guys are just good football players. Keaton Hillseth, another one of those guys. He's fast and he's strong, but boy, he's just got a knack for playing football. Schwab, another guy like that. But yeah, this Garrigan team is got a lot of weapons. One thing else I got to say, Tyler, that I'm impressed with these guys is sometimes when there's a lot of competition for spots on the field, there's some animosity that develops. From what I've seen so far of these guys this year in the hallways in the weight room, like they are cheering for each other. They want everybody to get a chance, and they want everyone to do great when they're in there. It's pretty impressive to see. Like, they're really rooting for each other in the weight room and pushing each other, and that is a sign of a quality program and a quality team. And those things can come and go, but since last year's state championship, they haven't lost any momentum of using that springboard to keep building this program.
Well, 48-22 the final score, and one other thing that was really important that I don't want to overlook is St. Edmond really lost a key player early in this ball game. Kinnick Henning, after his first touch of the ball game, came up limping, tried to continue to play after that. He was leaving the game after a pretty short amount of time in the first half, so they really lost an offensive weapon there. And certainly going forward for St. Edmond, I guess I'll turn this to you. Like, where do you think this St. Edmond team goes from here? Because it's clear they have some really good weapons. Grant Gallus is really a game-breaking type of receiver and returner. They've got a couple of good linemen, but still, we're still seeing a few issues defensively for St. Edmond. They were a team that gave up 40-plus points per game last year, and if Garrigan is able to hang 40 again on them tonight. So where do you see St. Edmond going forward as they enter district play next week?
Well, I think their defensive line is really talented. I don't think many teams are going to be able to run the ball effectively against St. Ed's at all. They've got good defensive back speed to go behind that defensive line, so I think their defensive front is going to be a calling card for them. I don't think they're going to give up a lot of points. Garrigan scoring 48 on them tonight, I think, is an anomaly for this St. Ed's team. I don't think they'll give up 48 points again unless it's another team like the Bears who had Marceau throwing those lead blocks. But I think they're a really talented team. I'm not going to dwell too much on Kinnick Henning's injury because I think he's going to be okay. I think it was a wise move for the coaches to get him out of the game. He did go in and do a long snap, a really funny long snap where Nick Toole just stood there with him at the field just so he could snap the ball but not hit anybody. I think he's going to be okay. I think he's got a bit of a muscle strain or something. But I think he's kind of key for their team. Sam Meyer came in and did some running the ball, and that quarterback is playing his first game at quarterback. So they graduated Loffesweiler last year, very talented guy. But I think this St. Ed's team is a talented team. I think they're going to be just fine. I think this was perhaps, it's hard to say, but between tonight and next week's game against West Bend might be the toughest games for the Bears on their schedule at this point.
On paper, you could certainly believe that. It's going to be a big-time district opener next week against West Bend Mallard. We'll see what they did tonight against Newell Fonda. Well, one final thing to do on the post-game show, and that is name your player of the game, brought to you by Erpelding & Voigt.
Erpelding Voigt & Company CPAs has a simple philosophy about the way they approach their business. Put people before the numbers. Before they can help you plan for a better financial future, they must have a thorough understanding of where you've been and where you want to go. They listen, then ask the important questions to build long-lasting relationships with their clients. They promise to know you and help you. Erpelding Voigt & Company CPAs. They're more than just taxes.
Well, beating tonight was one of those nights where I think the player of the game became very obvious during the second half. It wasn't just offense, it was defense too. A two-way player for the Golden Bears. Our Erpelding & Voigt player of the game tonight is Ethan Marceau. Had the 3 rushing touchdowns tonight, really wore down St. Edmond. And one of the guys you talked about, being he's a key guy going into the season, someone who's really kind of a heart and soul type of player on this Garrigan team that just never runs out of motor.
Oh, for sure. Congratulations, Ethan Marceau. 3 touchdowns. Nothing to sneeze at. Gets the hat trick of touchdowns and just played great defensively from that middle linebacker position. Sometimes he goes over and plays defensive end. He's great at that. He could play line if he had to. I think he can play anywhere except quarterback. I don't want to see him throwing the ball, but boy, he can run it. He can tackle. He can block. He's just an outstanding football player. He's one of those guys you're real happy is on your team. And like I alluded to earlier, he is one of those guys that is leading in the weight room. He's not even a senior. He's just a junior, but he leads by example. He wants people to get as good as they can. He wants everybody to have success, and I see that from Ethan in the hallways at school and on the football team. So a well-deserved first player of the game award to Ethan Marceau, Erpelding & Voigt player of the game.
So Erpelding & Voigt brings you tonight's player of the game. We'll choose a different Golden Bear each week for the player of the game honor, and certainly, like we said, a big-time game coming up next week against West Bend Mallard. Join us at 6 o'clock right here on Home Country KLGZ and the Algona Radio YouTube stream. The Golden Bears and the Wolverines open up district play, 7 o'clock kickoff, 6 o'clock pregame right here from Conway Field in Algona, Iowa. That is it for tonight's broadcast, though. I would make one final note. You can head on over to our other YouTube stream going on tonight as Algona is taking on Spirit Lake. Algona had a late 42-40 40 lead in that ball game. So that game is not over yet. So if you still want to watch a little good football action tonight, Algona against Spirit Lake, that's on our other YouTube stream and on KLGA 92.7 FM. But here on Home Country Radio KLGZ, for my partner Beanie Bodie, I'm Tyler Lance signing off. Once again, your final score, Bishop Garrigan 48, St. Edmond 22.